पार्टी, बट आज होने वाला है, आज बहुत धमाकेदार होगा क्योंकि भाई आज आखिरी दिन है ग्रुप ग्रीन का। बाय द एंड ऑफ टुडे, बाय द एंड ऑफ टुडे 6 मैचेस के बाद जो भी टॉप 3 पे रहेंगे वो जाएंगे सीधा ग्रैंड फाइनल्स में, एंड जो भी बॉटम 5 पे रहेंगे वो जाएंगे सीधा घर। तो आज का दिन मोस्ट क्रूशियल दिन है ग्रुप ग्रीन का। तो लेट्स सी व्हाट हैपेंस। सॉरी 1 मिनट में लेट हुआ, इट्स 4:31 राइट नाउ। तो फटफट गेम में चलते हैं। जरा बाहर था यार, फटफट घूम के आया मैं, भाग के आया मैं। Not now, please, not now.
It's not bad.
Let's go. Match
it's
has
really
begun.
not bad. You know, there's a lot of positions to do it. You can rotate through dots.
Let's go,
Count
guys.
Charlie. There's loads of areas.
How are you guys doing?
And this means
how is your day going? क्या predictions है आज के?
We've been in Group Green.
Thunderdog Gaming.
Hashtag
16 पे थे, वो hashtag 4 पे आ गए, 130 points लेके बैठे हो। 4MV जो मचाया था डे 1 पे वो hashtag 5 पे चल रहा है। बिल्कुल चांसेस है उनका। और जिस तरीके से इन्फ्लुएंस रेज ने खेला है भाई, नेक्स्ट लेवल। 153 I think Influence Rage is qualified in my opinion. Same goes with Brute Force as well. जिस कंसिस्टेंसी के साथ वो खेल रहे ना, आज थोड़ा एक 20% भी वो लगा दिया ना तो वो क्वालिफाइड है मेरे हिसाब से। बट डीप्लेस किया, TT 4MV, इन तीनों में कोई भी थोड़ा बूम बम कर देना कोई भी क्वालिफाई हो सकता है। तो द प्रेशर इज ऑन। व्हाट डू यू गाइस थिंक? कौन करने वाला है कमबैक एंड कौन करने वाला है चोक? बताओ चैट में।
I think that my thoughts going into this tournament was I would brute force
4MV आज ऑल आउट खेलेंगे।
or they win everything.
I hope so brother, I hope so.
Typically how brute force.
बट अपन ये डे 1 से एक्सपेक्ट कर रहे थे 4MV से, बट समझ रहे हो
brute force in his top 3
देखने को नहीं मिला। बट टुडे इज द फाइनल डे टू रिडीम देमसेल्व्स।
Find out for me.
आज नहीं कर सकते तो भाई सर्वाइवल स्टेज में करना पड़ेगा, व्हिच इज वेरी डिफिकल्ट इन माय ओपिनियन। ब्रो इंक्रीज क्वालिटी। 1 सेकंड रुक जाओ।
That's hefty.
मैं बिटरेट बढ़ाता हूं।
That's the fact that it stayed around about that number is also surprising.
I mean they're 5.5 on day 3.
एंट्री अच्छी है लेकिन बैठने का तरीका अभी बड़ा कैजुअल है।
But day 2 in general has been 4MV's massive weak point, and that plays into what we were seeing from them. They had their one massive game day 1, right? Where
hello bhai, how are you doing? Anket bro, मैं बढ़िया हूँ। लास्ट 2 दिन थोड़ा कॉमिक कॉन में बिजी था इसलिए मैं स्ट्रीम नहीं कर पाया, but I'm good. Feel good to be back.
Yeah, so massive downturn.
And I have missed lot of fireworks which happened yesterday and day before.
Weird stat though to show.
TT किस तरीके से खेला, 4MV किस तरीके से हगा, ये सारे important चीजें मैंने मिस किया, but कोई बात नहीं है।
That would make
I'm going to witness the history that's going to happen today with you guys. So yeah, I'm feeling great right now.
Yeah, they'd be on top.
A bit nervous for 4MV
easily,
and also for D+ किया.
Yeah, 5.5.
So let's see what happens.
Crazy. Yeah, I mean fair play to 7.
क्या हाल चाल पाजी? अभी ब्रो मैं बढ़िया ब्रो।
The most inconsistently great team.
सैनहॉक में कौन सा टीम कंसिस्टेंट है मोस्टली?
Nailed it with that one. So did Vlad, by the way.
I don't know. You guys tell me. सैनहॉक में कौन सा टीम मोस्टली अच्छा कर रहे हैं?
Running all the cogs.
देखो आ गया, बिटरेट बढ़ाया मैंने फिर।
Yeah, he's our boss.
फिर कुछ ना कुछ
He makes sure all the machines go exactly as.
कुछ स्ट्रीम तो ठीक चल रहा है ना गाइस? मैंने थोड़ा बिटरेट बढ़ाया है। स्ट्रीम ठीक चल रहा है तो ठीक चल रहा है बोल के लिखो, नहीं चल रहा है तो नहीं चल रहा है बोल के लिखो, ताकि मुझे पता चलेगा क्या चल रहा है तुम्हारी साइड। भाई 2 दिन से आपका रोस्ट मिस किया मैंने।
You've got none of the top 3 right.
We are back brother, we are back. D+ किया अच्छा कर रहा है क्या? सैनहॉक में।
I'm not.
Day 1 पे ही वही अच्छा
किया।
किया।
Looking at past games and being like,
चिकन भी था ना उनका Day 1 पे।
Reasonable teams to choose. So I'd be like, I like that team.
I'm surprised यार D+ किया hashtag 3 में देख के। Day 1 they had a dominating start, right? कितने points थे Day 1 पे?
Groups if I just done that.
They had 75 points, right? After Day 1.
Played better for you. Maybe.
Yeah, honestly.
I had D+ Thundertalk and 4MV.
कौन सा दिन आ गया D+ किया? Day 2 या Day 3?
Is going to be able to make their way on in there. They're competing.
TT खतरनाक कमबैक कर दी भाई।
The 3 direct invite.
TT खतरनाक कमबैक कर दिया after Day 1 chokes.
The influence rage, the brute force can also.
और बढ़ाओ बिटरेट ठीक चल रहा है सब। ब्रो और बढ़ाऊंगा ना तो दिक्कत हो जाएगा, मुझे पता है।
They've got a little bit closer. They've taken some
My
damage
stream.
from RCB, who are sat up
समझ
on
रहे हो?
the hill to the east side.
एक भी मौका मैं दूंगा ना वो चोक करेगा।
Safe for now.
तो मैं नहीं दूंगा भाई, अभी जो बिटरेट मैंने लगाया वो अच्छा बिटरेट है।
First AKT, mate.
और ग्रीडी होगा ना फिर दिक्कत होगा। दोनों दिन हगे, अरे दोनों दिन हग के भी 134 कैसे हो सकता है ब्रो?
Congregating around that southeast side. 7.2.
They got
average elim on
दोनों
day
दिन
two. That
मिला
is
के कितने पॉइंट मिले
wild.
इनको?
That's an incredible day.
I'm more interested in the 3.7 from day 3.
69 points
I mean,
मिले इनको दोनों दिन मिला के, day 2 and 3.
Didn't feel.
So yeah, kind of
didn't feel
choky है.
bad.
मतलब decent
It
है.
felt
It's not
maybe
choke,
less
it's decent.
dynamic than their day 2, sure, but that much.
Ana
more
4MV
of a
chala
drop
baga
off
adindi
is kind
ninna.
of crazy. Still 3.7.
That means day
is
2 choke
quite
kiya gaya
respectable.
4MV.
And I suppose I should note that it's definitely not. A
Watch
super
party
low
with crypto.
tally.
अरे
It's still pretty decent to be getting.
उसने बोला था कि
about
16th
4
को
points a
करेंगे,
match
but 16
just
में I
on
was at,
eliminations alone.
you know, Comic-Con
Yeah,
तो नहीं हो
also,
पाया.
they were breaking around
कोई बात नहीं,
1,000
करेंगे
point
फ्यूचर में.
average every
It's not
single
like
time, which is
PMGC is about to
in
end today,
itself.
right?
It's hard to do.
अभी बहुत लंबा
Very,
जर्नी
very
है,
hard to
करेंगे.
do.
फिर
You
बात
have a
करूंगा
couple of
मैं.
bad matches, you go
2
down
दिन
with
मिस
0
किया, आप
damage,
सर्वाइवल
so
लाइव करो.
yeah,
सर्वाइवल
you're
भी
not
करूंगा
breaking
लाइव.
your 1,000
मेरा प्लान
average
तो नहीं
damage
है, but
barrier.
if you guys want, I can do
So
it.
to
It's
be
not
able
a
to
big
do that
deal.
consistently game to game
मेरा
from day
इनिशियल
2
प्लान
and
था
day
कि भाई
3 despite
सर्वाइवल नहीं
having
करने का,
less
सीधा
average eliminations,
लास्ट
just
चांस
means that they
करने
are
का.
still doing work inside this lobby.
कल डॉग बहुत
Just
ही
not
क्रेजी
quite
खेला
finding
यार. डॉग
those
तो
end
खेलते
games off
रहता
the
है
back of
ब्रो.
it.
उसके साथ
If
साथ
they
टीम
were
भी
able to take down
परफॉर्म करे तो
Vicious
सब अच्छा करेगा.
on Dimmador,
4MV.
my one game on our angle yesterday, I think they would be in first place right now.
ये सर्कल देखा हुआ लग रहा है. डे 1 पे भी सेम सर्कल हुआ था ना गाइस.
In on this next circle
डे 1 पे
shift
भी सेम
plan.
सर्कल था.
Although a lot of the teams that were already
तब
sort of
डीप्लेस किया,
entrenched,
अच्छा
not
पोजी
on
में था.
maneuvers, are
But
kind
इस
of already
मैच
in
में
this circle. I think the Vicious actually go for a
look
fairly
like
quick
they're in a
rotate,
good
trying
position.
to get close towards the middle. Wouldn't be too surprised to see a casualty or 2 on that one. But
Survival stage
half
also,
away.
please.
Point Donkey ID trying to move in from
ठीक है,
that
करेंगे
north
करेंगे
side,
सर्वाइवल स्टेज भी करेंगे.
from that
एंट्री
That's
अच्छी
great.
है, लेकिन
How was
बैठने
the
का तरीका
Comic-Con?
अभी बड़ा
And last
कैजुअल है.
time you
hit
closed
there.
the stream
RCB
on the time I
looking up
sent you the
towards
super
4MV.
chat and you missed
Apex
it.
surrounded now.
Sorry bro, मतलब क्या होता है
Just
पता?
be careful.
When I stopped
Swaps
when
to
I stopped the
UMP.
stream, immediately YouTube पे बंद नहीं
RCB
होता है.
feel like they've got this
There
corner
is
under
like
control.
a
I wonder if they're checking.
30-second
It seems
window
like they are. They're sending 2
that
players in
happens.
together to play off the
तो
corners.
उधर
Apex
कुछ
needs
हो
to hold
सकता है
this.
ऐसा.
And now 4MV need to spring into
sorry.
action or lose Apex, play on with 3. Around the door frame.
अभी stream
Wild
अच्छा चल
with
रहा है,
the
कोई
first
change
peak
नहीं
goes
किया.
down. The
ओए,
spray of the M4
Apex
looks
knock,
good,
Apex
looks for
डब्बा.
the second, but can't quite hold up against Silas, who hits the drop shot. Wild can get rezzed as well, and 4MV a little bit too slow on the refrags here. Not going to be able to find too much value. The nade's not going down the stairs. The fire is on the top floor, not going to do too much. Keeping them
RCB
in the
going
building.
aggro.
4MV continue to put pressure on.
RCB भी like भाई 4MV
Apex
अपना
just sat
कंपटीशन है,
there
चलो
like,
इनको बाहर
"Yeah,
करते सबसे
team,
पहला. तो heal करना पड़ेगा.
Please help."
Molly-
Does get
Molly
the initial
आएगा.
knockoff. There was a lot of time for the rest of the teams to regroup on this.
4MV is falling back.
Unfortunately, there has been some reses coming through, and 4MV has to back it off. Not a
4MV
great
is
start for
actually
them.
falling back.
Though for RCB,
Because
they have been tried
there
and
is too much at
tested
stake.
over in Painan multiple times, going against Virtus Pro, who
पीछे से
carried them in
Scarlet,
this
I mean
position
Secret आ गया.
multiple
Secret का
times
एक
in the
बंदा आ गया.
past.
The
So
big
for
thing that's
RCB,
happened.
पूरा
they
टीम आ गया भाई
understand
Secret का.
Sorry. The big thing during this fight is that Team Secret used this opportunity to get across the river, and now they're in the south side of Painan, Blank.
Doc knock.
It's not a bad rotate either. Team
Not
Secret
looking
down
good,
towards
boys.
the
Not
south
looking
side.
good. अभी वो भी आ जाएंगे, RCB भी आ जाएंगे. Dog finish.
Use that opening, that engagement on the northeast side to their advantage.
2 man बचे
That's kind
4MV.
of what Team Secret's been doing repeatedly, but now they're into the fight against 4MV. 2
ऊपर
players
से
alive.
Team Liquid. अयाला ने
Trying to
मारा
make it work.
RCB
Team
का एक
Liquid
प्लेयर को.
also moved up to the hillside, looking to take third-party shots. That's always the danger with a Painan
Why is
roll-up.
everyone after
Especially
4MV?
on a circle like this, everybody is going to focus on you. As soon as you make noise,
Okay, okay, समझ में
it
आया
comes
मुझे.
blazing.
RCB और 4MV का kill feed देख के ना Secret
It's easier
Team
actually
Secret भी आ
lost
गया.
a player on
Third
the
party
way
करने.
in, but obviously have now picked themselves up at least 1 knock and a flush.
And Team
4MV,
Liquid
not
भी
a
आ
great
गया.
start
चलो
for
इधर
them.
कुछ चल रहा है.
Down to 2 players,
अपन भी join
125
कर दें.
points from a team that's trying to break into that top 3. Not an ideal way to start your last day here.
कास्टर बहुत ट्रोल कर रहे हैं
Getting
DRS को.
very occupied at the moment with 3
DRS
teams
hashtag 15 पे बैठा है
all
ना.
in this location.
मेरे को लग रहा है सेम
already.
IHC वाला सीन है
Team
DRS का.
Liquid over towards that south side.
If they
And
do
actually
good, they can
hold up the
qualify.
high ground to play around
Tag
with,
Osaka
so it's a
hashtag
good
12
spot
पे.
Team
भाई
Liquid
हगी
go
भाई
forward.
Tag हगी.
Deepest
Huggy.
here, they've been moving around from Cave, they've crossed near Camp Charlie, and now they're all the way over on the west side near Tambang and Nakam. We're gonna have to push in.
This is turning out to be a decent group, right, guys?
So relatively safe.
Decent group है.
Kia can survive.
Weak बोल के काफी लोग बोल रहे थे, but it's not. Competition देखो, competition तो बहुत close चल रहा है.
Hop over to RRQ.
Cat का circle है.
Side, and they are gonna have to move.
D-Place किया का rotation देखो, भाई पूरा right में थे वो.
I feel like it's
पूरा नीचे से घूम के आए.
I always say
सही जगह मिल गया उनको. और better जगह मिल सकता है.
Just hard shifts to one side of the river. It means that teams can make a firm decision, right? It's not a coin toss.
DRS को the real snakes बोल रहे हैं इनको.
Dependent. It's on the skill of the IGL to navigate those crossings effectively.
Healthy banter तो चलता है, bro.
More agency as a team.
Yeah, having that determination, just be like, look, it's head over there.
लग गई liquid
We need to get a move on. We don't
King
need to
knock
stick around
finish.
here any longer. For D plus though,
Choke.
taking shots over towards
Team
Team
Liquid
Liquid, who are currently in a fight there with the Thunder Talks.
D-Place किया को मिला.
D plus Kia will pick up 2 eliminations.
दो
off the
kill
back
मिला
of that
D-Place
and
किया
now
को.
have good oversight over towards the Thunder Talks themselves.
TT को एक and एक casualty.
AJ actually might be able to be taken over here.
Spy भाई yesterday बहुत controversy हुआ, सब लोग Indian teams को गाली दे रहे थे.
It's the weaker side of the road.
Controversy
AJ
किस चीज का हुआ?
Possibly looking to cross back to the rest of his team. But a great start for D+. I think that they would have much rather been inside this compound, but it was a good thing that they were here to third party on top of it. Now they have oversight. They're sort of the wardens of this position now, with Thunder Talks being fairly weakened by that singular knock.
दबाशीष भाई.
They have
ठीक है bro, done.
as well, like you say, oversight over
आप आ जाओ
a
team
lot
में,
of the
तभी खेल
surrounding
सकता हूँ
area,
मैं.
the opportunity to rotate up towards the north if they want to go for a wide sweep
I
on the
have
next
D+ किया,
circle.
4 में my prediction.
So I think for D+ Kia, it is
Brute force
it
भी
could
like भाई
be
मैंने
a
क्या
lot
कर दिया
worse,
ऐसा,
and it's
मेरा नाम
not
नहीं लिया
too bad right now. Still over on the east side though, RRQ, they've been in this compound locked in by Stalwart for a while. 3 players alive for Stalwart, 3 for RRQ. And you've still got Influence Rage as well over towards the northwest side. We're going to have to figure out their crossing fairly soon.
Choke!
Come into contact
चलो
with
कोई बात नहीं, recovery हो गया.
Getting the spot over onto Critter. And that is going to be a nice little cut down. And Stalwart down to 2 now.
Both these teams, RRQ as well as Stalwart, they're in awkward spots.
4MV
right?
hashtag
And I
1 पे
think
end
that for
करेगी.
RRQ, it's very much a decision.
बहुत ambitious prediction है ये तो.
It's not likely to get much further into
बहुत
the circle,
optimistic
so
thinking
let's
है
just
आपका.
try and take out another team in the process, get some elimination points off the back of this. Maybe they could have gone for the bridge crossing, potentially headed it over towards that northwest side. But again, we are having this a lot in Group Green. It's just 2 teams basically holding each other out, going for mutually assured destruction in the blue zones often. Influence Rage, on the other hand,
my prediction today, TT tabletop.
They know there's fighting going off towards that east side.
TT full form, full form तो नहीं बोल सकते, but they are back and they
south off the back of that. Similarly, brute force. Wow,
the results are saying that they are.
Isn't that crazy?
Very comfortable with this lobby now. Oh, nice knock.
They went down towards boot
इसको knock देना था.
इसको
knock देना था. Last man standing for 4MV. Last man standing for 4MV. It's Reefus.
They managed to find that refrag, and with 4MV,
RCB का भी 2 बंदे knock
players alive, it's going to make them a little
4MV
bit more
बाहर at
secure on
hashtag
it.
15.
Fortunately, Reefus has done a little bit more damage. 4MV down, but RCB have to go for 2 reses.
4MV is out at hashtag 15. 0 point रे भाई ये match.
Shot from KY.
0 pointers are very bad.
Hate the name, love the player. But yeah, very, very good shots dropping down there. Actually being able to get the S12K on that drop off.
RCB के लिए बहुत खतरनाक start भाई. 5 finishes.
Actually getting themselves an initial
They're at
knock
107 now.
Is very nice considering Team Secret has been somewhat broken down in terms of the team during this match, losing players here and there. That drops them down to 2. Sniper EU does get in. We'll find 1. Molotov is burning. Surprise.
क्या aggressive पूछता भाई RRQ से. Team Secret बाहर.
All right. He wants a little bit more. Snape going to stay.
RCB के 2 बंदे knock.
For the time being, getting that healing done, and RRQ are across. Team Secret, not so lucky, pushed aside, but right on the edge of the circle.
अन्ना ఈ రోజు 6 కి పుష్ప 2 trailer వస్తుంది.
Maneuvering front. Stalwart. They managed to get
massive trailer.
They're still on 3 players here. Getting Critter back up. Really big, but not connecting that spray on towards Magnum.
Massive trailer launch ऐसा कुछ था ना.
Significant blow. That means 77 reestablish their positions and hold out Stalwart towards this bridge. But that's the knock they were looking for, and that should open up things a little bit more for them.
RCB ने kill चोरी किया.
Funnily enough, it was Stalwart and RRQ. They've both been able to find some pickoffs as they head into the circle.
भाई ये नेपाल का player है ना ये Shifu.
Well, at least I thought both these teams.
Someone correct me if I'm wrong.
Good time getting into this.
ये Shifu नेपाल का player है ना?
Openings here and there. CAG Osaka as well as Voin Donkey. Similar locations on the map down towards the middle of the circle for CAG, and for Donkey, they're up towards that north side. Both teams, 84 points. The tiebreaker goes over towards Count Voin Donkey, but CAG Osaka looking to overtake them here. These two teams are so neck and neck when it comes to getting into a survival stage or going home.
D+ have pushed down the hill. They're going into the Thundertalk compound on the south side, but they need to get rid of AJ, and he's not going to go down without a fight. Around the corner, he's raised a second. D+ are down. The nades from across the road to assist, and a massive hold against D+ here by Thundertalk. Such an important fight, Blank, not only for that position on the circle, but for the tables as well. D+ Kia get 2 points on this match, but Thundertalk are breathing down their neck.
Did not like that at all from D+. I think you're going to go for that crash. You had to go for it a circle ago. By the time you get to this one, you know there should be teams off towards your northwest side, and Brute Force actually get a couple of shots over towards them, taking down their backstop, which made their lives so much harder. As soon as Thundertalks were in that recovery stage up against Team Liquid, I think you had to make that choice of, let's just go for the crash. And this is the problem with D+ recently. They've been very, very timid on their plays, and they are timid again here versus the Thundertalks, who absolutely will just get a better game off the back of goals. Honestly, D+ had a better chance here. Nice shots from Shifu there. We'll find one.
He got owned, bro.
Doesn't have any nades to work with, and no meds either. And two nades on Prime from Stalwart.
Wait a minute. No.
And with that, ST two-man punch finishes.
Shifu eliminated there. 13th place on the table.
So yeah,
10th on this match. Only the 1
okay.
point this game. It's not enough to see them safe. They'll have another crack at it in the next 5, but they are going to run out faster than they'd like. Voin Donkey ID moving up the top of the hill,
DRS पे थोड़ा kill points निकालना पड़ेगा, bro.
They really want to clear their back.
ऐसा नहीं चलेगा.
A little bit more opportunity to move.
Not in this lobby.
They had a compound that sat to the east side of Brute Force right now. They've given that up almost entirely.
Nice nade, Vixie.
To go for this
with that ST bahar
sweep style.
This is a great play from Voin Donkey. Honestly, I really respect it. I also respect the play coming through from CAG Osaka. They immediately overtook their position on that north side. However, what I think Count Voin Donkey is going to try to do is just sweep. I think that's the very smart.
Entry अच्छी है, लेकिन बैटरी का तरीका अभी बड़ा कैजुअल है.
More points out of this game. Fortunately,
I'm talking about BGMI.
A little bit too far towards that southwest side.
Leon DZ got owned.
But 5 eliminations.
Last man standing.
Very good.
Cluck
Here is Cellcom Digi Alliance against RRQ. 2 knocks.
1 HP. Play दे दिया.
Oh, last
RRQ 9 finishes, last man standing.
Go down. Blank, RRQ do this every
Brute
so
Force,
often, right? Sure,
TT,
they're in 13th place.
ये दोनों और ऊपर जाएंगे.
9 elims.
इस मैच के बाद.
Strong moves. It's going well for them. I feel like
DRS अच्छा कर सकता है इस मैच में.
They tried to come back now. And actually, with CAG Osaka moving out to the north side, they did diminish their forward hold a little bit. But Voin Donkey ID now trapped in a little bit of a valley here with the shots coming at them from both ways.
TT के आसपास ही थी ना D+ किया
really tough on the approach, but
किसने मारा D+
CAG
किया?
Osaka also going to need to regroup, going to need to move
Brute Force का एक बंदा knock finish हो गया.
He is kind of
From
trapped on the
TT
outside.
Zing. भाई TT 7 finishes निकाली रे.
Start to have to make their mark here on this lobby as well.
उसी compound में बैठ के इधर-उधर मार-मार के 7 finishes निकाल दी.
I don't understand CAG Osaka sometimes.
TT's in top 3 by the way. D+ kiya is at hashtag 4.
Battling out for that position.
136, 137.
Donkey will pick themselves up. Another eliminations over towards Apollo. Yeah, they had a safe spot to just get a decent game off the back of with 4 players, and they could have played this ridge side down towards the southeast easily. Yeah,
nice knock,
very odd. In comes Voin Donkey now,
Vector
finding
is
initial
danger,
knock
bro.
over towards CAG. That's Garnet down. Zeta is up towards the building, knows the player inside, just providing a little bit of cover, and a great couple of shots coming through, just holding down the trigger there. Will pick up 7 eliminations for Voin Donkey. A wonderful start to their day. CAG somewhat throws it away.
A little bit. They flex out. They get cut through.
Boom.
And now
this was a bit unexpected. सही जगह पे नेट गया XFL में. With that RRQ बाहर. DRS 2 finishes 4 match.
DRS have been playing
3v3v 3v4
from this south edge. Blank a lot quieter, not really getting stuck in. Let's see if they would have needed to earlier on, because sometimes when you're playing for those quiet late games, you just allow teams to make moves around you and give them.
क्या लगता है boys कौन निकालेगा dinner rematch में?
This position, DRS currently
DRS,
in the
TT, Brute Force,
circle gives them a little helping hand here as well. And this is going to make it tough for all our teams out in the north.
Yeah, DRS need a ginormous game, right? They have always needed one. They are so
पीछे से आ गया
low
brute
down
force
on
की
the
लग गई भाई
rankings,
last man standing है
but it is
brute force का
Donkey
नहीं दो
finding
बंदे
even
बचे
more profit off the back of
अब
this
last
match.
man है
8 eliminations found already. Another shot over
गलत ही
towards
silently
Neos
पीछे से आ गया
outside the blue. This is an awesome match from them.
I don't like
And
TT's
I
position
think
as
that
well.
there comes a point in time for
अजय
a
क्या
team
कर रहा है?
where it's a case of
भाई अजय
do we
अजय
go
कर दिया अपना
out
नाम को
without a whisper, or do we
अजय
go out
अपना नाम को
swinging?
अजय
And
कर दिया
that's
भाई
what Void Donkey is doing right now. They are lording over the circle, and that's exactly what they need to do.
My head
in
is
terms of
leaning
their
towards
point
DRS,
table.
guys,
So
this
I'm
match,
so proud of this team for that.
I think
Because
DRS
you
is
see
about to
so
get
many
their
scores
first
down
winner
towards the
chicken
bottom.
dinner.
They get really scared at this stage of the game, this stage of the group, but it is not the case for Void Donkey coming to today, and this is only going to increase their confidence for the next 5 matches.
उनको ज्यादा कुछ करने की जरूरत नहीं है लेट एवरीवन एल्स फाइट ईच अदर बस एंड में मार दो जो बचे दैट्स अ सेफर रूट बट दे नीड फ्रैग्स
Seems like they have the confidence today. He's given them a pep.
अजय भाई रुकना नहीं चाहिए मारो मार क्या मार
They are certainly doing just that. Thunder Talk though, similarly.
इंडियन नाम लगा दी भाई इसने
the cannons this morning. As Thunder Talk.
It's not Ajay, it's Ajay.
Just suppressing the approach and trying
गिर के
to
ना खो गए
control
गिर के ना खो
Donkey
वेक्सी
on that wide swing out, and this is such a
उठा लो
difficult
kill.
approach. I mean, I do not blame players for going down in this sort of a rotate with
गलत,
DRS
गलत.
having such a long hold on this. But Thunder Talk are going to open up onto the back lines, and the players close are vulnerable here, Blank.
Nice one,
There
man.
is a
Nice one, nice
big
one, nice
opportunity now
one, nice
for
one.
Thunder Talk to take this one away from DRS, but the corner of the rock is held down, and it's just up to
बोला
Mike.
मैंने
Goes for one with
बोला
the
मैंने
yes,
DRS का
and
कमबैक
full
बोल के हो गया
shutdown. DRS
विनर विनर चिकन है फॉर
keeps the
DRS
hold on the circle. And for his birthday, well, it is present here.
You're not happy for obvious reasons,
Yeah,
but
started off
चलो
very
hopefully
nicely
they
done.
qualify
They didn't get a
for the
massive
survival
game
stage
out of
like
that,
this.
but the 10
कितने किल मिले
points from
इनको?
the chicken dinner will be really,
आखिरी में
really quite
3,
good for them.
4,
They played it
5,
very
6
calmly
किल होंगे
towards
ना
that end
6
game,
किल हो गया ना
rotating back down towards the circle multiple times. It did look a
16
little
pointer.
frightening towards the end, let's be honest.
Okay.
But they still make it work.
ओके
Getting on around the edge of that
भाई
rock,
अजय
falling down.
अजय कुमार है
Pushing
इसका नाम
it
ठीक
from
है
that north side, the hills descent was not going
इसका
to
एक्चुअल नाम है
happen. Point
AJEI
Gave it a good go.
या AJI ऐसा कुछ है
DRS
इसका
held their nerve.
AJAY कर दिया इसने Pretty interesting. इतने दिन किधर थे आप अतरवा ब्रो मैं थोड़ा बिजी था ब्रो मैंने बोला था डे 1 पे ही बोला था मैंने कि कल परसों मैं कॉमिक कॉन में जाऊंगा बोल के इसलिए नहीं कर पाया भाई भाई एडजस्टमेंट ब्यूरो देखी क्या स्टार्ट किया मैंने आधा देखा मैंने फिर उसके बाद काम आ गया फिर आधा देखूंगा मैं आज
with a chicken dinner. This is what's going to be possibly allowing them to make it into the survival stage. But
Ajay, regular season MVP. Yes.
Realistic. We need
He's a
this
regular
to
season
continue in the
MVP.
other maps. This was a great game. Do more of that, please. But unfortunately, from like recent
DreamHack,
history,
yes,
that's
I
not
was at
really been the
DreamHack
case.
yesterday, day before yesterday.
You know, it's crazy. Like in Sandhawk, it's all about the will of D, man. You got D plus Kia winning the first 2 matches, and now DRS.
What happened to DRS
the
Delta?
It's
पता
crazy that we only
नहीं.
got
Current
2
lineup
winners
is
on
Gyante,
Sandhawk, but,
Sleepy,
man,
Killer
this was
Whitey,
a
and
really crazy
XMPL.
match, and a really unfortunate one for a lot of teams.
Yeah.
One in particular, I'm looking
Any
at.
guesses about top 3
Liquid,
teams from
man.
this
I mean,
group?
I know that you know Knight said that he
I think
wasn't
Influence
really
Rage
focused on Sandhawk. They were putting all
तो
their
qualify
resources
हो
into
जाएगा.
fixing Erangel.
बाकी कोई भी हो सकता है.
First, considering where they're on the leaderboard, it's still a tough watch.
Hey, wait, Hodges, is it match number 6?
Yeah, that's where.
No, so just wait, okay? Be patient.
Damage control.
Ajay and carries. Ajay and Zing carrying TT. Wait, what team है ऐसा है bro? King तो समझ रहे हो इतना फोकस करता है कि टीम को संभालने में कि वो उतना फ्रैगिंग नहीं करता है क्या फर्क पड़ता है ब्रो इतना अच्छा कर रहे हैं एज अ टीम टीटी आई थिंक टीटी को बहुत हाई चांस है क्वालिफाई करने के लिए फॉर द ग्रैंड फाइनल्स अगर टीटी कर दिया तो भाई टीएनवा भी कर देगा फिर तीन चाइना का टीम हो जाएंगे फाइनल्स में which is very bad.
Yeah, you have to go back to the
Bro,
first
day
game
said
of
4MV
this
choking
entire
into
PMGC.
finals.
Made
याद
Pride
ही.
played the exact same.
समझ नहीं आया
compound,
दिलीप
the
ब्रो
exact
क्या
same
कहना
way as
चाहते हो
DRS
आप
were playing it, which is you're going to be trying to hold off all the teams coming in from the southern side, which
King
in this
IGL,
scenario,
yes,
they were
King
trying to hold
IGL.
off, I think it was trying to hold
Survival
off
करो,
the
fan favorite
Vicious
team
and
सब
Lions were
survival
coming
में
from
ही
the
है.
southern side. You clear
Fan
those
favorite
teams
की
and
बात
then
नहीं है
pretty
bro.
much a free range to
Survival है ना
break down
थोड़ा
team
समझ
goals,
रहे हो.
trying to go down the road, down that ridge side.
थोड़ा
and
वैसा
you're
लगता
gonna
है
have
मेरे
easy
को.
time eliminating them. Though I do want to
वो
highlight
vibe नहीं आता
Hodges.
मुझे.
It was a very
फिर
good
last
approach
chance पे आएगा
from,
वो vibe.
Voin Donkey
क्योंकि bottom
with Vexy going to the eastern
bottom
side. I think
कितने
that
teams?
angle, if he
Bottom
did survive
12
and
teams
go out
जाएंगे
of the
अगर
car too early, actually
उसमें
could
feel
have
रहेगा
maybe allowed Voin to go for a second place, if not maybe even a chicken dinner.
सर्वाइवल में
Yeah, you know,
24
it's
टीम्स
so
में से
tough
सिर्फ
when you
बॉटम
see-
8 टीम्स
I
जाएंगे
do
ना
agree. That was 100%
तो
the
जो
right
भी टॉप
play.
पे रहेंगे
It
वो
happens, though. Sometimes you just
ऐसी
get
मस्ती
so
में खेलेंगे
antsy,
वो
you wanna be able
इसलिए
to get that
सर्वाइवल ना
knock,
करने का
and you
सोचा
just
था
pop
मैंने
out that car a little
बट
bit
अगर
too
आप लोग
early and
इतना
get
इंटरेस्ट
knocked.
दिखा रहे हो तो
Really
भाई
unfortunate for them.
कर लूंगा कोई
But you know
दिक्कत
what?
नहीं
Still good to be able to see Voin Donkey be able to make it all the way to the end of the game here. One team I really want to talk about because it just
ब्रो
frustrated
ऋषिंद्र
me so
सर
much,
बोल
man,
रहे थे
was
2025 will be
Osaka,
great
right?
for BGMI
I
and
think they
Kraken
could
is
have been
fixing
in
things
a way
and Mazy
better
also say
position to
EWC
even possibly
में
win
slot
this
मिल
game,
सकता है
but they
इंडिया
just
का
pulled off this crazy 2-2 split that just didn't
मिल
make sense
सकता
to me.
है
What do you think?
और मिलेगा
At
में
the
बहुत
start of
फर्क
this
है
game, Hodrick from the early to mid game was like, oh,
मिल
yeah,
सकता
solid
है तो भाई
position,
इस बार भी
good,
तो
quick,
मिल
snappy
सकता था ना
rotations from CAG Osaka.
PMGC
Love to
में
see
भी
it,
मिल
thumbs
सकता
up.
था
And then my thumbs went down pretty
मिला नहीं ना।
significantly because they go from a central
जब
position where
100%
they're
कंफर्म
four
पता
players
चलेगा
alive, by
तभी
the
अपन
way,
बात करेंगे उसके
to
बारे में
setting up two players
But yeah,
north outside the circle, downhill.
एज ए फैन इट्स नॉट फेयर
instant between
कि
brute
भाई
force
अटका के
and
रखते
Voin
अपने
Donkey
को
ID. And they instantly
So, yeah.
lose those like first player.
अगर
that
अच्छा
opponents
होगा
really
बोल के बोल
struggling
रहे
to
तो भाई
regroup with the team.
लेट्स
And
बी
because
हैप्पी
guess
अबाउट
what, you
इट
don't have the numbers
बट
anymore in your
एक्सपेक्टेशन
team.
ज्यादा नहीं
Just
रखने
get
का
approached by
क्योंकि डिसअपॉइंट
Voin Donkey ID
होने
and
का
they
चांसेस
have
ज्यादा है
DBSs, they have BF12K. They just have all the arsenal they need to really claim that compound for themselves and make into top 3 instead of CAG Osaka. I think that was a big throw. We saw from
EWC का
CAG
तो
and they need
अगर
to be
इनवाइट
careful
कुछ
to
है तो
not
सबसे
make
पहला
that
मेरे को
happen
पता
again
चलेगा ठीक है
on the
बता
other
रहा हूँ मैं
battlegrounds.
अगर
We'll see the
EWC में
results of the
इंडिया को
points
इनवाइट
given to
है
these teams. Only
तो
5
सबसे
elims
पहला
left
मेरे को
here,
पता
but
चलेगा
again,
I'm just saying I'm
considering
not
where they
gonna
are on the
reveal
leaderboards,
much
will
more
take every point they can
क्योंकि
possibly
नेक्स्ट
get. As
ईयर
they
जो
drop to
EWC
15,
होने वाला है
same with Thunder Talk ending with 15,
उसमें वन
and
वे और
Voin getting
अनदर
14 in here. I do have to give some credit to a
एनवी के
player
थ्रू
we
मैं
haven't really
कुछ ना
talked about
कुछ
just
में
yet, but
इन्वॉल्व
Frieza
रहूंगा
from
इसलिए
Brute
बता रहा हूँ
Force,
मैं
considering they're a team in top 3 right now, just stayed alive at the
टीटी
very
अजय
end. They're
लगता
just
है
getting many plays and points as you
जुबा
possibly
केसरी
can.
खा के
Might
खेल
come
रहा
back at the end of the day to be a
भाई
saving
इज्जत मत
grace
निकालो
to
इसके
get you
लिए
through directly through the grand finals.
उसका
You're
प्राइम
Just
चल
like
रहा है
the
अभी
anime,
अजय का
never goes out. It's
Yeah.
always coming back in the next season.
अजय का
I
प्राइम
mean,
चल
we
रहा
saw
है
it, right? I mean, it's so crazy how
प्राइम में
close
गुटका
this
थोड़ी
gets.
खाएगा
I mean,
वो
Group Red, we saw Falcons, right? Just get not able to make it
What
in,
is
right,
EWC?
to the
Esports World Cup.
finals by just not winning that last games. And you're right, Jason. It comes down to those little
King
plays,
showing why
you know,
he
that
is
maybe
two-time
those
world champion.
extra placement
अरे
points
bro,
could
King
be
is
enough, right, to
King,
push them
King is a
into the
treat,
big
bro.
show.
It could be, but unfortunately, there's two other teams we have to
भाई
take
पर
a look
इंडियन
at
टीम
here
को
who are in the
इनवाइट मिला तो
contesting
वाचिंग
top 3,
बहुत
you know,
होगी
D+.
अरे
Another
वाचिंग
2
से
points
उतना भी
here
लेना
back, so
देना
staying
नहीं
true
है
to what you said earlier
to be
today
honest
with
बताना है तो
the points they've gotten past their first 7
उनको बस
matches, 4 and B getting 0
एक
points
बड़ा
as
रीजन
well.
को छोड़ना क्यों है
I'm getting a little bit
किलर
worried
वाइट इज द
this is,
एमवीपी
but
ऑफ दिस मैच
I mean, I say that I have
Nice.
to remember it's just Sandhawk, Jason.
इतना
It's
बड़ा
just
रीजन है
Sandhawk,
इंडिया
guys. There's always opportunity
इंडिया
when
को
we
भी
get there,
इन्वॉल्व
for
करने का
things to
प्लान
change,
है
and
बट समझ रहे हो
I'm
कुछ
kind of
इंटरनल
curious because
चल
we
रहा
did
है
see. I feel like no, I can't even say that with like confidence that
पूरे
Dr.
भी
did
इतना
start to play this
डेडली
team a little
प्लेयर्स
bit
लेके
more.
चोक कर
Though we
रहा
did
है
see that
अरे
on
चोक
one
भी
of
कहाँ
our
कर रहा है
matches
पीएमजीसी में
yesterday.
कर रहे ब्रो इट्स
I
नॉट
can't
लाइक
remember,
वो
was it
एक
Miramar or was it
PM
Erangel when we had
PMSL
4B
खेल रहे
and
हो
Stalwart like was
This is
denied 4B
PMGC
a high
चलेगा
ground position.
I think it was
I think
the
that was
Erangel.
Miramar, right?
20 पॉइंट का
Wasn't it?
डिफरेंस है 4MV को हैशटैग 3 के लिए
Doesn't matter.
I
Doesn't
remember this
matter.
scenario. Yeah.
दैट्स नॉट गुड
But we can see Brute Force with the points they got in that last match, able to tie up Influence Rage at the top of the leaderboards.
एक
put
20
themselves
किल
a
वाला
little
चिकन
bit
निकालना पड़ेगा
safer,
4MV को
though they're going to be in second because, of course,
इन्फ्लुएंस रेज
have
ब्रूट
4
फोर्स
chicken
दोनों
dinners.
टाई 153
Plays
153
Jason. Finally, we got a new top 3 team. Let's go. It's going to be from China. It's going to be Thunder Talk Gaming. And unfortunately, yeah, we talked about it earlier, Jason, on the
भाई
pre-show.
2 दिन
that
कहाँ
D+,
गायब थे
yeah,
भाई
their
मैं थोड़ा
results are going
ड्रीम हैक में था
downhill
ब्रो थोड़ा
every single game, and that just
इसलिए नहीं
opens
कर
up a
पाया
big
मैं stream।
opportunity for whichever team gets a solid finish, and that just ended up being Thunder Talk Gaming with their second place finish here on San Juan.
MVP on birthday किलर वाइटी आज उसका बर्थडे है क्या
D+,
Nice.
they can't do a little bit of a comeback here. I'm telling you, they're going to keep falling down.
DRS is at
further and
hashtag
further
12.
behind 4MV, behind Regnum Karabra.
बस एक
Maybe
point का
even
difference
Liquid
है,
if they can survive-
DRS and
survive a
U2
bit
के बीच
longer
में।
these games. D+ Kia need to start like getting to the late game because right now we haven't seen anything since their 7th match.
I said you on first day that
It hurts to
4MV
watch
can
you
choke
choke
to
you.
finals
Yeah,
but he
yeah,
said
I
no
do
to
see
this
it.
lobby मुझे
Look at
वही
that.
लगा ब्रो इस लॉबी में
Why?
चोक नहीं करेंगे लगा
Oh, that's not what I mean.
I was looking at
what were we
DRS.
thinking?
बट क्या लगेगा
DRS?
तुम्हें
Yeah, I mean,
इस
yeah,
लॉबी में 22 किल चिकन निकाला 4MV। वो परफॉर्मेंस देखने के बाद भी तुम्हें लगेगा 4MV चोक कर सकता है।
So strong for them, and it's so crazy to see
Caster
that
sound
go
low
for
कर।
them. But
Okay,
I mean,
okay.
Aaron Gale, they gotta be able to replicate some of that magic. One
Yes,
thing
killer's
I'm
birthday
really
today.
proud of DR
भाई happy
though,
birthday killer
is
कर दो
their
भाई।
ability to
I don't know if he
adjust,
uses
right?
Instagram
You can tell that this
or I don't know
squad really
क्या
want
यूज
to get
करता
back.
है?
They're doing their
जाके थोड़ा
homework,
विश
they're
कर दो
looking
भाई
at
को.
what the best teams have had success on, and they're willing to replicate.
डी
it.
प्लेस
That's
किया और
something I
MSJ
really,
का
really
सेम
like to
चोक हो रहा है.
You're 1 point away
I think
from
end
possibly
में-
being- I mean, right
end
now
में-
they were
अरे
supposed
भाई,
to be
China-
winners, so they would have win the tiebreaker.
If there's a
Yeah,
Chinese
right
team
now they're
behind,
1 point away from being in
I mean,
11th position, from making
choke
it
बहुत
into the
rarely
final
होता है bro.
stage and clutching
इतना
it up in the final day for
इधर तक आके
Korea.
चाइना टीम्स बहुत
I
choke
think DRS is, again,
बहुत
a
rarely
pretty
choke
strong
करते हैं.
team when it comes to local play. I
मैं
think
बस
PMGC,
बता रहा हूँ मैं
these
तुम्हें.
global events, they struggle quite a bit. But with experience, you know, maybe for next year they can just come and
तो
completely
I'm not
start
sure
swinging in
डी
these
प्लेस
games
क्या
really
क्या
early
करेगा
on.
नेक्स्ट
I mean, Matt,
5
I see
मैचेस
that
में.
potential, but
They better be
there's
very
still more
consistent.
play.
they have the
If
lowest
not,
ceilings
TT is
in the
not going to
lobby,
get out of top 3.
and they also have the
Yes.
second lowest amount of placement points outside of their chicken dinners. Like, I think that's kind of a showing. Like, without these
Main
two
channel
wins,
से
they would be
ज़्यादा
lost 100%,
तो आपकी
and without
watching
any
आती
chance
है.
to break
भाई मेरे को
through
watching
into
का
the top
उतना
11,
नहीं है.
but like you said, now only
मेरे को
1
बस
point
करना
away.
है. दोनों
Very
चैनल है. एक
possible
में
that they
VODs
could
कर रहा हूँ,
trade
एक
out
में
with
लाइव स्ट्रीम
Alliance,
करना है बोल के दोनों
and
चैनल्स
even
एक्टिव
avoid
रखने के लिए कर रहा हूँ
Donkey,
मैं.
potentially even Star
आई नो
Wars.
डेफिनेटली मेरे मेन चैनल पे ज़्यादा
If you look at
सब्सक्राइबर से ज़्यादा वॉचिंग आएगा मेरे को.
Team Secret, right, 78
बट
points,
ये
it's
चैनल
one
सिर्फ
point
लाइव
difference.
स्ट्रीम के लिए
That's it. Between
समझ रहे हो.
16, between going home and make it to survival
People
stage.
who
It's
don't watch
insanely
PL
close here at the bottom of the leaderboards.
टेकिंग TT लाइटली. या डेफिनेटली जो नहीं देखेंगे वो तो हल्के में लेंगे ना उनको.
They're going to be so hungry, willing to push teams and even if they're
Surprised
on the
to see
edge,
Yudo
you know,
Alliance
they'll do everything they can to get those
playing like
elimination
this.
points back. So you got squads at the bottom that need it, squads in the midsection, and not to mention even at the top, right? Things are getting really too close. For
My
comfort.
birthday
And we had a
today,
good Sanofi
Spike
kickoff
by
the day here,
Ari bro,
but
happy
most
birthday bro.
importantly, we are going in the meat and potatoes of this final day. We're going to a wrangle, and this is where the points really need to bring their A game, and if they want to make it to survival stage or even maybe to the grand
It's your
finals.
We
birthday.
got the meat, we got the potatoes, we got the celery and the oxtail all being thrown into this giant pot to see how it's going to turn out. Let's get it over to our chefs, John Allen and Blink.
Hubble, bubble, toil and trouble. Cauldron bubbles as we are about to.
The match
deliver
2 has begun.
a once again fantastic.
अपने को
Maybe a little bit.
अपने को आखिरी मैच तक सस्पेंस रहेगा, बता रहा हूँ मैं.
मैं. Let's see if they can earn those points.
100% आखिरी मैच तक सस्पेंस रहेगा. That is how this
Where?
Nobody
these
knows.
tournaments go.
When did we become a coven? Like,
look,
we went
hey,
from
witches are
being
in. It's
head
it's
chefs
they're
to
in this season.
witches.
I know. Hey, what's the difference? Sometimes you ever had a really good meal and you're like, witchcraft.
चलो.
No,
Well then.
because I usually cook, and that would make me a warlock.
What if 3 Chinese teams in finals? That will be dangerous. Yes, bro. It will be definitely
No,
dangerous.
witches can cook too.
Yeah, but I'm a man.
Yeah, I think men could be witches too.
Tianhua also gonna qualify.
Is that true?
No worries.
Okay.
I'm pretty sure they'll qualify. But there is a high chance they might not qualify as well. I'm just saying. Survival, उसके बाद फिर last chance. It's a rough road ahead for them.
I've watched a lot of Sabrina. All right, okay. Leave me
Oh
alone.
yeah. That's fair.
Heading over towards EAS is the Vicious, alongside a couple of other teams as well. Your Influence Rage over towards the eastern side. Stalwart
Why fans of any
in
particular
Vodka,
team think कि बाकी
towards
teams
our
और उनके
south
players
in
को
area is the
खेलने ही
Thunderbolts,
नहीं
who,
आता.
like you say, have now
Exactly, bro. बहुत fair, बहुत fair.
who
comment
are
है ये.
falling prey to
Exact-
the
that's how
rotating
everyone thinks.
curse, which is we have good rotates,
But इस lobby में कोई कम नहीं, कोई ज़्यादा नहीं.
very scarce.
जिनका स्ट्रैटेजी बेटर है वो अच्छा करेंगे, जिनका स्ट्रैटेजी बेटर नहीं है वो अच्छा नहीं करेंगे. बस लॉबी के हिसाब से स्ट्रैटेजी बात कर रहा हूँ. लॉबी के हिसाब से स्ट्रैटेजी. मतलब अगर एक स्ट्रैटेजी रीजनल उनका रीजन में काम नहीं किया तो ऐसा नहीं कि सेम स्ट्रैटेजी इस लॉबी में काम करेगा. You need to adapt constantly as per the teams you are competing against.
Instead, rather than using the wrench that they've so handily provided themselves.
कैग ब्रिज कैंप करेगी. अरे हाँ 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 4MV के लिए रेडी वेटिंग है वो.
Honestly, you look at D+. I want this team to do well. I'd like to see a second South Korean squad over towards the direct invite to the Grand
DRS,
Finals, particularly South Korea has.
His name is example
developed
written as
and fielded
XMPL.
Such good talents this year. It's
समझा
hard
नहीं,
enough
Dero Gaming,
to
समझा नहीं,
have
क्या बोल
two
रहे हो आप?
teams very strong in South Korea, but having 3 at the same time, that's fantastic.
Absolutely. There's been plenty of strong teams from multiple strong regions. One of them that we expected to be a little bit stronger, but is
What
gaining
happened to
momentum
Dplay Kia
is Team
all of a
Liquid.
sudden only
7WG
59 points in
will
last 2
catch up with
days?
him during the
69,
break.
not
We'll
59.
talk to
They got
their
59
coach,
क्या?
So let's hear what they had to say.
Welcome back to a quick interview
It was
with the
69
7WG.
points
This
they
time
got.
it's gonna be in regards to Team Liquid.
कुछ नहीं bro.
Not here next week.
Decent
I just
decent
was
ही
talking
है.
about you guys
69
might be
2 days is
changing up
not
some stuff
bad.
in Aaron Gill.
बस आज
What
choke
is
ना
the
कर
stuff
दे.
that you guys are gonna be changing?
I think we struggle a lot on Ergo because we are
थोड़ा sound बढ़ा रहा हूँ मैं
good decisions during the process
because
of
the match has
deciding
begun.
where should we go, what should we
Bro,
do
नोवा
in
के साथ
this
कुछ
situation
content
right
shooting
now.
का scene है भाई नोवा का अभी थोड़ा down चल रहा है bro
about like
मेरे को
slow
भी
down
पूछने में
a
अच्छा
little
नहीं
bit
लगता
the
पता
game, think a little bit
let's say I want to
ahead
like I
of
want
the
to
options
like
we're gonna have, depending
I have
of what
content
Samsung
planned
is
with
going to do,
with the team
and
okay
then take
order
the
के
best
साथ
decision possible for this
Frozen के साथ इनके साथ
situation.
मैंने content plan
Right
किया
on. Well, I hope you guys do end up making those good
उनका भी
decisions.
moral
I
down
hope
है
the
players
area
का
goes a lot
moral अभी
better
down
today
है
because you need them if
उनके
you
साथ
want to
मैं
be able to
अभी ये
make
सब
that push on
जबरदस्ती
the
तो नहीं
top
कर
three.
सकता ना
Quick question. You guys always do
समझ
good
रहे हो
on Miramar. What do you think is the reason that you guys do so good at Miramar?
I think it's
मैंने
because
पूछा
we
है
don't
plan
change
है
our game
जनवरी
style
का
on Miramar,
but
and
let's
the
see
fact
I'm not
that
sure
we kind of create
टीम में
this
changes भी हो सकते हैं बता रहा हूँ मैं
legend that we are so good on Miramar that nothing can go wrong. So
and Nova
our
is
psychology
mostly
is too
focusing
strong,
on
and even if we are in a bad situation,
Honor
we
of
can
Kings right
overcome.
now
Well, hey, thank you, Nine. I appreciate it. I hope you guys do great.
अभी next
Back
PL
to
का
you
भी
guys.
time है तो yeah there might be changes in Nova
Really interesting stuff there from Knight. I mean, he's talking about their decision-making
XMPL
process
equal to
during these
example.
games, and they felt
Okay.
cluttered during
XMPL
Erangel.
की
Hopefully, they can
meaning वो
streamline
है
that,
क्या?
isolate
अच्छा,
what is
नहीं
going
पता
wrong,
मुझे.
eliminate it, and come out all the better for it. On 100 points, they are
XMPL
right
मेरे को ऐसा लगा कि
from that top three
कोई
competition, but they're still a
software
long
का
way
technical
off. Looking to secure
technical
survival
term है.
stage spot, much more likely.
वो एक abbreviation है मुझे
Yeah, I
ऐसा
think at
लगा
this point in time, like you'd need
which I
essentially probably 10-point average today.
which I
like to even have a chance.
don't know
right?
about.
To get over towards that top three.
Are there
Even that
vector meta
difficult,
starting
then you
in
would have
PUBG M
proper
also?
on top of that.
अरे vector is
So I think the team
vector
Liquid,
has always been a
survival
very
stage
good
is
close range
definitely
weapon
where they're looking to go.
but समझ रहे हो you have to master
from a
it
team that had such
master करेगा तो बहुत danger
legends
weapon है bro
about it in the past.
majority China में use
Stories
करते हैं
told,
global में थोड़ा कम ही
in fact, they were in 16th place.
Last match में
not
एक ने
able to get back up to 7th.
गंदा ही
with
मार
100
दिया
points.
vector से
I think
shotgun वाले को
it's a good jump, and it was a necessary jump as well to save face more than anything. For Team Liquid, they're such a fantastic team. Everyone on that squad is very, very good. And it
HTML
was
yes
surprising for me to
HTML
see
XMPL
Isla Mythic,
वैसा ही मेरे को लगा
down towards 16th. These two are some of the most talented players from Brazil.
कहाँ हो रहा है PMGC
that's
City
ever
ये
been
मलेशिया में हो
created.
रहा है
We'll leave Alpha 7 out of the conversation for now. But yeah,
Finals
it
London
was
में
weird
होगा.
to me seeing them down there. 7th place though is a
Honor
good
of King
position to be in.
rosters
I think they'll be
उठा
happy
रही है
with
क्या
this.
नोवा
In terms
अरे
of
नोवा का
a
ऑलरेडी है
comeback
रोस्टर
from Team Liquid.
नोवा का ऑलरेडी है
this is a
एक
good
नया
start.
बूट
This is a
कैंप भी
very,
दिया
very good
उनको
start. They say they're very good on Miramar, which they are.
समझ रहे हो मोस्ट ऑफ
That
द
might be a
कंटेंट
nice
अभी जो
position
इंस्टाग्राम पे
to
भी आप
try and
देखोगे
secure
मोस्टली
that
इट्स
position
अराउंड
even
ऑनर ऑफ
further.
किंग्स ओनली
As you look down the tables, it's only 11 points to go down in 12th place right now, even from 100.
ऑनर ऑफ किंग्स का प्राइस पूल देख रहे हो तुम
close
लोग
on the
कितना
rankings. Very, very
इधर next
difficult.
level
And
जा रहा है
that
price
is due
pool.
to the point sponge at the top of the lobby with that jump from RCB in 6th place to 108 points up to 4MV 125, which goes up to 153 in first
AG
place.
कितने
So a
AG कितना पैसा जीता भाई लास्ट
53
टूर्नामेंट में
difference between first place and 7th. It's a rather large gap.
Mingus के are giving trail in Nova मैं
Stretch
कुछ नहीं
out. We've
कमेंट नहीं
had
कर
a
सकता
very,
मुझे पता है
very
क्या क्या
close
चल रहा है
lobby
बट
over the first
I
2
cannot
days. In the third
reveal.
day, we distinguished the top 5, and there is still that gap. That barrier.
So
that
tryout
sits
दे रहा
in
है
that
VS
top
में
group, and 4MV starting to lag behind that, dropping that.
That is
boundary
what I
somewhat, but
last
still
heard.
Highly, highly competitive. We'll see.
Honor of Kings का प्राइस पुल
how things
81
start to
crores
settle,
that's why
because
every
we
team
are now
investing
into our
yeah
final
yeah,
5
yeah.
matches, our final
मतलब
stretch
अभी
of
इन्वेस्ट नहीं कर रहा
Erangel in
पहले
the mix
इन्वेस्ट
of it
कर
as
चुके हैं
well.
ऑलरेडी
And
सारे
teams are
odds
looking to make their final
they
bids
got into the game
for
before
the
only
top side.
not
Thunder
right
Talk,
now
at the moment, they managed to just about get
is
into
rumor
the top
true
three,
that
but
Paraboy
I say just
retiring
about,
no
pretty
I don't think
convincingly
Paraboy is
of that last
retiring
match
anytime
with
soon
their not only
भाई retire करने की क्या जरूरत
high
है
point scoring game, but the fact that they defeated
when the passion
D+
dies that's
here,
when he will
in
retire
that D+ crash.
passion अभी भी है
It really didn't go well for the team from South Korea, and now they're really pushing towards the top side, and it's good to see, just like you were talking about with Team Liquid, saving face, them also looking to make their mark. Not only
25
save
CR
face,
plus
but put their
won by
teammates too.
AG right 25
for
CR
Thunder Talks, day 4 is really the day 1 of
crazy
PL.
number है bro
So
PL का
this is
price pool होता है
where
25
they
CR
stand for
PL का
a first
price pool
place,
होता है 25
potentially even
CR
a second or a first, because again
और उधर
it's
एक
not
टीम
big
जीत
jump
गया
up for them.
25 CR
145 to 153
AG.
because both Influence Rage and Brute Force are both tied.
AG नाच रहा है
at the
पैसों में
moment.
अब AG नाच रहा है
Influence
पैसों
Rage
में
are pipping them to the post in first place just because of their chicken dinners on that advantage.
Paraboy needs good team Paraboy's team is
CRS
very good
making
bro
their way in
बस
from that
बस हग
eastern
दिए
side,
वो
who have had fairly decent
अच्छा team है bro
improvement in
JD का
performance.
team बहुत
It was a
अच्छा team
scary
है
thing to have happen, especially for Team Secret, for 77, be like, look, There's no way that DRS is catching up to any of us. So it's just us four fighting out against one another. Out of nowhere, clothesline comes through from DRS, hits everyone in that bottom five. And I think now that they are in the best position to get back up into survival stage
और
at
TT
this
के
point.
बीच में 9 points का
And they're
difference
gonna
है.
definitely do their damn hardest to get towards that position too. After you've given yourself a lifeline in game
By
one
shift.
as well, so much
Hard
easier to
shift.
work, right? You know, you give yourself a
50% of
lifeline
the
in
zone
map
is in
five,
water.
There's so much pressure.
50%
on
of the
you
zone
that
is in
last
water.
match. I think it
No,
would be
50 बोलना ज़्यादा हो
impossible
गया.
for most teams to make
I
that
would say
happen
40% is in
without
the
a
zone.
little bit of luck going your way.
40% is in the
So,
water.
yeah, great for it to happen here on Sandhawk. Circle heads down towards the south side in Primorsk.
ये match intense हो सकता है. एक भी बंदा नहीं मरा अभी तक.
4MV make that
Try hard चल रहा है भाई.
early on. I
Try hard.
think that they're going to struggle, in my personal opinion.
Spy भाई आपने
They don't
कभी
have
game
a
for
team
peace
behind
खेला
them
है?
to worry
Yes bro,
about
मैंने
this
खेला.
time, so maybe a little bit easier than it was before. COG Osaka are much
CAG
closer
versus
to the
TT.
middle now, and getting across may be slightly safer.
XMPL
for
secret break को
Thundertalk
knock किया.
pushing in straight to the middle. This is team sending right on into the beachside front property to see if they can get those sea views claimed. But
अजय
easier
मार
said
सकता
than
है bro
done, and
इनको.
COG Osaka with
दे
that
दिया,
burst.
King ने को
Thundertalk
दे दिया,
trying
Garnet
to
knock.
make their way on in. And this crash right now going pretty well. Was that a nade?
अजय
Did you
का
think it was a
angle
smoke? Garnet?
थोड़ा भारी पड़ सकता है कैग के लिए.
Inside.
The nades
No
from that
idea
throw
what
have
that
been
was.
दे दिया और एक बंदा knock. भाई अजय बोला मैंने.
two
AJ.
down for CAG already.
2 man down for CAG.
Thundertalk's got this fight in the bag, and
Osaka.
CAG is falling further into obscurity
Dabba
down
dali.
towards the bottom of the tables here.
King.
Like
able
I
to
said,
get
Chinese
flush onto
teams
Garnet.
once they enter top 3,
Far from flawless on that one. But as a gem of a point
it's hard to
for
get them out.
Thundertalk, because they will solidify themselves further and further into these top 3.
The gap
Taking
is
this compound,
11
they'll
now.
share it, actually. They'll be
For D plus
seemingly,
Kia.
well, I don't want to say happy to, but maybe content is more of an appropriate word here, because COG Osaka, they pull back. They play the far corner.
जुबा केसरी का एंगल. अरे भाई
CAG Osaka do move out, but yeah, for Naoto, it kind of was like it's throwing nades, like they're really doing it.
I don't like that sound. That's horrible.
Well, that's how it
स्पाई
felt.
भाई आज मेरा
The way
बर्थडे
he
है.
tossed that
अल्टो
nade
भाई
at
आज
the
मेरा
floor
भी
of the
बर्थडे
building.
है.
It's like,
मेरा
where
हर
was
दिन
that
बर्थडे है.
going?
हर दिन विश
Who
करूंगा.
was it aimed at in the first place? It's like into a singular room that
Cag
I'm
मार
pretty sure
खाने
they'd
वाली
already
है.
covered off. So for CAG Osaka, I mean, coming back to what Hot Shooks was
If
talking
Alpha
about
7
last game,
wins,
we even touched
what a
upon it.
dominating year it would be for
There
them.
was just that moment
I know,
where
right?
you give up a compound that's inside the circle to attempt
ये
to
King Nova वाला है क्या? Yes bro.
Void Donkey, who was always like,
That same
guys, we're
King.
gone. We're already clearing the lobby right now, okay? Yeah, weird one. CAG Osaka may have lost the plot after game 1.
Nova bootcamp vlog
Right now,
needed.
but the rest of the lobby.
मैं जाऊंगा तो
Need
100%
to try
करूंगा
and
मैं.
pick up the pace
सिर्फ
if they
boot
want to
camp में
get a
नहीं.
survival stage spot.
सब कुछ दिखाऊंगा मैं
For
तुम लोग को.
Japan, the Vicious, they've managed to get their way on through right down the east side of Quarry and into a pretty important compound as well, Blank, getting the west side of it, that warehouse side, sorry, the east side of it, getting that warehouse
Zone
under
कहाँ
control.
जाएगा?
Next circle
Primorsk के
just about
ऊपर
to
की
come on
side.
through, and we're going down to Primorsk.
TT is in a good position.
I mean, heading far away again. We do have a lot of water still in this one, you know, over towards the southeast side.
TT 100% अभी
Still a
CAG से
ton
over commit करके fight
of
नहीं लेगा.
circle cut out off the back of this. 4MV gets
क्योंकि
those
they
over
know
towards the
कि
eastern
और
side of
teams
the
आएंगे
circle.
तब देख लेंगे.
Their job right now is pretty much to just deal with all those teams off towards that eastern side.
Old Nova was
I
gold.
think getting a little bit further into this one will be difficult.
Old
And they are
Nova
going
was
to go for it. I don't
diamond,
like
bro.
the beachhead play. I think it's incredibly dangerous
Natural
to go
diamond.
for. Thundertalk's already taking shots. Dear me, there's a lot going on.
Yeah, RCB moving in from that west side, wrapping around the edge of Quarry, trying to crash on in towards Void Donkey ID. They have managed to get one down. They've
Finish.
sent Wild a little bit
क्या
too
nade
far
डाला बे
towards
Vexy?
danger there. And Vexy will launch the nade on forwards, tries to follow it up with a second towards Silas. See if they're able to find more knocks here. That's not going to quite tag on. Razor moving into position. He might have more effect here in this position than the nade cooking over the top. Silas is there, and he's ready for the fight. The barrel not quite going to hit its mark there. And Razor can reform, fall back a little bit, get some healing done. Vexy needs to keep his teammate safe, but Silas has nades and backup from a teammate.
Point
Ajay
Donkey.
is Indian.
I'd like to get
Yes, bro.
see them get more
He's
points
from
in this
Bihar.
game. Razor immediately jumps out of the way as soon as he gets that first aid kit. Very
TT Ajay is
fantastic
from
timing,
Bihar,
stun
bro.
grenade over the top. Do a little bit of damage, but 2 players for RCB, not looking terribly good for them. In the meantime, it is 4MV taking a fight with Cellcom Digi Alliance. That's over towards Southeast Edge. 1 player down. Similarly, Cellcom have taken 2 knocks.
और कैग पुश कर दी क्या नहीं कैग पे पुश कर दी सॉरी
4MV seemingly in charge of that fight.
पुश कर दी DD
looking to try and finally remove CAG Osaka from this compound. They've been sharing it now for the last circle. They want to change that.
अजय भाई
Close King on the outside with
आराम से
They're up into the wall. They're a little bit reluctant to hop straight on in, but it looks like they're going to go for it now. The breach now in action. Apollo on the outside trying to catch some stragglers if he can. Shut it down from the off angle. Matson on the top floor. Doc in the meantime.
Against Judo Alliance. Oh, Doc knock. Doc dabba.
Cellcom Digi Alliance. This is a completely different fight as we're hopping on over to Ferry Pier. Doc and Apex both fall. And it's
Judo
just
bahar
left to stand.
by 4MV. 4 finishes 4 man
It
strong.
will fall, and now the rest need to come. But there is that player up on the top floor.
बोलो अजय भाई बोलो अजय
Back over to Thunder Talk. Secret here.
भाई किंग फिनिश हो गया बे
Secret in. And I mean, this is a
देखो this is why I thought कि भाई टीटी थोड़ा दिमाग लगा के फाइट नहीं लेगा
tried to go for a crossing down this side because they heard
फालतू भाई फालतू हो गया सीन इधर
they double back.
किंग का डब्बा जिंग भी नॉक
get in towards that back line. Good cleanup from them, and that will
2 kill के लिए गया
DRS making it into 11th off the back of their chicken dinner. Fantastic stuff for them, but they are heavily weakened over on this western side. Don't see them going too much further. But a 3-way fight at the moment
देखो जोन भी देखो उन्हीं पे बना
CAG as well as Team Secret.
जोन भी उन्हीं पे बना टीटी अभी 3 मैन आराम से एकदम
starts to end pretty quickly. Pretty sharp.
I think more teams are going to get stuck in on this one, and I think it might be Team Liquid first. Look at that on the west side; they're making their approach, potentially going for a crash.
DRS का एक ही बंदा बचा है क्या उतारा है
is so important.
क्या उतारा है
Positions up to the north that help this that are helped by this circle and this one compound. Team Secret, they make their way in. Team Liquid falls short. I think they know that there's too much going on in there right now. There is no room for them. They'll have to play towards that roadside, towards the beach, and hope that they
बोला कैजुअलिटी होगा फुक्कर का मुझे पता है ब्रो मुझे ये इतनी बार देख चुका हूं मैं ये जगह पे फाइट्स कैसा होता है मुझे पता है आई थॉट किंग ये कैलकुलेट करके सोचेगा कि भाई मैं पुश नहीं करूंगा बट उसने कर लिया डब्बा डल गया उसका छोड़ो यार 3 मैन
they did lose that player John like you were saying
वो बड़ा घर बेटर रहेगा
still have a chance in this
ओवरऑल इसलिए वो चाहता कि वो बड़ा घर ले ले चलो ले लिए
But we'll wait and see. Team Secret able to get ahead of them there.
Tips and tricks से वो टावर पर छेड़ जाएगा कोई
off that.
वो टावर पे छेड़ सकता है tips and tricks से मुझे नहीं पता.
Team Secret, Stalwart as well as CAG Osaka. They cut in between. They cut in the front of the line. They made quite a few people angry by just going 2 steps ahead of everyone.
I don't think it is possible. Why TT का agel कौन है? King.
Because it was an unexpected factor, I would say, for them. I think you played as many circles as you should know that 4MV is coming in, but usually they wait a lot longer. This is a bit of a change for them. I'm surprised that Giante has been able to get in towards that western side of the map, but I don't know how long he's going to last there. RCB taking plenty of casualties now, just down to Silas.
इस सामने जो टावर दिख रहा है ना वो टावर की बात कर रहे हैं
of the circle and likely that he's going to get pressure put on by the teams from Quarry once they conclude it.
Fabian knock.
Ooh, managed to find the shot over towards Fabian. I thought D plus Kia may have been.
It is possible. जो भी लिख रहा है it is possible. बताओ तो सही कैसे?
But that's a lot of damage pouring on out the shack and Limbo Boom holding his nerve. Diego can't quite.
INF के कितने 3 बंदे knock. Lil Boy is the last man standing.
Zadira with the nades to the outside as Lil Boy tries to find something, anything. The rest of his
भाई बहुत अच्छा opportunity है बहुत ही अच्छा opportunity है but डीप्लेस किया मार खा रही है
Goodness me. That's Influence Rage down then, and another chance for Brute Force to pick up even more points off the back of this one. An RRQ to
INF कर दिया जो Brute Force का थर्ड पार्टी करना
working out. Limbo Boom. Times ahead for him, very low HP. Nades go around the backside. Limbo Boom going.
Excellent Molotov.
Only keeping alive.
मार देंगे Brute Force. Last man standing 7-7 का.
And another one to Zadira. 77 days are numbered here.
Oh, a nice response finally from
Brute Force कितने किलो गया?
Too little, too late.
158
to conclude that fight, but Voin Donkey ID have heard this.
TT hashtag हो जाएगा इस मैच के बाद देखना.
Sandhawk, now are they going to go for the crash here on
148 पे है अभी.
when they're low? Do they know how much damage has been done? I think they've left a little bit too long now, so going for it may be a little bit too risky, and I think Potato knows that. Razor just holding the perimeter, making sure that they isolate their hilltop on that north side.
Z-Wolf trick. अरे Z-Wolf का वो टावर अलग है, ये टावर अलग है ना?
7th place.
मैं जो टावर की बात कर रहा हूँ, ये जो TT और टीम सीक्रेट के बाजू में बहुत बड़ा टावर है ना, वो टावर की बात कर रहा हूँ. वो टावर चढ़ नहीं सकता.
Scoring potential between a lot of these teams very limited, right?
वो रिकॉल होने के बाद
right now.
पैराशूट से आ सकता है. You can't climb as far as I know.
99, 98, above of 100 from Team Liquid. We're dropping out slowly but surely. What's going on?
Yeah.
I am terrified for some of these squads because it is so terribly close. Nades up towards that top side from D+, over to RRQ. You have the high ground advantage versus them.
Water tank ना, हाँ, water tank.
Nade.
Tower में water
The
tank.
knock though. You're right with Voindonkey though. I mean, they say a rolling boulder gathers no moss, and that is a nice boulder right now for Voindonkey. They have managed to keep that momentum going. Not looking dirty at all on the western side as well. A decent shout into this game.
D+ किया is about to get wiped, guys.
RRQ
aggressive खेल रहा है, वो छोड़ेगा नहीं.
around against D+. They seem to be on the back foot for a while, taking a lot of damage, but getting that opener onto Fabian
ओए चिप्स ने एक knock कर दिया.
changed the dynamics of this fight.
Osal aggressive stance ले लिया.
Hill though, and Snake does go down to it. Osal making his push on up towards it. Chips taking the majority of the damage.
ओए
Hold the player pushing
almost
close.
खा गया ये.
More sent through.
Heal.
Osal still on
ओए
the ball. A flex out wide though might change that. They need to be switched on and they'll handle it. 3 players now down for RRQ in the blink of an eye.
कहाँ से पड़ी इनको?
Spray down, but both of them fall.
बहुत प्यारा मारे बे इधर D+ किया, बहुत प्यारा मारे. Kills मिले उनको. कितने kill
We
मिले?
got a lot of limbs off that though.
4 kill.
You're 4.
140 पे वो.
It's not enough to see them safe versus Thunder Talks, but you know, it's not the worst thing in the world to
D+
happen.
kiya out.
Again, I just think
At
these
hashtag
late game
11
rotates,
with
they're
4
just scared.
finishes.
They're scared to take aggressive positioning, and that's the difference between them and Thunder Talks. Honestly, you see, the
TT
crack that
कितना
they went
basic
for from
strategy
Thunder
खेल रहा है,
Talks,
बता.
They knew they didn't have to fight out.
Position,
They did it anyway
position,
because they
position.
knew that this
Position
spot
लो, उसके
was
बाद
going to
kill
give
उठाओ.
them the highest point
बहुत
score
पुराना
in this
strategy है तो,
match.
बहुत पुराना वाला thinking है तो.
A big trap that a lot of teams
Solid
fall into on
center
that
के
last
आसपास
day
जगह ले लो.
is playing way
Close range
too
fight
safe.
निकालो.
And I think in this lobby in particular,
फिर
with
उधर से
even if you're the
हर
top
जगह
5 looking
kill
to
उठाने
break
की
into the
कोशिश
top
करो.
3, or you are any other team who,
As long
based
as
at
you're
this
not
point
in
could go
danger,
home, you can't be scared
survive.
going into today. I think for some of our other groups, it has been determined by day 3 who's
RRQ
going home
got
and who's
owned in the
staying.
2v4
But
fight.
this one, when it gets
अगर दूर से नहीं
right
पड़ता
down
ना,
to the line, down to the
D+
wire,
किया, could have survived.
you better be having your foot right on the line the entire time. You
TT
can't
का
be
balance बहुत
backing
solid दिख
away.
रहा नहीं?
You just have
TT का
to
balance
make
सही
these
दिख रहा है.
plays.
That compound just got the delivery of a Lynx AMR as well into the midst of it all. With 3 teams still fending off their
भाई
corners.
TT
No one
अजय
can go
कौन
for
है?
it just yet, though. We'll have to
अरे
wait
बोला
for
तो
that
सही.
but I don't think that's going to
Indian
happen
बंदा
soon,
है,
as
बिहार
everybody
से
inside the
बहुत
compound
प्यारा
has
खेलता है.
decided we get top 3 if we just chill. So let's just chill.
Pretty much. That is exactly what's happening.
Underrated
And
comment,
why
but D+
wouldn't you have
किया
something like
win
that?
percentage
Brute Force
depends
do
on their zone
find a
prediction.
knock over towards DRS, and with 6 eliminations and Infamous Rage going down early, that sits Brute Force in first place. The Donkeys sending nades over towards Stalwart at the moment. This has been a hell of a step up. I don't know what was said yesterday, what kind of tactics that were discussed.
माँ कसम
This
अजय
working.
सामने.
Something nice. Don't step on that, please.
Oh, Razor gets away from that. The Sancho launches another
ये खाने
forwards.
वाला है,
A lot of
लड्डू.
damage could be
बच
in.
गया बे.
No, it's not there.
बच गया.
Vexy gets the flush. That one's over the top of the first stage. Third
वो-
catches it though.
वही बंदा को
And
लगी फिर
unfortunate
वापस
timing on
आके
the run back.
फिनिश भी हो गया वो भाई.
Launches
किस्मत
another
ही
one
टट्टी
straight
है उसका.
underneath him. That was a really nice capitalization
किस्मत ही
from
टट्टी है
Sanchez.
उसका.
Reads that full
Reza
back
का.
nicely. Another nade on in. Tags Potato and Voindonkey ID are getting shredded by these nades. A lot of investment from Stalwart to make this one happen. In terms of their utility, they are taking it out of themselves. So maybe from this north side, they'll have a tough time, but perhaps this is their early point scoring opportunity. Maybe not so easy though.
इसका
As
helmet
Vexy's
vest का
there,
हालत
ready
देखो.
to take that fight. Doesn't have any more first aid.
Zero
Has one
knock.
thrown over to him by Potato. Gets spotted, however, on the
Vexy
off
knock,
angle. That
last
is
man
brute
standing for
force
VD.
chiming in. Potato on the high ground. It's all up to him.
His name is Potato.
On to make mash out of
Potato
Stalwart
गया.
here, finds one, but Sanchez
VD बाहर.
will pick up the
And
other.
hashtag 9.
Voindonkey will go out, but with 6 eliminations and another good game for them. Although overtaken here by Stalwart,
Brute Force
their
आ गया.
direct competitors in rolls Brute Force.
Uninvited
They
guests.
smelt the eliminations on side, and they're here to
6
pick up
finishes,
what
4
they
man
would
strong.
do.
Brute Force hashtag
He
1.
actually knocks himself with a nade.
Oh.
Nice. Good denial.
There we go. That's what you don't like to see, but it's
बहुत
certainly
improve किया यार
interesting
brute
and
force
may actually contribute
compared to EWC.
quite a lot to these
बहुत
overall
improve
standings,
किया.
Blank. Given that first place
कोई
before
बात
this
नहीं,
match
finals
was a
में देखेंगे
tie,
brute force
at
को.
one point
अब नहीं.
is make or break for first or second place. Could be a make or break for third or fourth place in the future, depending on how the future games go. Finally, this compound is starting to pop off. 4MV make their approach. Secret flexing out to try and deal with it as he tries to spray down Baron, but it's not happening for him. Not quite connecting on it. Goes
Nice
very low. Goes for the flush instead, but the nade over the top is
Doc
there.
is the last man
Baron's still
standing for
alive.
4MV.
Finally, a nade finds it, and it's Team Liquid to chime in their central shack. Blank.
उधर से भी
This
nades
is
आ
a
रहे हैं.
big position for Team Liquid.
बहुत मुश्किल है 4MV सर्वाइव करना उधर.
Right now, get inside the building. Nothing you can do here. Trangzix, frequently the best squad mate on the side.
अरे
of
क्यों
Team Secret. Those
Why are you
back
showing
things
your
off.
back?
एंट्री अच्छी है लेकिन बैठने का तरीका अभी बड़ा
भाई
कैजुअल
TT
है.
बहुत क्लोज रेंज
Thought he'd already blocked off the
क्लोज
stairs.
रेंज डिपेंडेंट
Yeah,
टीम
but you
लगता
still
है
run through
मुझे.
it.
क्लोज रेंज तो बहुत सही घुसते. ओए उतार दिया डॉक ने. प्यारा डब्बा डाल दी.
Backpedal. At least.
TT 2 मैन है अब.
Please.
And 4MV
Baron's still down.
2 मैन होने वाला है.
Who's,
कैसे हो आफ्टर BMPS मिल रहे
he
हैं.
can't-
नॉटी
sorry,
जॉर्डन.
can't,
मैं बढ़िया हो ब्रो, आप कैसे हो बताओ.
I have stim first.
मैं तो
before
ऑलमोस्ट हर रोज स्ट्रीम
7
कर रहा
Indians
था.
though. It's a good game from them. You
अब
can
आएगा आपके
see just a
notification.
sliver of red from 4B, by the way.
Okay, come on. That's okay. He's up. He's up. He's alive.
TT
And Doc's
149.
immediately like, okay, my teammate is there. I need to go somewhere else.
Split. Split.
I must split.
बेरॉन फिर से नॉक. बेरॉन भी
I
लाइक.
mean, a good thing he did in this instance.
It's like he knows what's coming.
Yeah.
Hey, Baron,
वो
don't
होता है
heal
ना
them. Don't
पैराशूट
heal them,
ग्लाइडिंग
please.
वाला इससे होता है.
Come to me. Come
मैं
to me.
MC
Simply
हूँ
nade.
जो इधर आया हूँ.
Yeah, I think that the
वो वाला
breakout
meme
was
डालना है.
good from 4MV. But for
डॉग
Brute
नॉक
Force,
नहीं हो रहा है, सिर्फ वही हो रहा है नॉक.
this
And
is
he's
it.
bleeding very
This
fast.
is where they start to make
टच
that
करना पड़ेगा
breakout.
डॉग को.
There is a
Finish हो गया.
potential of 11 eliminations inside the lobby. It's not going to happen now. Now just down to 10. But with 6 elims already found, and in my opinion, what should be a fairly confirmed chicken dinner for Brute Force, this will be a big game to break out towards that top side. Thunder Talks once again having
अबे
another
वो
strong
ये लोग
match.
की
into
लगा
the
के
top
खोला
6.
क्या वो
This is
जगह?
Wonderful news. Doc sending nades through.
ये अंदर की
at the
जगह ये
moment
खुलता नहीं है ना?
towards the Thunder Talks. Does he have any more in the back pocket?
लग गई. Ajay is the last man
He
standing.
does. Shin goes down. AJ. Ooh, that one's a little bit short. Takes the vehicle away, so maybe a little bit
Zing
there.
finish हो गया.
Is this that loot crate that holds the
अजय के
loot
ऊपर
safe
जोन
arm?
नहीं
It
है.
might be.
वो हील बैटल भी नहीं कर सकता है.
Refresh on the level 3s nonetheless, and the sweep around for Brute Force trying to take control of the Team Liquid shack. They were able to get a nade knock earlier, and now there's only one player for Team Liquid on the inside. Has to play behind the wall, and the fact that these teams in the compound are fighting against
Ajay
each
kill नहीं देगा
other
शायद.
is what is keeping him safe for the time being. Chief now has to
दे
step
दिया.
back in as teams start to roll out from the compound. The Vicious still alive.
ये क्या
Managed to
AMR use
move
कर रहा है
through this
बे?
one, and they weren't in there originally, but they have managed to get on through. Looking for the shot. There's that AMR that I was looking for. David. able to
ब्रूट
take
फोर्स
that
का गेम है.
outside.
The 3x
जैसे
link.
ब्रूट फोर्स का गेम बोला मैंने.
Seen something like that in
उनका
a
एक बंदा
while.
knock.
Good nade across the top, but
8
there's a
finishes.
stop. They will take
4 man
down
strong.
Freezer.
हो जाएगा रब ये.
Mone's pouring through from the Vicious.
Freezer.
The Vicious just have some good timings and some fortuitous timings as well. I don't think that they've made any crazy approaches in their past games. It's just been good circles, fortunate timings, and then some clutch moments. Especially, I'm having flashbacks now to Diminor versus Brute Force on a sliver of HP.
What group is the
just
old
makes the
team
call to go
ST
for it.
in?
And well played to him. I mean,
Is it
Diminor has
qualified?
been playing
They were in group red.
phenomenally well.
ओए अच्छा
for
नेट था.
the Vicious.
There
They
it
were in
is.
group
That's
red.
the name they've been
They
looking
couldn't
for a
qualify.
while. And now it's a 3v4.
For the grand finals,
The
वो लोग
Vicious
survival
are
stage
nearly
खेलेंगे.
going down all the way. Has a first aid, so will be able to top himself back up
That's what I'm talking about.
a little bit.
Lady Fortune is on the side of the Vicious.
Okay, all right. They
Proper
are on the
4v3
outside
fight
of the
है
circle
end
right
zone.
now, and they are going to have to push forwards. The shack is still in play, but that's nadeable. Brute Force have zeroed in on that almost perfectly now. I just wonder how many nades they've got left.
सेम और एक मैच देखा इस
Scenario.
PMGC में. मैं बता दूं तुम
Smokes
लोग
are
को.
blooming. Brute Force not
VC की
getting
जगह
too
पे
fresh with it. They've heard that
TJ भी
AMR.
था.
You know, you step too far
Falcons
forward,
थे.
you're going down. No two ways about it.
फिर Virtus Pro का भी एक बंदा था
You're
सर्वाइव कर
essentially
रहा था
waiting
सोलो
for
बंदा.
Furious POV,
उस साइड से फ्यूरिया के
You
उस
want
साइड के
him to
शैक
get
में
good off
फ्यूरिया के
angle
दो बंदे
pick.
थे. वो मैच की बात कर रहे हो ना?
Back of that.
जिसमें
I mean,
TJ भी ने चिकन निकाला.
The setup they've got is fantastic.
जिसमें ईस्ट और आईसी बचे थे.
But do
उन
they
दोनों को
lose
मार के चिकन
again?
निकाले थे.
Is the question. despite everything. Raze drops his backpack.
वही मैच था
Stay
बट इधर नहीं था वो
here,
और लेफ्ट साइड था
hidden
शायद
away.
नहीं इधर ही था
Neil's trying to bait these
नहीं, इधर नहीं था।
stand-ups, bait these peaks and get
और
the
left side
trades.
था ये।
Furia so ready
और
to
left side
just
था ये।
lean out.
इधर नहीं था वो
Diminor is
It
aware
was
of
more
this
towards
location
the
and he's keeping his eyes
ferry pier.
firmly on it. It looks like a lot of them are actually.
Ferry
They
pier
might
के
try
side
and
था वो।
isolate Furia here. I
इधर
don't
नहीं
think they've
था
got
वो।
any more nades to play with. Certainly not on Reyes, not on David at the back. Diminor maybe, but I think if they had, they would have put them
Survival
over
में
Fury
कितने matches
already
है?
and forced that peak, but he spots one. Steps
Survival
out,
stage
gets back in healthy,
तीन
no
दिन का है ना?
challenge, and then there
तीन
comes
दिन
the
का है
flash.
शायद।
That's beautiful value from Furia,
12
leaving them
matches
in a
पता नहीं
4v2.
देखा नहीं मैंने
And at
exactly
this
notice
point,
नहीं
you've
किया
got to hope
ओए
they can do it.
Freezer
But Furia
knock.
goes
Okay.
down,
एक
Freezer
बंदा knock
into
है।
the firing line as well. The Vicious are isolating this fight. Neos and Prepod not in a position to get the refrags. If he goes down now, Freezer just needs to stay alive. The smokes are there, and finally Neos is in for the
Push कर
fight
रहे
as
हैं,
well.
VC वाले push
Reyes
कर
has
रहे
to
हैं।
push forward and brute force.
और एक को दे दिए, 2v2
here. David breaks forwards, but Freezer
2v2.
falls. Now two players.
Nice knock.
Two. Prepod up onto the top of the shack, gets that high ground. Reyes
चलो भाई,
stand there.
brute force का chicken
That
dinner,
is
I
what they
think
were
with
looking
this,
for. It gets hairy,
they are
but
securing
brute
their
force
spot
pull it back under
for the grand
control, and
finals.
EMEA back on top.
अच्छा खासा kills भी मिल गया अच्छा खासा chicken भी मिल गया
Disappointed himself there, and he should
4 more
do,
matches to go.
because the boogie play, although I respect that he wants to get the rundowns, they
20 points
had
मिलेगा इनको
essentially a 1
10
game.
kills तो easily है
I
इनके
don't
पास
think that he had to move out in the buggy.
PUBG
He
में
had a
zone damage
4v2,
ज़्यादा है
good lineup.
या कोई
They
heal
just have to
battle
play the
करना
back
नहीं
off
चाहते
Furia.
What do you think
Interesting one. Still, they get the win. It's
What do you think,
fantastic
bro?
game from them on that northwest side.
Possible
The way
नहीं
they
है heal
moved
battle,
down,
इसलिए कोई
and
नहीं
Prepod,
कर रहा।
yes, you are a good player, my dude.
Fantastic stuff from Brute Force, taking a chicken dinner. And in that game blank, I don't know if you caught it, but DRS, they're in 11th place as well.
170 कुछ हो गया points brute force का
Well, Brute Force, they have shown
Qualified
up here
है
today,
team.
wanting to claim that first place position and hold it down the rest of the day here and get their easy ticket in over to the UK. Jace Gappin joined by Hot Jukes and Maxman here in Brute Force.
What up?
I thought that was a really cool way they actually played out that match as well, going in from Primorsk and then also
Forum we
just
need
doing
at
like
least
a delayed
45 points
push
in
out
4
of
matches
Primorsk.
Yeah, Jason, we were looking this entire
कितने
game. They
points
were
हैं उनके
so
पास अभी?
adamant on playing these splits. And
Major Pride
no,
का
we've been
देखा
criticizing Dog for going for these splits.
छिड़
and being
गया
too
था
aggressive.
tips and
No,
tricks
a
लगा
good
के
split
same
is when
tower
you get good information
पर
off the back of
military
it, and you don't commit to a fight
zone
when
में।
you're not ready for that engagement.
The
And we
water
have
tanky
seen
वाला
very little
water
mistakes
tank वाला
happening
tower
in this game from Brute Force on these splits. Sure, maybe sending it with a buggy, as Blanco said, was a bit risky.
कहाँ
But their western splits to
Neos का
control
7
and just
solo
obliterate
finishes
everyone
match
on the west was so well executed that it easily gave them access to an opportunity
7,
to win this match.
8,
Absolute clinic. this game.
13 finishes
Dude,
23
look
points
at the conversion rate from Neos
Huge,
there.
man.
7
4 MV को चाहिए
eliminations,
ऐसा matches
600 damage. And then on the other side, you got
Bro, any
Vega
idea
with-
from-
with 5
any idea about BGMI
double
Red
the
Bull
damage,
LAN will
1,000.
start?
That is
No
wild.
idea, bro.
I mean,
मैंने-
this
I mean,
ridiculous. You saw them in
पता
Primorsk, and they
बात करके
had
पता कर
a
सकता हूँ मैं, but
literally
समझ रहे हो?
full-fledged
मैंने बात नहीं
split
किया किसी
across
से
the
उसके बारे
whole
में।
city. I mean, I haven't seen that in a zone like this in
E-sports
I
में
can't
कौन-कौन
remember,
रहेंगे
honestly. They
वो-
tried to hold that whole city by
Sid
themselves,
भाई-
but yeah, it was just gathering intel, getting
पता
that
नहीं।
information, trying to see if a squad
मतलब
would
ये
move up.
knowledge से आप
And
क्या
that's the
करोगे?
great
मेरे को
thing about
समझ-
that
समझ नहीं आ
side
रहा।
of the map is that particular city. There's so many
Research
different
purposes
ways
के लिए पूछ
where
रहे
you
हो
can
क्या
just
आप?
kind of sneak your way through and just try to regroup with your team.
कहीं आपका exam में ना
I mean,
जाए ये
Brute
question।
Force, once they got that zone shift, they took the hill, and it was just
But after
a
chicken dinner,
dominant victory for them.
Margolin का
Honestly,
action
the chicken dinner here, I think
याद
that
आ
locks them
गया
in for top 3. What do you
Heat
think?
and
Yeah,
Alpha
for sure.
7
I
वाला
think this is going to be the nail in the coffin for them.
Margolin का एक ही
top
रहता
three
है
and normally
ये रहता
overtaking
है, वो
influence rate.
ऐसा
But
करता है।
I do want to highlight though.
और
Some
क्या
people
करता
might be
है वो?
looking at the stats like, oh, Neos, Prepod, Furia, they were carrying this game.
You said you will do
Freezer
watch
did
party
nothing.
with
No, no, no.
crypto अरे
Sure,
बात अभी
Freezer,
हो गया मेरा
elimination
crypto
wise,
से
maybe wasn't that present,
16th को
but
बोला
he was
उसने, but
serving
16th
as
को
a
I was
strong
at,
anchor point for his team.
I was at
Every
DreamHack,
single
I
circle
couldn't
shift, he was
stream.
making sure his team
अभी फिर
had a
वापस
spot to
पूछना पड़ेगा
rotate
मुझे।
into while they were trying to just
समझ रहे
sweep Western teams like your influence rate, like your 77s.
We
like
will,
your
we will, okay, don't worry.
एंट्री अच्छी है लेकिन
अभी
बैठने
दो
का
में
तरीका
से
अभी बड़ा कैजुअल
एक 4 MV का मैच है
We're watching like
बर्डी ने बोल दिया मतलब हो जाएगा
that third party they pulled off, and he was just away from his team trying to scout out, see where can we
बट
rotate.
समझ रहे हो मेरे को
next
थोड़ा
off the back
दगदग हो
of
रहा है
this
4
fight.
MV के लिए
And one thing for Brute Force I think we saw in this
When
match
it-
that we didn't really see too much in
when
the
it
past.
all comes
But
down to
when
the
we look
final
back at
2-3
the
matches
elim steals,
अब pressure
stolen eliminations,
pressure में भाई even
Brute
the best
Force
teams
were
choke bro
up there in total elims with like your influence rages around like 65, but they had a 9%
अगर वो
stolen
कमबैक
elim
करना
ratio.
चाहता है तो नेक्स्ट मैच में
Here,
करना
they
पड़ेगा
were constantly looking for third
Final
parties,
एक दो
it
मैच
seems.
में
They
करना
had
है मतलब
77, then eventually they third partied onto the rest
not
of like
easy.
Stalwart Stalwart versus Voin, picking up a couple eliminations onto Stalwart and then just kind of onto Voin and full send it into that fight as well. I feel like they kind of changed their style a little bit with the edge play and more being third party oriented.
They were looking to overtake Influence Rage, Jason, for so long. They're like, if we can't beat them, join them. Just choose the steal eliminations every single game. No, their third parties were on point. They third-partied the initial fight, then I think it was DRS versus 77. Then you had Voin fighting Oracle on the northern side, another third party. Like, it was an absolute third party.
क्या इंडिया में PUBG खेलना illegal है?
And again, it's down
Illegal,
to the scouting
illegal.
because of those splits that were happening.
इतना बड़ा शब्द use कर लिया
in
आपने.
the first place. So brute force, again, a team going in this group that was like top 3.
You can play, bro.
Achievable.
You can play, it's not a big deal. तुम जेल नहीं जाओगे खेलने की वजह से.
Was so good that at top 3, hell yeah, super deserving right now.
Let's go. Yeah, I mean 23 points. I mean that has
कोई
definitely
heal battle क्यों नहीं करता? Heal battle possible नहीं है bro.
Easily be able to make
इस settings में तूफान.
I love their play style when it comes to that teamwork, man. You know, they usually when they do a 3-1 split, they do it at the right time perfectly.
Weekendy match नहीं होता है bro Raki bro. No weekendy, only one Sanhok, 3 Wrangle, 2 Miramar.
It's going to be just so much easier after this, right? Because they have all the confidence in the world. They have such a big point.
Yes, bro. There are many videos on YT how to climb water tank. Seriously, मेरे को देखना पड़ेगा, bro.
Too overconfident for
sure. देखना पड़ेगा. Water tank कैसे चढ़ते हैं?
They continue to play like this. I mean, yeah, they're definitely going to be on top of this group for sure.
Did not know.
Reinforce on the front page. You don't see Influence Rage there. That's 21 points that they were able to get more than the team who was ranked first place going into this game. But as we saw, there was just the tiebreaker of Chicken Dinner. So this should be a 21-point lead now for Brute Force over Influence Rage. Not to mention all the other teams down below them here.
अरे
if you look at that leaderboard,
थोड़ी जगहों पे कर सकते बे, but not the one which I was talking about. इस मैच का MVP है Furia.
You know, Kagasaka, these are teams who are on the brink of being sent home. RRQ in there.
छिड़ सकते water tank, but जो ये water tanks दिखा रहा है ना, वहाँ एक घर है बाजू में, उसका हेल्प लेके छिड़ रहा है. पर जहाँ वो थी ना वाटर टैंक जिस लोकेशन की हम बात कर रहे थे वहाँ पॉसिबल नहीं है क्योंकि आजू बाजू कुछ सपोर्ट नहीं है क्लाइम करने के लिए. I hope that makes sense. जहाँ रिकॉल है वहाँ छिड़ नहीं सकते. Exactly bro. The overall standings are here. Brute Force 176, INF 155, TT 154. D plus किया 140, 14 points का difference है. 4MV 134. 4MV को एक 25 pointer का match निकालना पड़ेगा. That should be the next match only. Hopefully. और else pressure बढ़ जाएगा bro. Final 2-3 matches में.
Because it's just not quite possible at that point. But maybe instead of going for the center position,
Brute Force qualified. यार बोल दिया मैंने वो पहले.
More edge sweeping playstyle. That for sure. But the moment they were in the shade,
Brute Force qualified है.
There you go. DRS did. Is that the first time they pushed out?
DRS.
It feels like it.
Hashtag 11. You do hashtag 12.
I mean, that's a good change.
दोनों का same points है.
See some more. DRS, you got 1 point.
DRS has two chicken dinners. इसलिए वो hashtag 11
1
पे.
point behind, but it's not going to cut it. We need more than 1 point DRS, and you might make it to the survival stage.
If Secret get a chicken dinner, just off, it was 0 eliminations, they're going to pass DRS, and they're in last place.
That's crazy.
That's kind of again how close it is, and yeah, DRS you might be top 11 right now, but
Bye.
you're not safe whatsoever.
I hope D plus Kia does not pull a MSG. MSJ. I hope they don't pull it MSJ.
I want to bring it back to something we saw between, it's technically, I guess, 3 teams. It was Kagasaka, Thunder Talk, and then Team Secret.
I hope they don't.
Eventually, as we're towards Fairy Pier in one of these compounds. I was just curious about your thoughts on how they kind of played things out here, because we were kind of hoping that they would somewhat share the compound instead of actually looking for the fights, realizing that this is a really good place to play from as the zone progresses.
We've been talking a lot, Jason, about how third parties in this group, like we had the group of center play in Group Yellow, Red it was Edge, and now it's group of third parties, this group, it feels like. And I have to highlight Team Secret. Like, you have Thunder Talk Gaming fighting versus CAG Osaka over in that compound that you mentioned, Jason. Team Secret, like, okay, we're struggling to find a good position in the circle. We have to just send it, and if we're lucky, we get control of a great central position in the circle, and we can get a few eliminations here and there. Sure, Secret did not end up making it into the podium scenario of this game, but the third party was super important for Secret to just enable them to maybe have the opportunity to reach that late game. So Team Secret still want to be a bit careful because they can be a threat in this lobby.
Yeah, I'll give it up to you.
Bro, Falcons का क्या हुआ? Falcons survival stage.
These guys rotated to the center.
Falcons के matches हो गए already.
And that's the risks you have.
DRS killer longest spray ever in international lobby. 468 meters burst.
If teams can clutch it up yet again as we head into our second airing of the day with John Allen and Blink.
Chalo, the match 3 has begun.
Guys over on the desk, we're going to be heading on in. to match number 20.
इसके बाद और एक Irangel, उसके बाद 2 Miramar.
Now from the shooting
If
range
played in
down
this
to the
lobby,
Stalker, the plane path
they
going
can
down
easily
the middle
dominate
of the island will be
this
pretty
weak
chill.
lobby.
All the teams will have access to their favored
किसकी
drop
बात कर रहे हो?
spots.
Gustavo?
Should be nice and
Gustavo
easy for them,
Fring.
but where will the
अरे
circle
Gustavo
go?
Fring?
That remains to be
सिर्फ
seen.
Gustavo लिखा है आपका नाम में.
They gotta clutch it up, and that is the story of the game here so far. Because there has
Bye
been
bye,
a lot
happy
of teams
birthday.
that do need to
Sky
get themselves
NT
up
Vinet,
towards
thank
top
you,
of the
bro.
tables.
Gift का है.
But more
Gift
so
चाहिए मुझे.
than ever, it is incredibly difficult to make that happen, just because of how close a lot of these teams are. From the back of one game to the next, it can be a completely different set of teams towards 7th, 8th, and 9th at the moment.
China का
Terrifying
ST
place to
का
be in,
क्या roster है?
going forward. And I
अरे
think
ये
that,
नया Alex join किया ना
you
ST.
have this horrible
IHC का जो Alex था,
sense of,
वो
do we
ST
play
join किया.
safe or
पता
do
नहीं
we
अभी
play
roster में क्या क्या
aggressive?
changes हो रहा है.
And how do
ST
we
का.
balance that? Because it truly is a balancing act
I
right
think
now.
Zuel भी जाएगा.
Where you're getting your
Sound
points
increase
from,
एक
do you
second,
take
इसका.
risks? Because a risk could end your tournament life right now. This is why I respect Void Donkey so
Zone
much
देखो
for
क्या
what they're
क्या
doing
zone
at the
बनी है.
moment, because it is a
पूरा
very,
ऊपर का
very
circle.
tough thing to go for in these closing moments. of
Severny
being like,
yes ना यार.
we might not have had the best tournament. We might have looked like the weakest coming into day one. However, now we've got to show up not so.
Guys सारे के सारे hit that like
fangs.
button यार. We're very close to 2k likes.
That's right.
कर दो.
North Circle.
2000 लोग
flank.
देख रहे हैं.
Of course it is. Wouldn't have
If you
any
did
other
not
way.
like this stream,
we are going back up towards the north side of the river, most likely.
I'm not saying you are gay,
see what
but
they
you
can
know,
do. Team Liquid
कर
sent
लो.
a wide
Like
split
कर लो.
out with Ayala actually in Saverny. Nobody joining him just yet, but that may change given how the
भाई
circle sits.
mumble raps सुनाओ.
The question for me is how quickly will Team Liquid get there? Because brute force,
कैसे सुनाते
it's
हैं
not
mumble rap?
unlikely
मुझे
that
नहीं
they
पता.
just crash straight into Saverny as well. Hopefully Ayala's ready
Don't
for
say
it.
4MV will win chicken.
Yeah,
You
and
will
I think
curse
that you're
them.
right. And Brute Force have done this
He's an
multiple
army
times
भाई
in the
मैंने
past. So
बोला ही
for
नहीं ऐसा कुछ.
EMEA, where
फिर
they
भी
have
वो choke
gone
कर
for
रहे
a
हैं.
Saverny
तो
drop.
क्या करूं
No,
मैं?
9 times out of 10 they have lost on a
कुछ
Saverny
बोला भी
drop.
नहीं ऐसा.
I will like to remind people of that. So we'll see what happens. But versus just one player, entirely doable. Entirely doable. And this is an aggressive
Soul
split
Dog.
from Team Liquid, which I think could
Godlike
come back
dog,
to
bro.
bite them. Like
हो
you
गया
said,
already
John,
contract चले
as
गया. वो
Prepo's
आ रहा है
already
Godlike.
making his way on over. Might send to the eastern side of Saverny, which would be the smartest choice, which is what he's going for here right now, stopping in the shop. Ayla's in trouble.
He is. There is a regroup from two of the
1
Team
लाख
Liquid
दे दो.
players.
IND
and of
DK,
course, Brute Force
IND
just grabbed
X
vehicles
DK.
and went there straight away, which means they don't
मतलब
have loot on board.
ऐसा कमेंट
Report
करने पे
is getting
आपको असली
a
में लग
little
रहा है कि
bit
मैं 1 लाख
more,
दूंगा आपको.
Decked out now though, has got that M4 and that
अगर आपको
DBS,
पता है
so
मैं
can
नहीं
go
दूंगा
for the
तो
fight,
क्यों
but doesn't
comment
have the
कर रहे हो ये मेरे
helmet,
को समझ नहीं
doesn't
आ रहा.
have everything that he may want in these
क्या है
early
आपका
engagements.
end goal
Brute
क्या है
Force
आपका?
have now fully surrounded, however, onto
Coops
this
back in
location.
NA.
Team Liquid.
After
looks like
this
we might have
performance,
this early fight. We'll see
yeah.
if I wouldn't quite
क्या
call
है,
it a hot
Twisted,
drop, but
disband
a
क्या?
chosen
But-
engagement here on the first rotate
Twisted
set
disband
for
क्या पूरा?
both Team Liquid and Brute Force. Ayala had a vehicle,
Triangle में
could have
mostly
rotated
north
out
side
back to the west to try and
आए
play
ही
that angle.
unlucky for
Brute
4MV.
Force,
अरे it's
they
not.
started dropping around those
Military
southbound
zone would be
vehicles.
unlucky,
They have
bro.
rotated
This
into
zone
one
is
too.
not
So
that
this
big
is
of a
an
deal.
optional fight
हो जाएगा
that
rotation
both
easily.
teams have looked to go for.
These things like a side mission right now.
Yeah, pretty much. That's what I'm seeing.
I mean, for Saverny, it's a great starting point for this particular circle indeed. Again, like to remind everyone, Brute Force has lost nearly every single one of their hot drops and fights in Saverny. I don't know if they've been doing some research, some planning.
I think the
Good choice.
End goal
the
आपका
research
time
has
waste कर.
concluded if we don't fight, we don't lose.
If that was his
Which,
end
in
goal,
this
he has
case,
succeeded,
may be
bro.
quite helpful. Other fights, sure,
He
great,
did.
excellent at those. For some reason, Saverny, not so fun.
Very, very bad.
Really terrible.
So I respect that from Brute Force. Yeah, you know.
Himanshu Roy, yes
Yeah,
bro,
if I
yes.
can't do a handstand, I'm not going to try and do a handstand. If they can't fight Saverny, they're not going to try and fight Saverny.
That's fair.
I think it's
Spike भाई
the
नोवा में अभी भी
smart
हो
decisions to go
नहीं
for.
तो
And there is
फिर
combat,
वापस
there is loot
फिर
over
आ
towards
जाओ.
that northeast
God
side
like
as
मैं
well.
20k plus watching
And with
जाएगा
Brute Force
watch
being
party
in
में
first
easy.
place,
अभी भी
that's
नोवा में हो
sort
ब्रो
of a
मैं.
decision where it's like,
It's okay.
oh, we're 20 points
मेरे को
ahead.
अगर
We just need to
2000 लोग भी
profit.
देख रहे हो ना मैं खुशी हूँ.
It would be really bad, guys,
मेरे को
wouldn't
उतना भी
it?
20k
If,
watching की
we all
समझ लो.
died in the
उतना
first 2
greedy नहीं
minutes of the
हूँ.
game here in Saverny.
मैं God like में नहीं हूँ but
Yeah, I
God
like
like
that.
में
Keep
समझ
four
लो.
alive.
Relationship मेरा अच्छा
I
ही है.
think 4 alive, yeah, Gonna go for that this time.
But
right?
I don't think
thing.
Godlike join करने से मेरे को इतना
It's a
watching
tough
आएगा.
decision to make though a lot of times, really.
It's not like that, you
because
know.
he's
For,
a case of swallowing your
if
pride.
if I join
a
as an
lot.
esports player,
I mean, like,
yes,
we are just
I might get that kind of
rubbish.
watching. But
Yes.
as a creator,
I think we
I don't
just
think
have to give it
I
up
might
at this
get
point.
like
And that's
1000
fair
2000
enough.
बढ़ेंगे
So
watching.
for brute force be able to get up
क्योंकि
towards
Godlike
first
के
place,
loyal
I think there
audience
has been a
ज़्यादा
lot of
है.
swallowing of their pride.
तो
And
वो
I
लोग
think
देख
that they
सकते हैं मुझे.
learn far
But
quicker
सिर्फ join
than
करने
some
से
of the
20 के
teams
watching.
in this lobby that
एंट्री अच्छी
मुझे
है
तो नहीं
लेकिन
आएगा.
बैठने का तरीका अभी बड़ा
I don't know,
कैजुअल
but
है.
he is
we have to play a little bit more
going
smart
to
here.
play Titan
But there has
series,
been a super chaotic
which
lobby.
we guys are also
I
going
think,
to play.
Again, I said it yesterday, but
Maybe
if you went
he
back
is
and watched
here
Group
just
Red
for a
and Group Yellow,
tournament. इनको is also
the
playing. कौन सा टीम से खेल रहा है बड़ी
organisation
वो?
of the rotates,
कौन सा
in
टीम
terms
से
of
खेल रहा है
reading
वो?
into where people are
Individually
playing,
बहुत
it
एकदम
was far cleaner
sexy player है वो.
than Group Green has been so far, which means there's a lot more chaos to be
पता नहीं
had.
बहुत.
Okay, Cat pulls himself out of the game, fair enough. But because there is
तुम
more
लोग भी
chaos
खेल रहे हो
to be
मतलब
had,
कोई
you
chance
have to
नहीं
be
है Coops को
disciplined.
जीतने का उस
And I
tournament.
think that Brute Force learnt that quickly
कोई
on
chance
day
नहीं है
2,
कि
whereas
Coops को
4
तुम ही
B
लोग ले लो
wasn't
ना.
implying that until day 3,
But
which is why they're
बात
currently
कर
sat
ले.
in 5th place, but they have improved.
Yeah, they have been trying
कुछ
to
offer
keep
कर दे उसको,
lockstep
हो
with this
जाएगा.
top pack, and they're 20 points behind now.
कौन?
third
अरे Coops
place,
की बात
which
हो
is
रहा है.
starting to get a little bit too far flung. A big
Coops,
game necessary to
Twisted
keep them
Minds
in
में
the
जो खेला
running.
था.
Thunder
Group
Talk,
Yellow.
though, maybe getting
That
cut down
Coops.
on their approach. They're moving in from the southeast side. Stalwart have got the stretched line out from Lipovka. Thunder Talk going to move up.
Bro, अभी
They have a
बच्चू
compound. Looks like they're a
आई
little
है,
bit safer
उसका
now, but the
10K
rest of
plus
the team
watching
yet to
आता
make their
है,
way through as
reaction
well.
करती है.
And Secret are still on the way over towards
तो लड़की है
Yasnaya,
ना,
so a
देखने
lot
में भी
of
अच्छी है ना,
conflict potentially
obviously
still
आएगा.
on the road for Thunder Talk.
लड़कों के लिए
Yeah, with
लड़कों के लिए
Stalwart, like I
ऐसा
say,
watching
Team
नहीं
Secret
आता
ahead
है.
of them. There are no strangers to
लड़कों के लिए ना कुछ
rough
कुछ
fights
ना
though,
कुछ
so I think
स्पेशल
that
करना
Thunder
पड़ेगा.
Talks might not go horribly for them.
जो ऑडियंस को पसंद है, लड़कों को
Meantime,
मेहनत
D
करना
Plus
पड़ेगा
did
बहुत
make
ज्यादा.
their rotate over towards that
कुछ अचीव
northern
करना
side.
पड़ेगा तभी आएगा.
There's a strong rotate. Whether or not they can capitalize.
मेल
एंट्री
ऑडियंस ज्यादा
अच्छी
है.
है लेकिन बैठने का
BGMI
तरीका
में.
अभी बड़ा कैजुअल है.
तो फीमेल क्रिएटर्स आएंगे तो इफ दे लुक गुड, स्क्रीन टाइम ऑब्वियसली लड़कों का ज़्यादा रहेगा, उनको पसंद आएगा. समझ रहे हो? वो ज़्यादा इंटरेस्ट दिखाएंगे एंगेज करने में उनके साथ. समझ रहे हो? बहुत फैक्चुअल बात कर रहा हूँ मैं, कुछ मैं डिस्क्रिमिनेट नहीं कर रहा हूँ. ठीक है, स्पाइक भाई चिल यार, मैं सच्चाई बोल रहा हूँ यार. छोड़ो छोड़ो, इसमें भी मेरे को फिर लोग बोलेंगे कुछ ना कुछ. छोड़ो, लड़कों के लिए ना भाई इजी नहीं है वॉचिंग लेके आना. बहुत बड़े बड़े अचीवमेंट्स होना चाहिए,
एंट्री अच्छी है
consistent
लेकिन
होना
बैठने का
चाहिए,
तरीका अभी बड़ा
तभी
कैजुअल
जाके
है.
आएगा वॉचिंग वगैरह. कल
We're
आप भी
back.
ब्लाउज पहन के बैठो, वॉचिंग आ गया. छोड़ो नहीं भाई.
Slight.
अगर वो करना होता तो 5 साल से मैं इधर अटका रहता क्या.
Back again.
Back in.
And
नहीं,
we're back
छोड़ो,
just in
मैं जैसा
time
हूँ वैसा
for
ठीक हूँ.
3, 2, 1. Circle shift.
Hey, there we go.
Heads all the way over towards that
जैसा हूँ
northwest
वैसा ठीक हूँ
side.
मैं.
Team Liquid
जितने लोग
happy
मेरे को
with
देखते
this
हैं
one.
उतने से मैं
Brute
ठीक
Force
हूँ.
obviously don't get Severny, but they're fairly cemented over towards that eastern
Bro,
edge.
4MV is gonna
Thunder
cook
Talks might
in
be a
this
problem
match.
for them
मैं
as they
कुछ
are
नहीं बात कर रहा. अगर
rotating
मैं
in
कुछ
fast
कमेंट
and
कर
they're
दूंगा
not
इसके ऊपर
quite
तो फिर लोग
regrouped
आ
just
जाएंगे.
yet. You're hoping
भाई आपकी वजह से वो
that the
जीत नहीं पाए
cross
ये
angle
मैच.
here
तो मैं
from
बस
Brute Force
एंजॉय कर रहा हूँ,
might
देखते क्या होगा.
seem a little bit happier. This is dangerous though for Brute Force. I don't think rotating in right
सच
now
कड़ा होता है
is the
स्पाइक
best
भाई.
decision. I think you need to be
ये
more
सच भी इनको
concerned
मीठा
over
चाहिए, क्या
towards that
करूँ मैं?
northeast.
Another such utterances. RRQ scouting out from the south side, trying to figure out where in the middle of this circle is going to play well. There's that ridge out to the west of Savannah.
Like on a serious note,
There's going to
Team
be a
X
pretty
Park
pivotal
इस
location.
ग्रुप
I imagine
ग्रीन में
currently, I think that's
अगर है,
77
अगर होता
who
तो
have the closest position to
कहाँ
it
रहता?
towards Rage actually. Should be sat lining
इस
that
ग्रुप
one.
में
So it'll be
I
interesting to see
consider
if
this
they
group,
can leverage this game and chase down Brute Force.
अगर
They're
rank
all
करना
on that
चाहता हो
northern
group
side as
yellow,
Brute Force slot in above
रेड
Severny
एंड
now.
ग्रीन, तो आई वुड रेट दिस ग्रुप
Fair
on the
enough to
bottom.
them. I think they scouted this out earlier,
तो अगर
right?
टीम
They
एक्स
didn't
पार्क
see
इस
anyone
ग्रुप में
playing
होता
towards this
तो
location,
where do you
so
think
they can
Team
happily
X
get
Park
themselves
is
back
gonna
in.
stand
That's not
on
Fraser.
day 3? I mean on day 4.
Huh, yeah, you're right.
मत लिखो यार hashtag 16.
That
अच्छा
has happened a few times, to be fair.
मत लिखो hashtag 16.
But I would like to remind everyone. that's not
I'm
Fraser.
going to put them somewhere
People
between
down.
hashtag 10 and hashtag
Oh,
6.
they just can't play Severny.
I think.
It's really unfortunate.
एंट्री अच्छी है लेकिन बैटरी का तरीका अभी बड़ा कैजुअल
PMGC कौन है?
Before he gets rezzed, I'm
बेस्ट
expecting
IGL इन
maybe 20
PMGC
to 30
कौन है?
seconds,
नोमी
which
MVP
means
बनेगा
that
क्या?
they don't have the
नोमी
influence over
MVP बनेने के
Savani
chances
they
बहुत
might
ज्यादा
like.
है.
The good thing is
Best
that Team
IGL तो
Liquid
भाई,
is 77. They're
They
playing on
can't
the
pick
boards. They're
one
not pushing through
because
this one.
picking one
And
would
I
not
don't
be
think that
not be
they
fair.
very likely ever would until the next circle shift.
बहुत
and
अच्छे जेल से
it would
भाई,
have
बहुत
to shift
अच्छे
on
जेल से.
towards Savani, right? That's when you would start to think
It's
about
not a
going for
one-word
it. But
answer.
for 77, what's the point
भाई,
of
इतने
going
लोग
across that
hashtag
road when
16
you
लिख
know
रहे
you're
हैं
going to
bro.
be so open to Team
Come
Liquid?
on, guys,
They have
come on.
incredible sight lines down that
अगर
road
आप नहीं
crossing
करोगे ऐसा
and
support तो
straight
भाई
into
कौन
a fight
करेगा?
that you don't know
अपना
if you
team
can
है.
win, right? Against Brute
अपना
Force.
team है.
And maybe Brute Force are lackluster in their Savani fights.
Even
but in
if
general,
the
you
reality is
still don't wanna
hashtag
be
16,
fighting
you guys should
in
be
this
spamming
scenario. So I
hashtag
think for now, we'll see
1 तो
decent
नहीं.
Savani on the
Hashtag
northern side.
5, hashtag 7,
It's a similar
hashtag 9.
situation to what we saw from that last game.
Who
where
cares?
You had Thunder Talk,
Who
CAG,
cares about
and
reality?
4MV all in the same location.
अपन
Just because
optimistic
they knew
mindset रखेंगे
that
ना,
likely if they
तो
just
हो भी
chilled out
सकता
there,
है.
they were going to get a top
Manifest
5
करना
easily,
चाहिए
which
अपने
they
को.
did.
कि भाई अपना
come
टीम होता
towards
तो
the
भाई
end of the game.
टॉप 10 में रहता
So
गारंटी.
for Brute Force, 77, as well as Team Liquid, are all just happy to sit this one out essentially for the remainder of the game.
So ये क्वेश्चन कोई
Or at
पूछेगा
least
ना,
until the circle
hashtag
shifts
16 कोई
away
नहीं
from
बोलेगा.
Savani. But I don't think it's going to do that anytime soon.
Top
at least,
10
unless
minimum.
It is an absolutely hard shift over towards the west. But we'll
Minimum
wait and
top
see.
10.
Hasn't happened yet.
थोड़ा अच्छा
Yes,
कर
it
लिया तो
has.
टॉप
It is a
5.
hard shift out towards the
अगर बहुत अच्छा कर लिया तो जीत भी सकते हैं hashtag 1.
Oh, dear me.
टॉप 3 नहीं but bottom 5 भी नहीं. Yes. ये अच्छा लगा
going to
मेरे
be
को.
messy. DRS on the east
Mindset
side
change
pushing
करो
in
यार,
through
manifest
and
करो
past
अपना
Stalwart,
team.
hopefully as they find
इस
Chris
तरीके से
that
लोग बोल
spray
रहे हैं
and
next
seals
year
the
खेलने
deal
वाला है
on
इंडिया.
it.
अगर ऐसा हो गया
They will have to march
तो भाई
quite away
ये
past
चेंज
Savani.
करना पड़ेगा
Try
mindset.
and move around either side. Savani
हो
is
सकता है
still
हमारे
in
टीम
the
hashtag
circle
16
block,
आएगा
so they
but
can
अपने
chill
को
out for a
बिलीव
little
रखना
while
पड़ेगा कि
longer.
टॉप 10 आएगा ही
And
आएगा.
go Thundertalk, trying to move on through. They're going straight for
ये
the
क्या कर रहा है
bunker as well
TT?
on the north side of the shooting range. But
King
Boink
by
Donkey
donut कर
Ideal
लिया
already
अपना
here.
kill.
Two of them
Zing
are
भी
down.
knock.
RCB have that third-party angle, and Thundertalk may have just bitten off way too much.
How do you say L लग
There's
गई
no
in
way they can
Chinese?
chew it.
अभी तक
They
किसी ने
go
बताया नहीं
down
मुझे.
in third place. D plus Kia,
लग गई
4MV.
TT की.
They've got an opening.
Go on, you donkeys.
एक एक करके सारे किल दे
This
दी
is
बे.
what I want to see.
वीडी को
This is
ऐसा दिए
perfect
किल
stuff.
ले लो हमारे 4
Incredible
किल ले
spray
लो
downs
हमारे
over
4
towards
किल दे
Thunder
दिए.
Talks. Again,
प्यार से दिए.
aggressive in nature are the Thunder Talks in terms of taking position.
देखो बहुत
But
अच्छा मौका मिल गया
the
डी प्लेस
donkeys,
किया
they're
एंड
feeling
4MV को.
themselves. They're in 7th place.
अभी
Just
ये चौका
4
मारेंगे
more
नहीं
points
मारेंगे
away
देखना
from
पड़ेगा
hitting
अपने को.
6th. What an incredible comeback it has been from
एक टीम
Boink
बताओ
Donkey.
6.
Final
एक
throws
टीम
of the
बताओ
tournament
चिकन
as
हुआ
well.
तो पैसा 10x.
Either Defi was very encouraging
मैं
last
कुछ
night
नहीं बता रहा मैं.
or really had a lot of things to say quite loudly directed at them.
TX is unpredictable.
Well,
क्या पता
whatever he's
जीत
done,
जाए.
it's working. More of that, please.
Yeah, you never know.
77 now. Actually,
बस
Brute
इसी को
Force
अपन
initiating this fight.
इसी
They
को
flexed
अपन
out towards
दिमाग में रख
77.
के
There's that crossfire as well
support
coming on
करेंगे
through.
और कुछ
Neos
नहीं.
spots Zadira, gets that immediate flush as well. Prepod is down, but Neos is more preoccupied with 77 on this angle. Frieza and Furia moving out this way. I mean, they know that at some point they're going to have to go for this
जो
fight.
मरी है ना
The
भाई.
question is always timing
बहुत-
on the scenario, but a big
बहुत
nade over
घटिया
through the
तरीके से मरी
rooftop
वो.
for Shifu. Finds Frieza. They thought they had it, but perhaps the clock was just a little bit too
I
fast
think
here
TX
for Brute
जैसी
Force.
टीम या तो
They pulled the
बिल्कुल
trigger
ही
too soon.
hashtag 2
In
पे
go the shots.
होती है.
Furia has to
फिर-
step out.
देखो
See
शुरुआत
you
में
later.
खराब हो सकता
He's
है.
out
BT
of
जैसा
there.
स्टार्ट हो
Not
सकता
so
है.
long though, because Magnum
They'll
puts him
adapt
under
and they'll come
arrest.
back.
That's a terrifying thing to come into. Just limbo boom going through the building.
But yeah, अगर होता तो क्या
spraying
मजा
the
आता है.
S12K. Reasonable approach as well.
अलग
Neon
फील
taking the
अलग
smokes
फील होता है
over, but
देखने
I
में
think it's too
कि
little
अपना
too
टीम
late
हमारा टीम एक है
for Brute Force
इस
here.
ग्रुप में.
Our players
fighting Savannah.
likely not getting
I'm
across.
pretty sure नेपाल के ऑडियंस भी ऐसे ही फील करते होगे कि भाई हमारा टीम एक है. फर्क नहीं पड़ता वो hashtag 11 पे हमारा
It's
टीम एक है.
completely open on the roadside right now. Fortunately, Team
That
Liquid
will
have left
that
the
will
south
give
of
more
Savannah.
points, more interest towards
I
watching
feel
the
like
tournament.
Fury has been spotted. I'm not too sure from
Absolutely, yeah.
where or how
Brute
he's
Force का
making
एक
this.
का
but
डब्बा
no.
बन गया.
Okay,
दो का डब्बा
Shifu
बन गया. Two
puts
man
him
है
out of
Brute
his
Force.
misery. I was feeling it a little bit there. I was getting excited. I thought we might see him back, but no. Brute Force down to 2. They took a fight in Savani and lost. Who'd have guessed? RCB on the edge of that shooting range.
Soul
Team
can
Liquid as
perform
well,
much
moving
better
out
than
the south
TX
side of
in
Savani.
such lobby.
And D plus Kia for MV.
देखो,
Two
तुम
teams
support कर
looking
रहे हो
to
Soul
push
को,
their
that is
way
fine.
up, take
But
Thundertalk
compare मत
out of the
करो ना.
top 3.
Soul could
It's an
perform better than
amusing
TX in this lobby. मतलब
fight actually for brute
कैसे?
force.
आपको
And
कैसे
it's
पता
that
है?
set of circles
How
really
do you
going
know?
into stage 4 with it shifting over towards the western side,
Don't say
then
कि
edging
भाई
back down towards
मैं
the
guess
south.
मार रहा हूँ.
These teams could have easily played Severny a lot more safe considering he
आपको
comes
कैसे
back
पता
over towards them.
कि
But Team
TX
Liquid,
अच्छा नहीं
they
करेगा
take their opportunity
Soul
to
से.
head down towards that south side. They have a strong spot to play in. RRQ taking shots back and forth between them and RCB, but Razor once again rattling off shots over towards RCB.
Donkey still on this northwest side, fighting from this bunker position. Can be really,
Bro,
really
RCB
tricky.
ऊपर आ रही है, just like
Seems
IPL.
like they're handling it. That pressure not quite getting to them just yet. We'll see if that
ऊपर ही था ना
continues.
वो.
Seergy Osaka are trying to
Start
flank
में
out on the
ऊपर ही
west
था वो.
side, so could prove to be troublesome. You've got Influence Rage as well, pushing in from that north edge.
They started today with
So a lot to
102
contend with
points.
here into the next circle. And a difficult move ahead of them if they have to leave this position. Brute Force, they leave Severny, and they're into the shack. It's survival for them.
Yeah, it's the only real play here for them. They just need
4MV versus Yudo is constant, yeah. Last match में भी Yudo को 4MV नहीं मारा.
That northwest side, they're going to struggle to get in along that ridge side. 4MV currently battling off against Celcom Digi Alliance. An initial nade from the one and only Doc himself. It's Reefus. Creates a little tune with the shots. Apex similarly trying to get stuff done. Brute Force still going though, taking shots over towards Team Secret. That's Jakey down. The Secret will explode the vehicle over towards DRS.
RCB यहाँ भी हगेगी क्या? अरे कहाँ हग रही भाई, वो #6 में बैठे हैं. इसको हगना बोलते हैं क्या तुम?
But not still able to connect it. On the south side, 4MV just holding the top of this hillside, and I mean, it will give them a lot of strength. Celcom Digi Alliance trying to move on that east side. CJ Osaka out on the west. DRS, they are suffering right now a little bit on the east side, but they managed to transition down towards the south. They still have Sleepy all the way up.
ST हमेशा 2-man दिखता है, मेरे को हमेशा 2-man दिखते हैं.
Got a wide 2-2 split with Gianti down in the blue zone, pushing.
3.
Not going to be res,
4-man
so
तो होते
DRS
नहीं.
on 3.
DRS down to 2 players on that south side with Killer an example. Sleepy attempting to make his way in. Right now not doing too bad at all, fighting a nade over towards Transit. So the solo from DRS on that north side still staying alive. Even taking shots over towards the players who are rotating in towards the shack, and he knows it's smoked off now. Not likely the line of sight's going to be open to him. Transix does get stolen away by Team Liquid.
Team Secret 5 finishes 3 man strong. एक अच्छा नेड आएगा ना shack के अंदर.
Influence Rage playing this game out nice and slow.
Jackpot भाई, एक अच्छा नेड shack के अंदर.
Oh, that's a nice nade. Just goes slightly short though.
They're still doing damage, and I imagine they got 1 or 2 more left to play with as well. D plus Kia on the east side. They're in that compound. They're in the buildings. Have to transition away, though, most likely in the next circle. And it will be now, because they're...
What will D plus Kia do?
4MV still in a really important position.
Sleepy knock finish from Fearless.
But they do have a better shot at this one than D plus Kia, I think.
Yeah, for D+, this is where they need to pull out.
अगर TT जिंदा होता तो इधर होता TT.
Realistically, so far for D+, it has been such shy gameplay from
TX back-to-back 2 official trophy.
The rotates have been fine. They've been nice. We discussed this beforehand.
Steal from PMGC.
However, it's that mid-game where they're struggling a lot. And it's a similar problem we saw from Mirren Sejong, where from mid to late game, they are good to get towards that position. Capitalizing on that position, though, is a completely different story.
All eyes on 4MV. All eyes on D plus Kia in this match.
Through. See what D plus can get done
Pistol से knock.
It has been a real fall from grace for them.
किसने दिया pistol से knock?
Stalwart have a roll up on the back lines to worry about. Celcom
chat पढ़ते पढ़ते
move into position up on the high ground over the ridge line. They've got oversight on this fight with Stalwart and D+ from this position, but they need to be worried about 4MV on their western flank. So a little bit of a risk taken, and I think 4MV are moving into position to third party this engagement as well. You can see a vehicle moving around there in the background on the high. There's beautiful nades coming through from Celcom Digi Alliance. They want to close this one down fast and regroup to try and put pressure back over towards the high ground.
It's a hell of a barrage there over towards Stalwart. I'm surprised both those players didn't go down. It's an unfortunate bounce off the buggy is that nade, which keeps the one player from Team Secret still alive here. Break does get knocked. That's over on the south side.
Mythic, okay.
North side, sorry, versus Team Secret. Soaz is getting taken out. So D+ currently taking two fights at the same time.
holding them off fairly effectively, but it's 4MV who is making Selcom Digi Alliance question themselves repeatedly. You see them going up, going down, going all around, and right now they're on the spin, and all 4 of them are still alive, but taking Stall out first is a good opener. However, Kaluk goes down, and he is going to potentially have some trouble with Nolbu. Fortunately, there is that refrag. D plus Kia going to move on out. A forward rollout for D plus Kia gives them an opening to leave their position, and that may be what they're looking for. They give up a player, but they take a lot of knocks over towards Selcom Digi Alliance, and they're going to push 4MV back with a rollout on chips.
Come on, you have to hit these shots here. Where's the rest of the squad? In comes Osal. Looking to take shots around the side.
Well played, baby. Bless you. Well played. 5 finishes,
it's done.
3 man
5
strong.
eliminations, and Nolbu leads the charge on that one. And they, although they lose Nolbu there, they desperately needed him to make that call, because D Plus has been falling further and further behind in terms of
4MV अगर D plus Kia को बाहर कर देगा ना इधर.
And I think Nolbu realizes
उनका competition बाहर हो
the
जाएगा.
day here, someone's got to make that initiation,
तो
right?
उनका फायदा ज़्यादा है.
Someone's got to take the call. Someone's got
So
to
let's
take
see what
leadership,
Dog does.
and it would be Nolbu in that case. Picks himself up 3 eliminations off the back of that one as
Brute
well.
force,
And now D Plus have to
influence
follow
race
in
दोनों का
his
एक बंदा
footsteps.
बचा है. Good zone for 4MV.
Brute force.
Next fight 4MV versus D plus Kia होगा.
Stop influence rage and challenge
मजा आएगा देखना.
on that northern edge.
INF बाहर.
We'll see if they can keep that top spot in the contest. D plus Kia gonna have that northern side area, but it is influence rage to go down first. Brute force taking that one down.
4MV
well,
or
rather
DK.
outlasting that one on the
I'm
northern
not gonna
side.
choose one. Let's see क्या होगा.
They will just have to try.
D plus Kia 3 man
the
है.
next game.
ये समझ रहे हो?
Yeah. So a 4M.
ओए लिक्विड से हो गया फाइट D plus Kia का. Ayala knock.
You know, for Thunder Talks, them going out early, great opportunity now for D Plus. They head over towards Team Liquid. This would be an awesome position to take control of. A lot of players low. There's still one on the
Nice
high
one,
ground.
Fabian.
Is there a knock there
Nice
coming
one.
through? Yes,
J finishes
Fabian's
3 man
finding
strong.
Cardozo. That's a fantastic
4MV से नहीं लिया fight
pickup
D plus Kia.
for
Very
D Plus.
चालाक
Now they
bro. Very
control
चालाक.
Team Liquid, who were down below. This was a good game for Team Liquid as well. To 7 eliminations, 77 on 7 eliminations themselves.
अबे लिक्विड फंस गया.
Voin Donkey still going.
On the far side near the shooting range, the nades launched on forwards, the parabolas permeating the shell. The Seiji Osaka have tried to establish. It's not going to go well for them. And Voin Donkey, they're up to 7 elims blank. This is a team revitalized.
4MV के 0 finishes.
Coming into today, 1 game you can chalk that up to luck. 2 games you could chalk that up to, I don't know, double luck, but 3 games in a row, this is something special. A really strong performance coming through from Indonesia. And they will be happy with this one so far at the start of the day. Let's hope that they can carry this momentum forward.
Osal knock.
D plus Kia, though, they still got Team Liquid to handle.
Nice one,
2
Jips.
players on the outside, the hop out.
Fabian is the last
Ayala
man
picked
standing
up,
for D plus
but
Kia.
Going pear-shaped here. Fabian, the only one to stand for them. And D plus Kia gonna lose players. He's not in position. The nade over the top doesn't quite clap where he's looking for it. And Fabian has to worry. I think he's just gonna have to play on
Fabian किसने मारा? Doc ने मारा Fabian को.
Resist, but they're down.
Doc ने मारा Fabian को. वाह.
As Team Liquid resurged from underneath.
क्या एंगल ढूंढा बे Doc. कौन सा एंगल से पकड़ा पता नहीं. चलो ना कंपटीशन बाहर हो गया. अब खुल के खेलेगा 4MV. बट जाते जाते D plus Kia अच्छा खासा फ्रैग्स लेके गए bro. 148. 4MV is 12 points behind. 4MV को चिकन निकालना पड़ेगा इस मैच में. चिकन निकालना पड़ेगा तभी कुछ फायदा होगा उनका.
Eliminations so far. So that's what they needed to reach RCB scoreline from that last game.
बस मार दिया लगता है फाबियन को.
They've already done it, but RCB were able to get 2 eliminations so far, so still a little bit ahead. But what a comeback from the Voin Donkeys.
This team is underrated, bro. This
displays so far today. Over to 77 now. They
अच्छा
got
मार
some
रहे ये लोग
attention.
ये.
Smoke's going to give them a little bit of cover from that south side, and against RCB, against the last player from
Brute Force is still surviving.
News. And 4MV continue to put pressure on this east side. I think 4MV right now in the position to do the most damage to the tables, but the top 5 keeping lockstep with one another has got to be intimidating. How much further can 4MV go to keep themselves in that
Brute
race?
Force को है ना जोन के अंदर आना पड़ेगा.
On the eastern side now. This is a big chance to angle where they picked up the majority of their big points in the past. Now look to do it again here. 77 with those 7 eliminations. Get themselves to 12th place though. Is this the 77 comeback, John?
4MV को कौन टक्कर दे सकता है इस मैच में?
It's so closely fought.
सर्किल देख के तो मेरे को कोई नहीं लग रहा है, कोई थ्रेट ही नहीं दिख रहा है मुझे 4MV के लिए.
Finally looking to slow down the donkeys.
Too good position है 4MV पे.
Fully down just yet.
अच्छा 2-2 split खेल रहे हैं.
Starting to bleed. The heal comes through from Potato. The flush to one of their players though.
I see a clear dinner for 4MV in this match. ये खराब करेगा RCB का, ये पक्का खराब करेगा यार RCB का.
Donkeys. It has been such an uptick in performance. The counts rising from the coffers.
We almost knock. RCB बहुत cautiously देख रहा है.
4MV will take shots at him as soon as he stands up, but
इसको लगा कि सामने वाला spot कर लिया, पता?
There's no way he's seen it. There's the heal.
ओए देख लिया.
Doggy might just roll over him. Oh, by mistake, no! Just misses. Nearly clips him, and Loxy, no way! No way! And this is a free point for Freepod. The question, and he turns around immediately. That's discipline.
इतना खराब लग रहा है मुझे उस बंदा के लिए.
He doesn't know if he's made
इतना खराब लग रहा है उसके लिए, क्या बोलूं मैं?
Line, but now his position is known. Gets an extra point.
Bro, brute force Freepod. Composure उसका pro max है भाई. Pro max composure है भाई का.
Yeah, I mean, it's decent stuff there. Nade goes through over towards KYMYZ.
4MV is back.
Potato will drop out, but I think for the counts, they're honestly quite happy with this. If they get a third place in the back of this game, it is a very, very good result.
गाड़ी से बचा. गाड़ी वाला कुछ कॉल भी नहीं दिया था कि भाई इधर एक लेटा पड़ा है. उसके मुंह के सामने सोया पड़ा है वो.
2-2 split right now around.
गाड़ी वाला गाली खाएगा बता रहा हूँ मैच के बाद.
Have the middle, but playing on with 2. Boy Donkey ID. Fighting from the outskirts. The high ground for 4MV, really, really difficult for them to handle. Will get pushed off though by the Blues very soon. So they're just waiting, they're biding their time.
Punch.
Before 4MV have to
3,
move as
4,
well.
5, 6. 10 kill chicken. 10 kill chicken max है. 20 points मिलेंगे 4MV को अगर. The best case scenario is 21 points.
Excited to see how this one will conclude because it really does have a big impact on the point standings, especially
4MV chicken is equal to #4.
Who come in today charging, looking incredibly strong. So pleased with them as well. And I mean, I love a team on the last day who is down their luck and just says, look, let's just go for it. Let's just take this as far as we can go. And it has been with skill as well. You can tell these guys have been going home after every tournament day and been like, what can we change?
Finishes.
What can we improve on? What can we do better? And they're showing that right now during these games.
Damage तो बहुत होगा अबे 4MV का इस मैच में.
They've fought through the worst of it, but it might be too much to make this next push. They need to get up to the wall, but 77 are in the way. I think
बाद next circle, dead circle है ना?
Down here with 4MV in massive crossfire positions, but maybe they can prove me wrong and land some long-range pickoffs.
Spike circle literally 4MV के जब 9 kills थे एक मैच में उसके Doc ने solo 7 थे.
To oversee this entire approach. 77, that extra force that's just
without Dog, this team
further in this game
is weak.
Last circle now, John.
Oh, nice one.
Probably the next to go. Good shots from Reefers with this overground. Shifu, if they go out
finishes.
Second place for the Donkeys.
VD तो भाई फंस गया, बहुत गंदा ही फंस गया वो.
4MV of
Last man Vixie.
Might just be
kill देगा नहीं देगा.
Dinner they've been hounding after for so long.
They're looking for more as well. Over the top, 4MV looking to put themselves back into the top 3, and with the roll
11 finishes, winner chicken number 4MV.
That is what
they're
they
back.
will find. A great game for
कितने
4MV.
21 points. अभी hashtag 4 पे रहेगा 4MV. 4MV is back. And मैंने बोला था इस मैच में ही comeback करना पड़ेगा, and इसी मैच में कर दिया comeback. Pressure नहीं रहेगा next 3 मैच में.
But there he is.
बस टीटी को टक्कर देना पड़ेगा बस। टीटी अगर और एक मैच में ऐसा कोऑपरेट करेगा, स्टार्टिंग में 4 किल दे देगा किसी को, तो 4MV कम बैक कर लेगा। Things got very interesting just now.
But is it too late for them?
They are back, boys. They are back.
Is there enough time? Do they have the gas left in the tank? They are in the conversation, but we have to wait for the conclusion. To do that, we are going back over to the desk.
अरे बर्ड ने अच्छा प्रेडिक्ट किया बता, नेक्स्ट 2 मैच में वो निकालेंगे बोल के बोला उसने, पहला मैच में निकाल दिए। कभी कभी लगता है इसको कोई इनसाइडर बंदा पता है बे, जो बोलता है पहले, कभी कभी ऐसा ही फील होता है।
Yeah, I was hyping myself up, Jason. Like,
बहुत सही टाइम पे आके प्रेडिक्शन
in
डालता
the
है।
southern side of the map, there's going to be all the teams fighting for the
#3 सच्ची
didn't happen like at all. Like CAG just like, oh no, we're just going to play south of shooting.
1-2 पॉइंट से होगा #3 अगर है तो।
Like, oh, we'll try and get a few placement points. And then on the East, Alliance try and fight a third party on Jerris and Stoll, which I don't dislike, but then they just completely give up on the whole idea of playing high ground and 4MV. Well, you're giving us the best position in this circle, Hot Jukes, for free, so guess what? We're just going to pop off.
That's right. They said, nah, I'd win, dude. And they did. Beautiful done. I mean, like, Doc, especially 3 eliminations, 700 damage, leading the charge when it comes to
how many matches
wise,
left? 3 more matches
getting
left.
that extra elimination on board. I mean, this is a win that they so desperately needed. Let's be real, guys, right? Like, they're starting to be a little bit of a gap.
भाई ये गलत है,
right,
टूर्नामेंट
third and fourth place
देखने की
position.
आदत
So
लगा
4MV,
के
I mean, with this
गायब हो
chicken dinner,
जाते
they
हो
had to
भाई।
have cleared it easily,
थोड़ा
right, Jason?
ड्रीम हैक के साथ थोड़ा कोलैबोरेशन था, 2 दिन जाना था मुझे, इसलिए जाना पड़ा, पक्का जरूरी था इसलिए मुझे जाना पड़ा, और उसमें कर लेता। तो मैंने ऑलरेडी तुम लोग को बताया था मैंने, Day 2 Day 3 नहीं करने वाला। कोई बात नहीं, फ्यूचर में कुछ काम नहीं है, दबा के करेंगे अपन एकदम ग्रैंड फाइनल्स तक। East crying in the corner. Why is East crying? He's doing really good in Falcons.
We need to qualify now. Like, we need to stop messing around. We need to actually take fights that are sensible, play together, not engage in anything we possibly see around the battlefield. And I kind of like it. It
fantasy app on PUBG/BGMI.
Chicken dinner we had.
Actually, एक application मेरे को approach किया था कि BGMI में fantasy लेके आ रहे बोल के।
I think they were looking back, Hot Jukes, on.
But पता नहीं क्या हो गया।
Like, oh, that's how you split. Oh,
अभी भी काम कर रहे शायद।
That's really good, actually. We'll do some of that. And it works out, but no,
but
a lot more respect coming out from 4MV. They are not taking
ऐसा कुछ आना चाहिए ब्रो।
Wait,
जो भी BGMI देखते हैं ना सारे बच्चे ही होते हैं।
I didn't even catch that.
So sick.
I don't think ऐसा कुछ fantasy app आएगा तो कुछ अच्छा होगा।
That was cool.
Who cares?
Okay.
Right? That was badass. That was awesome, dude. I mean, Team Liquid did make some noise in this match, but again, not the game that they really desperately need if they want to make it into the finals. When it comes to 4MV, though, remember when I said, guys, I was
seen
like,
the next Instagram update, screenshot notification.
right?
भाई Instagram बिल्कुल नहीं चलाता हूँ, बहुत कम चलाता हूँ।
Oh, by the way, this before I even get to that was ridiculous from Prepod. That buggy was so dang close, he could smell the.
कट्टे का नौ कभी आया था क्या? मैं चैट देख रहा था एक सेकंड। कहाँ दिया?
By the way, right? Though, remember, not the game. That was
well. What was I saying? I didn't even catch that.
That was so sick.
Oh, okay. Well, what was I saying? That was cool.
Who cares?
Okay.
Right? That was badass. That was awesome, dude. I mean, Team Liquid did make some noise in this match, but again, not the game that they really desperately need if they want to make it into the finals. When it comes to 4MV, though, remember when I said, guys, I was like, I gave them 5 matches to play Reckless, right? That ended
ये तो
yesterday.
पता ही है, इधर से तो मैं देख लिया, इससे पहले क्या? इससे पहले क्या?
We're looking.
Like it. Stop messing around.
Yeah,
the sign of maturity as well, and the realization that like we need to qualify now. Like, we need to stop messing around. We need to actually take fights that are sensible, play together, not engage in anything we possibly see around the battlefield. And I kind of like it. It wasn't as impressive as like the 32-point chicken dinner we had on day 1, but I think it's a mature chicken dinner out of them.
Oh, definitely. I think they were looking back, Hot Jukes, on the previous game of Brute Force and like, oh, that's how you split. Oh, that's really good, actually. We'll do some of that. And it worked out, but no, there's definitely a lot more respect coming out from 4MV.
ये मैंने देखा था। ये मैंने देखा था
Engaging fight. Wait, Mythic with a revolver? What?
बट उतना नोटिस नहीं कि कट्टा से मार रहा है बोल के अच्छा
Okay, well,
nice.
what was I saying? That was
Who
cool.
cares?
Okay.
right?
भाई गोली क्यों वेस्ट करना है
That
चलो
was
कट्टा पे भी
awesome,
गोली
dude.
है
I
चलो
mean,
चला लेते बोल के
Team
चला लिया
Liquid did
उसने
make some noise in this match, but again,
Nice.
not the game.
Like you mentioned, get 11 points. D plus
MVP
finally
of the
getting
match
9 points as well for themselves. They've
is
been
Doc,
extremely
of
quiet
course.
outside those 7 matches, as Max pointed out at the top of the show. And even Regnum Kari getting
My bro
themselves 6 points.
Gordon
Yeah,
lineup
but
has
the
won
big loser
Snapdragon
on-
Pro
on
Series
that
just
match is
now.
gonna be Thunder
They are
Talk,
India's
right? They
best
ended
team.
up
अरे
with
everyone knows they are
0
India's best team, bro.
points, right after coming off a solid
कल
game.
मेरा बात
So,
हुआ था अमर भाई से
things
अमर
are
भाई
getting
आगे शायद I
interesting,
think
guys.
after this
One
stream I'll
thing
go
that, you know, I
meet
always bring up
meet
because
अमर
it
भाई
is very, very important, I think, is you know how these teams cannot depend on the last match of the day.
स्किपर भाई वो
right? I mean,
कट्टा
there's
होता है
gonna be
ठीक है
teams
क्या लिख रहे हो आप
that,
वो कट्टा
that
होता है
know they're not going to
क्या
make
लिख रहे हो
it
आप
usually, right? But in this stage, it's going to be even worse because teams at the bottom of the leaderboards can still push their way
हाइलाइट्स का
up. 4
अपलोड करेंगे
and
ग्रीन
B
ग्रुप
are
का
back
स्पाइक
in
अरे
the
मेरे
mix
मेरे
right
टाइम
there.
नहीं
Look
मिला
how
गाइस
many
डे 2 डे
squads
3 देखने के लिए
are
तो डे
in
4 करने
running
वाला हूं
for
मैं
top
डे 2
three.
डे
I mean,
3
it's
आप
pretty much
देख सकते हो
second all the way down to
ओवरऑल
fifth
स्टैंडिंग्स
place.
आर हियर 4
When it
MVs इन
comes
टॉप
down
3
to
नाउ
6th, 7th, and 8th, I mean,
hashtag
they
2
need
156
to win almost every
hashtag
game after this if they want to
hashtag 3
not
155
gonna happen.
hashtag 4
You're
154
really pulling a mirror and
एक
sage
point
on.
का
I hate
difference
this.
है
Come on. We need to see the
बहुत
match.
crazy
What's
होगा
happening?
next 3
But yeah,
matches
as you said, Hodrix is definitely going to be
इतना
currently the
close
top 5 teams in
इतना
the
close
race for top 3. Maybe another team could jump up
DRS
there, but
is
they're
back
going to need to win
to
literally
bottom 5.
next match if they want to be in the race for that position. But
77 आ गया भाई
our
hashtag 11
attention
पे
here is going to be the second half of the rankings, and 77
Yeah, gotta correct
finally
myself.
make it out of the bottom 5.
Yeah, I think I said
Points
earlier, I
gap
don't know if
वही
it was
तो
to breach top 11.
वही
In fact,
तो
it was, and by 3
एक बार फिर
points.
वापस देखते हैं
How many squads are
एक
in
point का
running
difference
for
है बे।
top 3? I mean, it's pretty
54,
much
55,
second
56.
all the way down to 5th place. When it comes
D
down
plus
to
K is not
6th,
behind
7th,
as
and
well.
8th, I mean, they need
149 है उनके
what,
पास
to win almost every game after this if they want a chance.
देखो hashtag 6 से लेके bottom teams
D
they are
plus K are really
they
pulling a mirror
cannot
and sage on.
compete
I
with
hate
top
this.
teams
Come
now
on.
अभी top 5 का लड़ाई
What's
है
happening?
top 5
Yeah,
teams का
as
लड़ाई
you
है
said, Hodrix is definitely going to be currently the top 5 teams in the race
TT
for top
बहुत
3.
गंदा
Maybe another
चौक किया
team
भाई
could
इस
jump
match
up there, but they're going to need to win literally next match if
गंदा
they want to be in the
चौक किया
race
इस
for
match
that position. But where we really have to focus our attention here is going to be the second half of the rankings, and 77.
Yeah, gotta
Just finally make it in. It's like, yes, yes. And in the last game, back down. No, no, no.
अब watch party
Hopefully,
करते हो
they
तभी
can make it
देखता
to
हूँ
that top 11.
अरे अच्छा
we'll
ऐसा है
find
क्या
out what's going to happen
Sorry,
in the last
bro.
half of the day here.
मैंने
after
डे
short
1 पे
break.
ही बोला था मैंने आप लोग को कल परसों नहीं करने वाला हूँ मैं स्ट्रीम बोल के कैग इज मोर डिसअपॉइंटिंग देन वेंजेंस आई नो राइट रिजेक्ट वाले घर पे बैठ के दो टूर्नामेंट देखते हुए क्या क्या गाली दे रहे होंगे इनको मजाक कर रहा हूँ आई वंडर रिजेक्ट प्लेयर्स के क्या थॉट्स है क्या कमेंट्स है विद रिगार्ड्स टू जापान टीम्स परफॉर्मेंस भाई आपके दोनों हाथ कहाँ है फेडरल क्राइंग इन द कॉर्नर लीविंग INF did he leave or did he got benched? Can't believe Paraboy and team couldn't qualify. Yeah, the reality hurts. मेरी पोस्ट रीपोस्ट कर देना स्पाइक भाई क्या है देखता हूँ मैं स्ट्रीम के बाद देखता हूँ मैं क्या है वो जस्ट इमेजिन डॉग जॉइन गॉडल व्हाई शुड आई इमेजिन ब्रो व्हाई शुड आई इमेजिन द इम्पॉसिबल इट्स इम्पॉसिबल ब्रो समटाइम्स आई वंडर पता what if top joins 4MV sometimes I do wonder this अगर टॉप 4MV में होता तो क्या होता बट मुझे पता है वो होने वाला तो नहीं है डॉग्स एज अरे बहुत यंग है होगा 20 साल का अबे ये क्या ड्रैगन नेक्स्ट मोड है क्या पबजी में आइस एज का कुछ अबे ये क्या ड्रैगन है बे मैंने देखा नहीं मोड का That looks like एकदम गेम ऑफ थ्रोन्स वाला फील ले रहा है। क्या मोड है गाइस नेक्स्ट? ये कौन सा मोड है? What is this mode called? बढ़िया है मोड। स्पाई बाय डॉग से ही 4MV है। वो तो है।
Just like that, a blink of an eye, we have gone through 3 matches of the last day of Group Green. I'm joined by
Apex,
none other than Apex from
guy is
4MV.
also one
You
of the
guys were
finest
just able to
assaulters.
finally make that push towards the top 3. What are you guys going to be
Which
doing?
group you think
or
was the
changing
toughest?
anything to make sure
Do I
that you
really have to
maintain
say
that
it,
top 3?
Bajwa? Do I really have to say it?
тоглох арга хэмжээг бол
सबको पता ही है।
зүгээр бидэд
स्पाइक बाय यही न्यू अपडेट है, विंटर वाला ड्रैगन को मारना होता है ऐसा खतरनाक है भाई।
манаагийн хувьд бол энэ багийнхаа дөрөв итгэдэг болохоор өөрсөндөө нэлээд итгэлтэй байна।
बीजीएमआई में लैग फिक्स हो ये अपडेट आने से पहले। अभी तो बहुत लैग हो रहा है गेम। गुस्सा आ रहा है बहुत। PUBG खेलूंगा।
एंट्री अच्छी है लेकिन बैठने का तरीका अभी बड़ा कैजुअल है।
Anna react to Pushpa to trailer drop dead 603. I think I'll get a copyright strike, bro, if I react on it.
Okay.
I have done it once before.
Good luck to you guys.
Not
Because
on
that
Pushpa,
team, as I
but some
mentioned,
other.
they are currently in third place.
I
Now, we're
received
gonna
a
be mixing it
copyright
up here.
strike.
It's not just going to be one team.
So I don't think
it's
I can
the final
react.
day, so let's have
Now,
some fun
maybe
with it
after
because
2-3 days
I
I
do want
can.
to talk to a team that is trying to make it to
But
that
अभी हुआ ना,
survival stage.
if I
It's none
react
other
on it, I'll
than
get a copyright
RRQ
strike.
Nerfeco. Kind of along the lines, right? Set, but a little bit different. What are you
I
guys
don't
going
know.
to be changing, if
मुझे
anything? Or what are you
information
guys
नहीं
going
पता
to
है
be doing
उसका
to make sure
regarding
you
इसलिए
actually
मैं
make it to the survival
अभी react
stage?
नहीं कर सकता।
Jadi apa yang bakal diubah oleh RRQ sendiri untuk memastikan
Spike
yang
Bro
kalian itu
survival
bakal
stage
lolos
में
ke
कितने
babak
teams
survival stage?
आगे जाएंगे?
Yang pasti yang pertama
24 teams खेलेंगे
udah
survival stage.
pasti itu
Bottom 8
strategi
teams
lah.
बाहर
Kita
हो
udah coba
जाएंगे।
hari pertama
16
hari kedua
teams
strategi main
जाएंगे।
agak face rotate dan center agak susah.
Last
Dan di
chance
2 hari
and
hari
last
ketiga
chance में
kemarin
से 16 में से
kita
सिर्फ
udah mulai
6
dapet
teams
tempo.
आगे बढ़ेंगे।
Dan ya di
Bottom
akhir
10
ini
teams
kita mau
बाहर।
maksimalin tempo yang udah kita punya itu. Okay, so basically yes. First of all, we of course we're gonna change our strategy.
Is it possible कि
if
BGMI
we
में
take a
भी
recap
कोई
back, when we
ऐसा
play on the first 2
tournament
days,
हो
we are struggle by
जिसमें
playing
auction
fast and
हो
center
और different
on a
players के
center
साथ
circle.
team बना
And
के
on the third
IPL
day, we try to
देखो
adapt
भाई,
and we try to change this
अगर
tactic.
bright
and it worked
minds,
for us. We
brilliant
gained the momentum
minds
from
अगर
there.
lead
And
करेंगे
from
BGMI
today
esports
we
को,
just gonna bring
तो
the
भाई
momentum
anything is
followed-
possible.
followed
Sky is the limit.
by instruction from our coaches.
उसके लिए
And of
पैसा
course
भी
we
लगता
try
है।
to ensure our
समझ रहे हो? Everything is
survival
correlated.
stage.
Awesome. Well, hey, it wouldn't hurt to have
हमारा
another
इसमें तो
Indonesian
भाई
team
पता ही
in
नहीं
survival
है
stage. We
क्या
saw what
mindset है
Boy
उनका।
Donkey has been able to
तो
do
हम
so
predict
far
भी
with
नहीं
the
कर
changes
सकते
they
हैं।
made. Let's see what RRQ and
But
4MV are
2025
going to be able to
के लिए
do in
hype
the
तो बना रहे,
last 3
देखते क्या
matches
होगा।
of Group Green.
हाइप तो है भाई, हाइप तो है फ्यूचर ऑफ बीजीएमआई को लेके। हाउ मच मनी यू गेट व्हेन रैंडम एड्स पॉप अप व्हेन यू स्ट्रीम? स्पाइक ब्रो, लव यू भाई। नहीं पता ब्रो, सच बता रहा हूँ मैं।
Ah, damn it. I was just
These
about
are
to say,
random.
it feels like it was
YouTube
weeks ago
randomly
we last
it-
saw Seven do the air guitar on broadcast. And of course, he
they
gets
play
it in the
these
last few
ads.
strums and the
तो
last
मुझे
few
नहीं
seconds.
पता
I can't
exactly
believe we're
कितना
into our
होता है।
final 3 matches of our normal group stage here because we still have survival stage and
मुझे
of course
पता है
last
YouTube
chance
ads
to
से तो
clip
कम ही
next
मिलता
week.
है।
If I'm not mistaken, we also do add on an extra day of play.
Live
meaning
stream
we're
पे
going to
तो
be
कम ही
starting
मिलता
on
है वो।
Wednesday next week instead of Thursday. But yeah, interesting to hear as well from 4MV. I feel like there was something that wasn't said in the interview though about like, yeah, we talked to Doc and we're like, hey, play with us. And now they're having success. Get in that EpiPen.
His tunnel vision needs to be studied at this point. That first
इसके बाद
Airgale
next
match
tournament, next
really
most
got me
awaited
concerned,
tournament
'cause
कौन
you
सा
see
है
him
after
take
PMGC?
So many unnecessary
I think EWC, right?
1v1s. His whole team
इसके
will
बाद
be
और कोई
right there.
बड़ा
If he's
tournament है
able to
नहीं।
slow it down a little bit and
As
play
far
with
as
the
I know.
squad, I mean, yeah, we can see it happen, and I'm glad it finally
God level
is
clutch
happening
by
right at the
Godlike।
right time.
It
Cordon
also
में
happened at the right time.
भाई कॉर्डन में तो भाई
Finish GT
टूर्नामेंट होने से पहले मुझे
20.
पता है
What
यही
wallpaper
जीतेंगे
do we
बोल के।
have today, Maxman?
Let's see.
It's Doc wallpaper time. Oh, let's
10
go.
लाख का टूर्नामेंट करने से
Focus.
कितना रेवेन्यू या प्रॉफिट
we turn
निकल
on.
जाएगा?
Nice.
It really depends on
There we go. Okay.
number of
continue.
brands
You do the segment, Jason. I allow
you have in the
Well, as you can
tournament।
see, Doc also agrees that if
कितना engagement है audience
GT20
से?
Pro can make you play like a pro with 120 FPS. There you go. You got it like
बहुत सारे
pros and
external
perfectly
factors है।
focused as well. And then we get your face and just ruins the whole
मैंने
thing.
कभी
And
ऐसा
140
tournament नहीं
hertz AMOLED
किया,
screen.
तो मुझे
It's okay,
उतना knowledge
Maxman.
नहीं है।
Maybe one day we'll be able to play like Doc. and have a hairline like
But
that.
yeah, it has to mostly do with
No,
brands.
I'm
कितने brands हैं?
it's not
सिर्फ
working out for
YouTube
me.
से तो भाई
Turkey-
कुछ
Turkey
होने वाला
Turkey is
नहीं.
not that far
10
away
लाख का
from France.
tournament करके.
What did I do to you today? Gee, continue the segment, Jason.
We can go together. We can go together. Don't worry.
Yeah, sure. Yeah.
I'll be your support.
Teamwork.
Teamwork. Just like 4MV today, as they broke through into top 3. I don't know where we're going with this one.
Doc
to be
needs
honest with you
14
guys.
kills
But we still have 3
to
matches
break
left to go. One Aaron Go
Nomi
followed by
record.
2 Miramar. I mean, the last
14
game,
in
of
3
course,
matches.
It's going to be won by Team Liquid because it always seems
It's
to be,
not impossible, but it's very hard.
Done really well by Team Liquid. But I'm curious about what we're going to see here in this final Aaron Gill. Obviously, we've had a lot of Northern
ब्रह्म
stuff.
युगम
I'm
कैसा लगा?
feeling
भाई
it.
मेरे को टाइम
I
नहीं
feel
मिला.
like a
एंड वो
Delta zone.
सिर्फ
last
सोनी
Aaron
लाइव
Gill
में है वो.
I'm feeling we
उसका
mixed it up,
सब्सक्रिप्शन
bro.
नहीं है
Let's
मेरे
go to
पास.
shooting range.
और कहीं भी नहीं मिला मुझे वो मूवी.
Hot Jukes, I will fight you. I will fight you. You are not safe. You might be across the Atlantic. I will come for
PMGO
you.
is in January. Already announced. Seriously?
No more Northern Circles, please. I've had enough. But to take the topic to like a little bit of a realistic note right now, you mentioned
4
it
days
earlier,
ago.
but
Okay,
realistically, for top 3, top 5 teams are looking the most capable of competing for that top 3 spot. I'm still looking at teams below. I'm looking at your Voin.
Bro, I don't see
I'm
anything on
your
Liquipedia.
RCB, I'm looking at your team
कहाँ announce
Liquid.
हुआ है?
I'm looking also maybe to some extent to the Vicious and Stalwart. If they want to have a chance, and I really mean a slight chance to make it into top 3, they need to get chicken dinner right now. There is no ifs or buts about it. We need to see a win from one of those teams if they want to have just a single opportunity to go to the
I don't
grand
have
finals.
any information
Otherwise,
on
if they
this,
lose
bro.
now, they just got to make sure to secure
कहाँ
their
लिखा हुआ
spot
है
for the survival
PMGO
stage.
के बारे में जो जनवरी
Yeah,
होगा
you know,
जनवरी में होगा.
it's
इस
getting
ग्रुप में
really,
सबसे ज्यादा
really
डैमेज
crazy here.
डॉग के पास है
again, I saw
10,000.
tonight, right? Look at that damage though. Holy goodness, bro.
Hashtag 2
That is ridiculous. 10k damage from Doc.
Neos.
I would be shocked to see not
Shifu.
see this guy.
अरे ये
in
शिफू
the
नेपाल का नहीं है.
finals. I
चेहरा
mean,
देख के बोल सकते
with a
हैं
performance
नेपाल
like
से नहीं है, कोई
this,
नया शिफू
you
है.
know he's going to be just set up for success. And if he plays with
ऐसे
the
send
team,
करूँ
they'll
क्या?
have
अरे
even
DM
more
करना
damage,
मेरे को.
right? But I will say this, you know, talking tonight, I gave him
उज़्बेकिस्तान में है.
a question. Okay.
अच्छा.
I said, like, let's say
चलो,
you're 10
अच्छी बात
points
है.
away from top 3, right? It's the last game.
Watching in
Would you
Infinix
guys have
GT20
grades?
Pro.
The hot drop?
सही है
Or
भाई.
try to
कैसा
keep
है?
the third place team
बीजेएमआई कैसे
showcase
चलता है
it,
इस
you
फोन
know?
में?
And
20,000 का है
the
ना
problem
फोन?
is that, you know, we're good at Miramar in the last 2 maps, and it's not worth hot dropping.
What is your opinion on
But
Infinix
is that if
GT20
we
Pro?
need to make sure that we're going to get it done, right?
I don't
we'd
have any
rather
opinion
drop
क्योंकि मैं
near the
use ही नहीं
team
किया उस
and
मोबाइल को.
gatekeep. My question is, right now, dude, with how many points they are far away, it may be even worth considering doing it right now. What do you think, Max?
I don't
Piracy
think they
नहीं
should change
करते
their
क्या
playstyle
Spike
in
भाई?
Miramar. I think that their approach has been really
Piracy करे
solid.
काफी time हो गया अबे. एक time पे मैं
wrapped up almost
एक
every
torrent
game of
वगैरह ये
Miramar.
सब use करता था एक
They've done
time
really
पे.
well on that front. So I would say ruining that with a possible
But
hot drop where you
recent last 7-8 years में तो कभी नहीं किया
still
मैंने.
lose players, which your chances of a
Piracy.
chicken dinner dwindles so quickly when that happens.
When I was
so I kind of agree, Hodges.
when I was in
need
my
to see a little bit of a different playstyle from
inter-college
again, the teams
time.
I mentioned Team
उस
Liquid,
time पे
Vicious,
बहुत करता
etc.
था मैं ये torrents.
They need to really step up big time here.
फिर उसके
A win
बाद,
is also maybe
मैं
just
US
not
चले
even
गया.
cut it. You need
US
to
में
get a
तो
win with a bunch of eliminations.
can't
You need to
do-
play aggressive. And
you
Team
can't do
Liquid
all that.
specifically, their passive
सब
middle
कुछ
playstyle that
monitor
we've seen
होता
a
है.
few times on Orangle before is just not happening.
फिर
Maybe
उसके बाद इंडिया आ गया. फिर
maybe sweeping edge
इधर आने
would
के
be
बाद
the
भी
way
समझ उधर
to
के
allow
habits
them
ही
to be
रह
in
गए.
contention for
Piracy
top
कभी
3
किया नहीं.
spots. So I think that would be a good adaptation for Team Liquid.
Last 8 years में.
See, I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know if you can make plays like this
चलो आया
work
कुछ
in the
नहीं,
last
देखते हैं.
matches to like breach top 3 just based off the fact that I
PMGO.
feel like if you're brute force, you can just start playing a lot safer now. Just,
अबे जो
just play for
स्क्रीनशॉट तूने
placements.
सेंड किया
You don't even
नितिन
need to make any big
वो मैंने भी
elimination
देखा है
plays
बट
because
उसमें
you're
डेट्स
already
नहीं
in the
लिखा
lead
हुआ है.
by, you know, close
मेरे
to
पास
about
भी
30
खुला हुआ
points. I
है
think
वो.
you're about 25 points ahead.
उसमें डेट्स अनाउंस नहीं
Actually,
है.
probably a little bit less than that. Why do something out of the ordinary, or why be extra aggressive to
वो
potentially
start
lose
date
out
का
on a
है.
fight that you
अरे
could
it is
potentially
on
be caught up by on these
25-04,
other teams, especially
it
if
is
you're
in
on like
April.
the brink right now. Like if you're Influence Rage, you're 4MB.
It is in
you're under top
April,
50
right?
plus.
It is in April, not in
I feel
January.
like they're just gonna play a very standard game and hope that others are
Dates
gonna be the
लिखा हुआ
ones
है,
to
but it
mess
is in
up, and they don't have to be the ones to make a big play
April.
happen to qualify.
Next year April
I
में
get
है.
your point, but for the middling teams, I would say, and I think Hodgix, you might agree with this.
Not in
it's
January.
The worst that could happen for those teams, at least, is you just go to survival stage. So I think just doing a big play, at least an attempt at a big play, is going to be the.
भाई मेरे को दग हो रहा है नेक्स्ट मैच में क्या होगा बोल
We
के.
need to see desperation plays from 6 on down and brute force.
4MV का momentum चालू हो गया.
You saw that they know where everybody's dropping.
तो वो
If
अभी
they
scary
wanted
दिखेंगे.
to, they can
D-Place
choose
किया थोड़ा
who makes it
demotivated
into the
रहेंगे वो.
final
Okay, no
stage.
hot
So
tub though.
let's see. Yeah, let's see what they decide to do here.
I heard hot drop.
डीप्लेस किया एक
Oh,
चिकन
not
निकाले
gonna
तो भाई
have-
मजा आ जाएगा.
I said not gonna have one. Don't worry.
एक
You're
chicken.
good, you're
Okay, good. Thank
And
you.
our final Erangel of Group Green. Let's throw it back over to John on a blink to take us in.
2x कर रहा हूँ मैं 2x
And
कर
all
रहा हूँ.
16 teams drop onto Pachinki. That's where we're going. Every single one of them. We're all going straight to the middle. I was thinking of Picardo, but then I was like, no.
भूपेश भाई
Pachinki.
तुम इस लैंग्वेज में बात करोगे ना तो मैं कभी नहीं पढ़ूंगा आपका सुपर
That's why I
चैट
was
सुपर चैट बोल रहा हूँ आपका चैट.
Yeah, it just doesn't exist here. But Pachinki would have been a good one.
मैं जानबूझ के किसी का
I'd
चैट
also
इग्नोर
enjoy
नहीं
a
करता हूँ यार.
military
जिसका दिखता है वो पढ़ लेता हूँ मैं.
Maybe even
I hope you understand. I'm human. I'm not a robot. इस
I would've
सारे
been
चैट पढ़ूँ मैं.
But yes, hot drops, maybe no.
जितना मैं चैट पढ़ता हूँ उतना
Maybe
कोई
yes.
स्ट्रीमर पढ़ता भी नहीं होगा.
I'm leaning
मेरे
no.
को लगता है. पर्सनल ओपिनियन है मेरा ये.
I think that's generally what we've seen in the past.
चलो अपन मैच एंजॉय करते हैं अब.
Again, I think if we look at this lobby
थोड़ा स्ट्रेचिंग.
contextually of where people are sat in the leaderboards, hot dropping is a very bad
Chalo
idea
bhai.
right now. Because it's not a case of, oh, we can guard someone out from taking us over.
TT,
It's a case
please
of
don't
either we
choke
give
this
someone
match
a survival
and the
stage
next two
slot,
matches.
or we go home. That is the risk you're taking. Do you want to take that risk?
स्पाइक भाई ये डेट
Probably
एंड
not.
प्लेस चेंज कर दिया.
And this is
अरे
the thing,
डेट तो
right?
वही है
It's
ना.
like, the
अप्रैल
reason
लिखा हुआ है
that you
उधर.
would try
Did
and
they change
get
that
someone
to
out is because you don't want to face
January?
strong teams in the finals. This is PMGC. You're facing strong teams in the finals, no matter what. Like, sure, you've got experience
भाई
against these
ब्रूट फोर्स
specific
किस कंट्री
teams and
की टीम
things
है?
like that, but the other
I think
teams
Dubai,
could all
right?
be watching
Brute
these and
Force?
actually probably
कहाँ की है?
getting as much good info
Palestine,
on
Palestine
what you're
शायद
doing as the rest of them. So, in general, I think is guarding out a specific team and not wanting a specific team in the finals.
Correct me if
I
I'm
feel
wrong.
like it's kind of a
मुझे
weak
नहीं पता.
reason
जितना मुझे
to
लगा
go for a hot
पैलेस्टाइन है
drop.
वो.
If you want to, I think at any point it's kind of just, yeah. I'm a big no. I'm a big no right now.
BGMI
on hot drops,
में
and I think
इतना
we're
lag
both
क्यों
agreeing
होता है?
on that.
राहुल दत्ता
We are
आप
in agreement.
समझ रहे हो?
We have
सिर्फ
struck
आपको
gold.
लैग हो रहा है भाई. हमें
Yes.
हमें बिल्कुल लैग नहीं हो रहा है भाई.
Alliance.
बीजेएमआई क्या मक्खन
yes.
चलता है मेरा फोन में पता.
Yeah, I don't
इतना
think it's the
मक्खन
right
चलता है
idea.
कि मेरे को खेलने का मन ही नहीं
Meantime,
करता.
CAG as well as the Donkeys
मुझे नहीं पता bro. गेम
rotating
ऑप्टिमाइज
in
नहीं है.
very close to one another. Though Potato and Co do send
Saudi
wide.
Arabia.
Vexy.
Okay.
Right now, dear.
BF
Huge
from
amount of work
Gujarat.
for the team. 25
Acha.
staggering eliminations for the squad. M and Razor. And some crazy stuff.
Yeah, 23 as well.
UAE से है.
32%. Those
Brute
eliminations,
force.
but they are just the pincers. The full crab and comprises all 4 players.
अरे वो फ्लैग देख के मेरे को पैलेस्टाइन का फ्लैग लगा बे. वो फ्लैग कहाँ की फ्लैग है ये?
Today has been phenomenal. They've had 3 good games on the trot, and let's see if they can keep that going. As the hooves pound on the soft earth of Erangel once more, they'll try and catch up to 5th place, which is a little bit in the distance, but it is achievable here.
If they keep putting up the points that they have been doing over the past few games, entirely possible. The fact they're in 6th place, chasing one of the top 5,
ये गलत फ्लैग लगा है
is
पता.
wild to me. They're in that
Online में
situation
check करे
now,
तो
though, where
brute
they're
force
no
का बता रहा है ये
longer
रशिया
jumping
से.
up over teams after a single game, which has been the case because it was a case of 12th place, 9th place, 7th place. Now
अरे
we're in
ब्रूट फोर्स रशिया से बता रहे
6th
बे
place.
इधर. ब्रूट फोर्स is an
no longer
esports
gonna be that case, 'cause
organization
they have
based
jumped
in the Middle
a
East.
ridiculous amount
My
of
bad.
placings throughout the day already.
Saudi Arabia, Middle East.
It would require D+ to continually put up poor performances, though.
Flag
They
गलत लगाए
have been
लोग.
slowly
ये लोग गलत
clawing
flag लगाए.
away at that
ब्रूट
lead.
फोर्स के बाजू में.
With only brute force
सऊदी का फ्लैग नहीं है
sending
वो.
far ahead of everyone else at 181 points. It's still incredibly close.
पैलेस्टाइन का फ्लैग है bro.
149 to
It's not-
156.
it's not
There is a
Saudi का flag.
7-point differential between 5th and 2nd place. It's all still
Is it?
for grabs here
एक second रुक
for
जाओ.
that top 3. But it's likely going to be one of these last 3
No,
games
my bad.
where
Palestine का flag
one
भी
of
similar
the top
दिखता है, but
5
this is UAE's
starts
flag.
to break away once again into that
United
2nd place,
Arab
and then we're really
Emirates
just battling out
का flag है
for
ये.
2nd, for 3rd, sorry.
चलो कर लिया मैंने.
It's really closely
Research.
fought. I do want to highlight something as well. D+ Kia have
ये
yet
wrong
to
flag.
double
अरे नहीं
their
बे.
scoreline from
Similar
day
है
one. They
Palestine का flag,
started, with
but
day 1 on
UAE का
75
flag है ये.
points, double
This is
that,
not Palestine's flag.
150. They're on 149.
Palestine
so
का
are
थोड़ा
they
sharp
finally going to be
आता है
able to
और
double that
सबसे
total
नीचे black नहीं रहता.
into
थोड़ा
today's
similar है
game?
Palestine का flag, but
Again,
this is UAE's flag.
last time around, they just were a little bit too timid and couldn't quite get it done on that eastern side, and it's just a continual story for D+ Kia. They've been able to extract a couple of cheekier limbs here
Spy
and
करना,
there,
may I know
but
why
overall,
INT
I
players
feel like it's
mechanics
more between
was so good.
Thunder Talk and 4MV and Influence Rage as to who's going to get those two of
INT
those
कहाँ से
three
है?
spots.
Yeah, and I'd agree with you on that sentiment as well, because I think D Plus, essentially what they've been doing over the past 3 days has been existing. Right? They've been existing at the top, remaining towards
Flowers
the
is
top,
not playing.
as
Flowers
best
is
as
not
they
playing.
can, which is not an ideal scenario.
still TT is
but
doing
in
good
terms
only.
of securing a position over towards the survival stage, they're very safe. It must be very frustrating for them knowing that they're so close, but no matter what they do, they just cannot get over towards into that top 3 once again, and have just slowly slipped out of it. Again, Nobu, that last game, I think it was a very, very
INT equal to
good play from
international.
him.
बाप रे
Not
बाप,
only
ये
in the
shortcut मुझे
moment,
कैसा
but for
पता
the
चलेगा
rest of
bro?
the
मैं
team.
उतना smart नहीं हूँ
Someone
bro.
had to pull the trigger, right? Someone had to
INT
pull the
equal
trigger
to
on that
international.
engagement, and I'm glad it was Nobu, because Osal, who has been the one who's been doing incredible damage, incredible eliminations,
किया मैं
but
भूल गया.
even he has faded away in the team at this
Comment
point in
तो
time,
गया
and
भाई.
Nobu's like, look,
फिर वापस
we've got to get
comment
something
करना
done.
पड़ेगा आपको.
I'm crashing this. Feel free to follow.
इंडिया वर्सेस
एंट्री
नेपाल
अच्छी
क्या
है, लेकिन
इंडिया
बैटरी
टीम
का तरीका अभी
dominate कर
बड़ा
सकती है.
कैजुअल है.
अभी
Donkey,
नेपाल की टीम थोड़ा स्ट्रगल
I
कर
think at
रहे
this
हैं.
stage, they have done
I
enough.
think
It
कर
was
सकता है bro.
one hell of a plow for them to get as much as they did
एक टाइम पे
in
नेपाल के
those
टीम्स
first
बहुत
3 matches. But now you go into
खतरनाक
match
खेलते
4,
थे.
match 5, and
अब
match
पता नहीं
6.
थोड़ा डाउन
I
दिख रहा है
think
उनका गेम प्ले.
you can be happy with a survival stage, considering where you come from. Now is not the time to be making mistakes and allowing teams to get ahead of you.
भाई
And knock
TT
you
किधर की
out. As
टीम है?
much as that would be unlikely at this
TT.
stage, I think the idea is just to profit 5
India
or
के
6
bro.
points per game, and
तमिलनाडु
that'll
से
see
हो.
you very, very safe
Team तमिला से
and
हो.
get to live another day.
लोन पे गया
They
चाइना
can
में.
push it further, fair play, but I
Akshat
do think
Pandey.
that now is the time, because they have been taking risks. They were taking risks in a lot of their games, and getting through with just mechanical skill. I think now is the time where they can be like, we can play a bit more safe, which is what they're doing at the moment. They're playing off towards that western side. They're taking their time moving into the circle, and I think they're just looking for profit on these games.
See how much of that they can achieve and tuck away into the back pocket. Always nice to have. The teams beneath them will continue to scrabble around for that 11th place bubble. There is that small margin that starts to open itself as well. You've got 9th place and 10th place on 108 and 107, then a 10-point drop off to 11th
KYMYZ.
and then it goes 94 and 91. So it's really quite close, and it goes 86 at the bottom of the tables in 16th. So any of those bottom 6 could really change around at any given moment. 9th and 10th, a little bit more safe, but still not out
Finals
of it.
कब से है?
Then,
Finals next month.
I mean, to be honest, it's still
Next
not
month,
entirely
6, 7,
secure
8
for Wayne
finals.
Donkey and RCB. I mean, that's what you're talking about with playing a little bit more safe, getting 4 points a match and something like
But
that.
bro,
would see you safe.
Ajay तो
Team
बिहार से
Liquid
है
as
ना?
well. It's not entirely safe.
राहुल
but
भाई
it's
हाँ
highly
बिहार से.
unlikely that multiple
Ajay.
teams can do enough to jump up.
Ajay
on both
Kumar
of
है
them,
उसका
so
नाम.
a lot more secure there.
Full name.
It's really those bottom 6 that I'm looking at as being incredibly volatile.
Yeah,
Latent show
77
reaction
just
bro, कल
about
रात को
breaking
देखा
into
मैंने
the top
बहुत
11.
हंसा मैं.
It would be a massive
Especially
shame to
last-
see 77 drop out
last
from
skit
the PMGC
जो रघु के
this
साथ
early
था,
on into groups.
बहुत हंसा भाई. बाकी
Just
वाले
because
ठीक थे.
we
but
know they're a strong
end
team,
में तो वो बहुत हंसा
but
मैं.
quite frankly, they haven't done enough, honestly. And I
But
think for
नहीं, मैं reaction उन पे
77,
नहीं करूँगा.
although I wouldn't want to see them go
वो
out,
बस
I don't think they're playing
personal
to the
time पे मैं
standards of
देखने वाली चीज़
PMGC so far.
मतलब टेक्निकली मैं कर सकता हूँ उन चीजों पे भी, but
The
छोड़ो यार.
Vicious.
नहीं.
Once in the top 3,
Maybe in future.
temperamental,
ओए.
dangerous roll-ups. Haven't really
7-7
done so well in the
बाहर.
last few days. 77
Chief,
getting taken down.
1v3.
Team Liquid actually staying alive as 4. 77 going down 11th place blank. This is a big takedown on the lobby. Celcom, Digi Alliance, DRS, CG Osaka, RRQ, Team Secret, every single one of them.
अजय बिहार से. अरे भाई तुम जोक को इतना
Yeah,
सीरियस
it's
क्यों
what
ले
I
रहे
was
हो
saying
लोग
about just
चैट में
before
थोड़े लोग.
is they are not playing to a PMGC standard.
Spike bro, you're
And
looking
it
handsome
felt like
today.
they did
More
not hear
Hind
me, and
भाई,
we're just like, we're going
एक
to
बार
continue
आके
doing
wash करके आओ.
exactly what we're playing like
फिर
right
normal दिख
now,
जाऊंगा
which is
मैं.
aggressive, weird plays with little to no comeback from those situations. I mean,
Bro,
you
a prediction
crash
for
into
top
Team
3
Liquid,
in
you
this
know
group.
there's going to be
भाई
a team
बहुत
there,
मुश्किल दिख रहा है
and
bro, बहुत
even
tough दिख
so,
रहा है.
not even taking a single knock onto Team Liquid.
Brute force
It's
100%
a
है
very
grand
bad
finals के
scenario
लिए.
to be in.
2, 3, 4,
I'm
5
not
में से
happy
भाई
to see it.
कोई भी कर सकता है bro,
I
कोई भी
think
कर
that
सकता है
unless they
बाकी
can
2 slots के लिए.
get things back together come Miramar, it might just be over for 77 at this point in time.
3 मैचेस में कुछ भी हो सकता है भाई.
They've got 2 more chances to
You can't
get
predict.
away from it. And the question is how well
All
can
4
teams
teams
beneath
are
them do
equally
as
strong.
well, because there's always that question mark on
अब
what's the
थोड़ा luck
performance going to
factor
be
आ
like.
जाएगा.
Can a team like
Zone
DRS
किसको
get
साथ
those
देगा,
extra points
momentum
needed
किसको
to
साथ
put
देगा,
themselves over the
किस्मत
top?
किसको
They've
साथ
had 2
देगा.
chicken dinners so
वो
far
करेंगे
for
qualify.
DRS, but both of them have been a little bit quieter than a lot of the other chicken dinners we've seen. And on the south side, they can survive for
Why
quite a bit longer
always
here, but
glasses?
it's only into
मेरे
stage
सामने
2.
इतना बड़ा लाइट है,
One
तुम्हें
way to
दिख
go
रहा
on these
होगा.
circle shrinks.
मेरे आंखें थोड़ा कमजोर है भाई. दर्द होता है मेरे को आंखों में.
Influence Rage.
6 घंटे ऐसे बैठ के
Rotating
देखने
down
में.
on that north side. They've
So I
dropped off
found
a
a
little bit.
solution and I'm not going back.
Getting a lot of early deaths on these games.
Stress free देख सकता हूँ मैं
D plus
इनसे.
over towards
मजा
the
भी आता
west
है.
with brute force
And
coming
people
in
say I look good in
behind
glasses.
them.
So
So
भाई,
a
win-win
real
situation,
difficult
bro. Why
northwest
not?
side of the circle in terms of the strength of the teams. Influence Rage, D plus and brute force
भाई
all playing
आपका
in that
ड्रेस
area.
अच्छा
A lot of
रहता
our
है.
teams that
कपड़े
are
कहाँ से
looking to
परचेस करते
climb
हो?
up
ये
head
कपड़े
down
बहुत
towards
cheap
that
है भाई.
south
ये
side.
बहुत cheap and
Before
best
D
कपड़े
as well
हैं.
as Thunder
ये इसी
Talks.
लोकल जगह से लिया मैंने. From local.
4MV, look at a
ये
push
I think
on up.
600 या 700 है. ये
Secret and
कपड़ा.
stalwart, both around that prison
100%
area.
cotton,
Circle,
pure cotton
very
है.
close to popping. In the middle of the
Local
circle,
में ही
you've
लिया
got
मैंने.
RRQ, but they're now right on the edge of the
कोई
next
बड़ा
one.
brand
D
नहीं है.
plus Kia in the middle. What can they do with this?
Summer है ना, summer में
This is their
cotton.
game. They
अच्छा लगता है
have
मुझे थोड़ा.
made some good rotations in the past. They've got some circles where they're a little bit over towards the edge. But this is one of the circles where you can completely dominate from if you have central at the start here.
From
So they
Zudio? No,
regroup,
not from Zudio.
getting towards a good position. They control of that northwest side where it's fielded area. Yeah, I want to see a big game at D plus because
थोड़ा
this could be
English
something
कम
that
बोला करो
secures
भाई.
them towards that top
भाई
3
problem ये है
easily.
कि मेरा मुंह से
but
इंग्लिश
if
तब
they have these
निकलता है जब
unfortunate
मेरे को
pickoffs
हिंदी
where
में
they
कोई
go down,
कौन सा
they
शब्द
take
यूज करो
knocks,
मेरे को पता नहीं होता ना.
they can
तब
quite
इंग्लिश
quickly
निकलता है.
fall in this match.
तक हिंदी
But already
निकलता है मेरे मुंह
finding
से.
a player onto Voin Donkey.
My first language is
Get a knock
Telugu.
up towards Zeta. No smoke
My
been
Telugu
thrown
is
out
greater
as
than
Ozal will pick up the first
English is greater
elimination
than
there
Hindi.
for his squad.
वैसा है मेरा language.
Wraps back
मेरा
well,
strength
repositions,
of my
moves out to the
languages.
high ground on the southeast of them.
सबसे fluent मैं
That
तेलुगु में
Voin
हूँ.
Donkey moved into
उसके
the
बाद
garage,
English,
and they
उसके
will
बाद
be
हिंदी.
playing on with 3 from there. A really powerful
I
area
hope
for them to hold. Celcom Digi
आपको
Alliance
समझ में
there
आया.
on the south side of this one, but
My Hindi is
down
not that
in
strong.
the bunker. Will be playing from the mouth of it. No competition for them at this area, but teams around the side may look to try and peek out their way. Team Liquid, they held
అన్న
out
మందు
the crash
తాగుతావు
from
నువ్వు.
77. They got 4 points for it.
అప్పుడప్పుడు బ్రో.
They're now ahead of Voin Donkey ID on the point scoring, which is good news for them. RRQ making their way out.
अभी
on the
कुछ
west
नहीं होने वाला
edge,
गाइस ये
close
मैच
to
में अभी
Thunder
कुछ
Talk.
नहीं होने वाला.
CG
टॉप 5
Osaka
टीम्स है ना एंड
actually
जोन में ही
flexing
लड़ेंगे.
all the way out with 2 of their players. This could get cut off. This could
अभी
be very
कुछ नहीं होने वाला.
dangerous for
कोई
CG
सब
Osaka.
एक दूसरे को देख रहे हैं. तुम मरो.
Heading over towards the west,
नहीं
and
तुम
with
मरो.
RRQ flowing in
नहीं
towards
तुम
this
मरो.
position. Dangerous scenario, and CAG has never
क्या
done
Osaka
well
का
on quick
क्या कर रहा है
crosses
भाई?
like this versus another team, and it goes poorly once again as CAG
Bottom
falls
teams एक
further
दूसरे से
and
लड़ रहे हैं.
further
Top
down
teams एक
towards the
दूसरे से
bottom
लड़
of the
रहे हैं.
tables. They
अलग
have
ही
been
understanding चल रहा है
tumbling
इनका.
all the way down throughout today. And it has been these
I'm just
aggressive,
asking why international
weird
players'
plays
mechanics
coming through
were
from
so
CAG
good
Osaka.
compared to our
I'm not sure they
teams, with all
entirely
respect.
understand what some of these rotates
It has
are
to do
doing
with the
for
game,
them,
bro.
at the moment.
It
They
has
have
to do with
an
the game.
idea in their head, but a lot of that
If you have played
second,
PUBG Mobile,
third step
and if you play
down the
BGMI,
line is just not quite
you'll
thought out
understand
yet.
how smooth PUBG
and
Mobile is.
I don't know, man.
The things you
It's
can
been
do in PUBG
unfortunate 'cause I
Mobile,
enjoyed
you
the way
cannot do in
CAG
BGMI.
Osaka was playing towards the beginning. Doc versus Influence Rage immediately goes down. There is backup.
भाई 4MV की
Apex
लग गई
moves in,
लोड.
the rest of 4MV just come in by drips and drabs, and the third place spot is falling. It's tumbling down, and 4MV are eliminated. Influence Rage get 4 points as well. What just happened? I mean, that was a messy roll-up for 4MV. If you're going to go for it, go for it. But again, Doc goes in on his own, and they get punished.
लग गए
It
भाई.
was a mega crash as well. They were on the south side of the circle, John. The fact that they went all the way up here and get
D-Place किया ना
decimated
circle है.
off the back of, I think, 1 or 2 players on the beginning. with a
D-Place
little
किया,
bit of backup
अब
coming through
तो-
later on. Yeah, a horrible
देगा
way to
tuition.
start this one out. And for a team that, could have potentially gone into top 3 there. They
Heat of
just
the
come
moment
off
निकल गया,
a
चुप हो
lovely
जाओ.
chicken dinner. They
किसी
were
ने कुछ
looking
नहीं
good. Only for that to happen, man. It's almost as if we wish that they never got a chicken dinner in the first place.
पागल है कि मैं क्या बोला 4MV के बाद कुछ बोला भी नहीं.
Then they
पनौती
do well
पनौती.
the next game, you're right. Goodness me. And in third place, Thunder Talk now with a chance to push past. D plus Kia in their central
हगे भी?
position. they have a lot of control over the surrounding area, but
just like TT last match,
seems to be diminishing somewhat as Thunder Talk moving to the hill to the southeast, scouted by Osel earlier, wrapped back in for D plus Kia. Sia Giosaka with 2 players roll up the Void Donkey, and I feel like that's only going to go one of one ways. Influence Rage chime in for a little point steal.
INF, TT, D plus Kia.
Influence Rage starting to get a big points tally off the back of this
so
game.
happy
D
right
plus
now.
Kia still have a strong spot to play in, but
if you want to watch a horror film, I will
value out this
suggest
map
the medium
so far.
movie.
Stalwart looks
It's
to
a
fight against Team Secret. This is over towards the northeast
film,
side,
check
the
once.
high
By
ground to the west of Mansion.
हॉरर में तभी देखता हूँ जब समझ रहे
Nades have been sent
हो
down,
मेरे साथ
slightly
एकदम
lukewarm, but
डरने
high
वाला
ground
कोई बंदा
advantage
हो
is certainly in the
उससे मेरे से भी
favor
ज्यादा
of Team
फटी
Secret.
तब देखता हूँ मैं
Got
अकेला तो बिल्कुल नहीं
Stalwart
देखता
on
हूँ
this
मैं
ridge side now. No real way to move around
एक टाइम
to
पे
the
हॉरर
south side
एंजॉय
for
करता था
Stalwart. There's off angles that can start to look for those shots. Although they might
अब
on the
नहीं
rooftop for Team Secret as well.
बट फिर भी देख लेता हूँ
Third
मैं
party's not
if it
coming
is game.
through. RRQ could potentially roll up from the far northwest if they
Guys,
get past Influence
This is
Rage.
reality, right?
But that's
सिर्फ
still
3
needs
मैचेस
to be
बचे
enacted. Break
और 4MV
trying to
इतना
move
गंदा
out
हगा
wide for an off angle from distance, but
This is
Stalwart go
reality.
down. A double spray down coming through. Goodness me, and Secret, they're just going to roll straight on over the lip of this ridgeline, leaving
ठीक है,
2
दो बंदे
players
now.
standing here. They do take a knock-in response that's coming through from
Secret मारने
Stalwart.
वाला है.
Prince is
ओए,
there,
nice knock.
but the DPS from Soaz, it's waning a little bit. Trying
2v2.
to go down, and now it's just Jaiki on this angle. Break has to regroup forwards.
In the meantime, RRQ decimates Brute Force
अबे रेवो
on
जा
the
रहे फटफट.
western side. Very slow fight coming through from Team Secret versus Stalwart. They have held their ground. And now Nate's going over the top. That one's a decent one over towards Break. Goes slightly
Secret,
far. Critter
Team Secret
will look to
played very
finish off
bad
one
here.
of the players from Team Secret who's passing back a lot of
Full
information.
reset for ST.
Fearless. Still knocked.
Full
Hasn't
reset.
quite rezzed up just yet. And a nice spray down from
3
Critter.
बंदे knock Secret के.
Break peeks out for far too long. Now just Jaiki. Last left alive for Team Secret as Stalwart
बहुत ही
attempts
खराब
to take
खेली भाई Team
control
Secret.
of a really nice
Ignore.
bit of high ground.
Ooh, Jaiki with the 1. Now needs to cut through the rest of them. Stalwart with
खत्म.
3 players bearing down upon him.
1v3.
And it is too much for him to handle. Stalwart
इसका नाम मैं बोल नहीं सकता
4
हूँ
elims
तुम
from
लोग पढ़
down the
लेना
hill.
OG टॉर्क का
There
ये
was a
पता नहीं क्या
massive
है
high ground advantage for Team Secret.
1v3 मारा
That
उसने
was their
Secret को.
opportunity to launch themselves from the bottom of the tables, and they've
Judo
thrown
versus
it
Team
away.
Liquid
Team Liquid up against Cellcom Digi Alliance, and you're right.
D plus Kia का जोन
For
और
Team
चिकन
Secret,
दोनों है
that was a big chance for them.
अगर
All
हगे
in all,
नहीं
well
तो
played, Stalwart.
अभी
Realistically,
fourth
hard
circle
position to
भाई,
play from.
fourth
Team Liquid,
circle
the 5 eliminations
पे
of
कुछ
the
बोल नहीं सकते.
initial
अगर
crazy
60 या 7
rotating
circle
coming
साथ
through
दिया,
from
तब कुछ बोल
77.
सकते हो.
Now looking to put that points total up even more. Oh, it's Team Liquid.
अन्ना
Going for a
तेलुगु
top
सिखा
3.
दो
All right. Okay. They're a very far way away.
में क्या
And they are out of the circle as well. Pretty far from that 1-2. D plus Kia maintain that
Sampesta.
2-2 split, but they're in that edge of the circle.
Sampesta.
They can control RRQ,
कोई कुछ
DRS,
ज़्यादा बात करेगा तो
RCB
बोलो संपेस्ता
decently, but Fabian doesn't want to take the heat there. Folds back. In the meantime, Team Liquid are still pushing through on the mansion. Olio not going to have that nade sent his way. It goes long, past the angle. Cellcom Digi Alliance. Around the walls,
Brute Force बाहर
take shots from the off angle. That's RCB from
अरे
the
Brute
west
Force को
side.
फर्क ही नहीं
Who
पड़ता अब
have
तो
got sightlines onto
181
this.
तो
A
भाई
nade from
top
Leon
3 में
does
रहेगा ही
spot the
रहेगा
backline, but there's that pickup. It's Thunder Talk actually picking up that point.
वो
The
लोग
flag,
और
that
10 पॉइंट
shifts
तो
the
निकाल ही
tables.
लेंगे नेक्स्ट दो
Thunder
मैच
Talk
में
up into third place.
they are not at all in risk
Back again.
Risk में सिर्फ
Incredibly
2 3
messy
4
fight
5
right now for Team Liquid. Team Liquid unable to get into Mansion itself.
और रे जैकपॉट मार दी भाई
Very
यू
much
डू
struggling here.
Jackpot.
See him, sorry.
What a big nade coming around the corner from Leon. Just takes down 3 of Liquid, all on his Todd. And now the last player on the inside, wondering
किसका
where
nade
his
था वो?
teammates
Leon
have gone.
DZ.
Cellcom Digi Alliance with 2. They
Mr.
turn this
Leon.
fight topsy-turvy. And Team Liquid, their bid for the top 3, cut short here. Cellcom Digi Alliance. This is good news, though. They're looking to defend their spot. The bubble on the 11th place. But they lose one more. And Cardoza now just has Leon to deal with. There's that third-party angle, and it's RCB through the door frame.
यू डू बाहर
To find the lick at the back. Is that the Vicious? I think it might have been. Everybody knows this fight's happening.
Yeah, the Vicious taking shots over this way.
मुद्दी का हालत देखो
I
भाई
think you'd be hard pressed going for this. Cardozan, yeah, 100%.
जैसे ही बाहर आया
So it's not
बहुत
bad.
प्यारा
Now they need to show that prowess over on Miramar they were talking about earlier. The Vicious have been holding this out for a while. Now RCB head on in.
If
They
you want to
go
watch
down
horror
towards
movies,
Dimano,
then
but
watch
already
India versus
lovely
Australia
shot
final
over towards
highlights.
Bruno's in.
Looking for more points to pick up here. RCB
वो
want
देखने की
to
जरूरत
solidify
नहीं है.
themselves.
वो
at
इधर
least
एकदम
into those
saved है.
survival stages.
4K
Nades over
में.
the top. Want that flush onto Brunozin. And that bounce Gonna take a little bit more damage away from it.
Oi!
Harder and harder. That one should do the job and gets the knock onto Reyes too. The long bouncing nade towards the backline doesn't quite catch Dimonov.
Reyes,
but not anymore because they just keep on rolling in. And Loxy now moves forwards. The crunch comes through potentially from Thunder Talk. They're moving south to try and get that counter flank here onto RCB's position. Maybe get a couple of shots through. Loxy though with the rundown. Xing finds the knock and it will be the flush going over their way though.
Fabian knock. Oh, DRS versus D-Plus क्या चल रहा है?
DRS example finding a shot over towards Fabian and another over towards Osal. Oh dear me. For D-Plus, this could have been a big game for them.
D-Plus किया 2 man है.
They go for a split on the circle and a 2-2 and obviously it doesn't work out. D-Plus down to just 2 players on a game that should have been in the bag for them.
RRQ's oppression from this northern side has been too much for them to handle. They tried to hold too much. And they went for it for too long. Now, from the back, it needs to be something miraculous from the duo from D+ Kia. They have managed to finally double their points tally blank. They're up to 150 from that day 1, that is, over the next 3 days. But
ये next zone नहीं बनेगा D+ Kia पे.
Here, they're 2 players.
कोई बन गया.
They've got to find something special. Luckily, the circle gives them a little bit of hope here. They will stay on the edge.
Just try to hold too much space. I mean, they know the DRS is down towards the south side. This is a very obvious crossing for a lot of teams that where RRQs come from. And I think that you could have potentially just held a much stronger spot towards that north side, given a position over in this compound to eliminate RRQ and get more points on the north edge. Yeah, it's a weird one coming through from D+. I don't think at stage 5, stage 6, you should be really holding a 2-2 split anymore. Did not help them at all. Now RRQ flying
last
in
match
over towards D+.
and D+ के पे push कर दिया
RRQ ने a big task on
एक को डाल दिया.
They've got the firepower. Let's see if they can bring it to bear. Influence Rage, look at a third party, this crash, and that makes RRQ's job a lot harder. Means Fnatic can no longer escape and is locked into this fight. Needs to step into the lobby here. But Influence Rage divert. They're heading back out to the side. They're waiting for the opportune moment. Allow RRQ to fully bolster their presence here. Maybe contest for that ridgeline. There's a lot of fights going on.
Oi, bhai, galat knock khaya chips.
That nade in from Asar is going to find chips. The knock is there. Nolbu needs to flush. But there's the nade.
क्या nades थे भैया?
D+ Kia out for another
D+ Kia बाहर
time.
#9.
The top 3 can remain safe for the time being, but how much
TT
further can they
INF.
go? Influence Rage with 6 elims looking to chase brute force.
TT is dancing right now.
I don't understand why you'd break out from Alamo. Playing Alamo as 4 with an off angle, maybe on the ridge side to scout towards the north, would have been the ideal scenario there for them. It's a weird play. It's a really weird play, and it's not the... weird to say this. It's not the done way to play.
Chicken कौन निकालेगा ये
I
match?
think that position has been such a strong spot throughout the years.
Nice knock,
Teams
Sanchez.
should understand how to play that position, and D+ goes for something way too aggressive, which didn't actually really help them in the long run. I think having an anchor on Alamo and then sending off towards the eastern side of vehicles
उनको लगा नहीं था कि और एक need आया उधर.
Voindonkey with 2 players still alive, still pushing the boundaries ever further in terms of point scoring. Only 1 elimination, but potential at more points in terms of placement.
और एक knock.
Income Stalwart.
Sanchez last man standing here.
But incredible shots.
In comes Stalwart, and down they go as well. Sanchez now trying to make that move and Influence Rage moving around the sideline. Sanchez
nice
there.
one.
Finally, he's the one to be able to take down Voindonkey, but the damage
और
has
एक
been
team
done.
आ गया.
And now
ये INF तो
Influence
घंटा
Rage
नहीं
want to
छोड़ेगा.
add more points to their tally.
Bye bye
And
ST.
they blasting the vehicles out the way, searching for the scrabbling players of Stalwart. The nades over the back line there. Devilish, devious.
INF chicken निकालने वाले हैं ये match. INF chicken ये match.
Influence Rage, 8 eliminations now. Brute Force do have to start to worry.
INF का chicken है ये match, and with this chicken they'll also secure their spot.
Huge strength in the lobby
for
now.
The grand finals.
An incredible amount of loot being able
next
to be
दो
gathered
matches में
here,
ये bottom 3 teams
really
लड़ेंगे.
Send their tally in terms of utility sky high. They'll have a very strong
8
approach
finishes.
towards this end game. And again, you
4 man
look at RRQ, you see how safe they are in Alamo. Why didn't D+ stay in there? Doesn't make any sense to me whatsoever.
UAE का flag
DRS down towards the
Brute
southwest
Force
side,
Dubai based
still
है.
battling
Players
out for
Russian
11th
है.
place, and with a lot of the teams around
Same
that
like
area already
Enigma
going out in
Galaxy
this game,
players.
there
अरे
is a
हाँ,
chance
that
here
makes
for
more
DRS
sense.
to
बहुत
put up
अच्छा
big
explain
points.
किया आपने.
RCB holding
Thank
down
you.
towards the southeast.
Mystic Mac.
RCB get that circle shift as well. If they can isolate Thundertalk and get rid of them, they have such a strong spot on this side of the road. There's a long sloping hill which keeps them covered. The buildings will be taken out of it, which means there's no rooftops to try and hop around on and get those high ground angles. That western point as well, that ridge that goes up towards the west, is great for us.
Why are there so many paragraphs in the chat?
Winning this one,
if you take a look closely, सारे paragraphs अच्छे comments ही है.
Thundertalk's in an awkward scenario there. They're peeking over this little ridge side, but very nadeable in terms of positioning and influence rage. If they wanted to head over this road and start taking shots towards them, smoking out their approach as well could be a simple task for them going forward. DRS still on a very strong approach, and with 2 loot crates in front of them, should be able to get some nice loot from those as well. P90 or just even level 3 vest and level 3 helmet that comes in those bad boys. That will be useful for the in-game. RQ trying to disengage from the Alamo, but with not enough players, there's been more of a survival attempt for them. And finally, Influence Rage will put them down and put themselves on a 10-point game right now. Everyone all pitching into a 3 apiece for Lorizin and Law, and 2 for Diego and Lil Boy. This has been a great game and a great display of teamwork.
DRS looking to try and find something against Influence Rage. They have a little bit better of a position at the moment, but Influence Rage need to take shots at the forward breakout for DRS. They can't quite find this angle. RCB should have shots down at Influence Rage when they step forwards, but Thundertalk are slowing that south side down so much. Influence Rage gonna have a tough time here, but if there's a team that can do it, it's our second place squad right now looking to change that one up and step to a higher landing on the podium.
Change their fate here. And again, I was saying this
last man standing
from that top 3, and then it would be a battle for 3rd place. Lovely nade over the top there from Silas. Surprised that didn't fully finish out the entirety of Shing, but one more will do the trick as he finds 2 elims off on that side. Yeah, for Influence Rage is looking more and more likely that they're securing their 2nd place here.
DRS mark खाने वाली है अभी.
One spot available into the future between 4MV, Thundertalks, and D+.
30 सेकंड में जोन स्टार्ट होगा. INF को जोन के अंदर आना है.
Influence Rage, and now that Thundertalk is gone, RCB can take shots over towards Influence Rage with a little bit
RCB निकाल सकता है, बता.
from that high ground that Wild sits on.
RCB निकाल सकता है. अगर DRS and INF के बीच में अगर खतरनाक फाइट हो गया तो फायदा RCB का ही.
There are no two ways about it. DRS could potentially get a 2nd place off this, but I think
11 finishes for
even
INF.
with 3 players, this should still by rights be RCB.
It's a fantastic place to hold for them. I think that the worrisome thing comes into play where
zone has begun.
Influence Rage can lay down a smoke train, get across. The amount of nades that they're holding on to is going to be the big deal going forward. But you're right, DRS having angles on towards this RCB.
Gyante not finish.
In comes one. Good shot from Lil Boy. Will find Gyante, and that might open the door for them.
This has been instantaneous.
This fight concludes super quickly. Oh my God.
DRS out just like that.
Going forward now.
Silas trying to break out, getting that off angle, take shots at these players on the roadside, and the nades come over the top. Influence Rage, they've taken 1 knock. There's a player still on the far side of the road with Lil Boy playing backstop in the smokes. Diego trying to hold down on this bunker position, but it's just not going their way. Wild over the top, and Law is still there, trying to frag out a crossfire. Hop out the buggy, spray down towards the smoke.
Lil Boy is the last man standing
on the top rope, and it's all up to Lil Boy. Silas is there. They know he's on this angle.
RCB.
They're looking for the shot, but it's not going to work.
Winner chicken for RCB. It's not like anything's going to change after this dinner, but still, थोड़ा moral boost हो जाएगा team को.
Absolutely. I mean, that could have been
really
bad.
Bry Sports.
Brute Force sending them down to 2nd place, and then maybe someone catches up on that side.
It's not Royal Challengers
Silas, what a player from that squad. I mean, he is absolutely keeping the team in check. That cross in the vehicle was so incredibly dangerous, but the call comes at an opportune moment because
INF played really good.
DRS has just been sat down in the most disgraceful manner on that side. If we don't get an advantage, we don't get a position on the other side of the circle, it's all over for us.
And #2, that would be good points.
Hot Jukes, come on. You don't need me to be the intro here.
Oh, are you kidding me, bro? Magnum Karia, clutch up a chicken dinner, but man, is it gonna be?
चलो स्पाइक भाई कहीं तो RCB मचा रही है.
Blank said it.
एक मैच में
I think it's a battle for only one spot
14
left in the top 3.
I
They got 14 finishes,
spots, but no, with the game Influence got,
Good.
it's only one spot for the finals, Jason. Yeah.
INFB qualified
It
है
could have
guys.
been
INFB
4MV
qualified
actually
है.
to be the one to potentially
अब
get
hashtag
a
3
lot of
spot
these
के लिए लड़ना
points,
पड़ेगा
and
इनको.
we'll obviously hit on that in a little bit of time.
Dry
but
Sports
Dragon
got
Kari get themselves the
20
10
points in this
eliminations,
match.
the 20 points on
अबे
the
ब्राबी
game.
थोड़ा
And put
close
them
आ रहा है
in
बे.
contention here for top 3.
Close आ रहा है ब्राबी.
I'm kind of curious to see how it's going to play out when we do
Next
get
two
to
matches में
overall.
कुछ भी हो सकता है guys.
Said before, Hot
अगर
Juice,
ब्राच
if any of
और
these
दो
teams
chicken
from both
निकालेगी,
place want to
तो
have
you
a
know,
chance to break top 3, well, they have to start popping
it
off.
can
And,
happen.
well, Red and Kari,
can happen.
the job's not done yet. You get
TJB भी
yourself
ऐसी
in
comeback
reach,
किया.
but you have to
I'm
bring
just
it
saying.
home.
Need another chicken dinner. Need to win this
अन्ना
next game
तेलुगु में एक
for
गाली
sure,
सिखा
'cause
दो.
The last
नहीं
game is
bro.
going to get so dang sketchy. So I think when we saw the win, you could see Silas like talking to his team. He's like, all right, guys, like, we still got a lot of work to do. You know, he's like, we're there now. We're definitely there.
Bro, मेरी team
Unfortunately,
just
for Team
2T है.
Liquid,
मैं
it's the nail in the
manager
coffin
as
at
well
this
as
point.
player
It's
था.
just not gonna, yeah, I know that
बहुत
they're the best in
परेशान हूँ.
Miramar so far, but it just can't happen.
थोड़ा
I really have to echo the
FD
point of Blank during that game too, which is
team
Silas
है,
was
team मिलेगी
so
कि नहीं.
impactful. in
थोड़ा
that finishing
motivation
moment.
दे दो
Sending it across
please.
the road was
Esports
super
continue
risky.
करना है
And I was
मेरे
like,
को.
oh man, I thought he was going to get
FD3
knocked.
है.
But the fact is that the other players of
Competitive
RCB were keeping tabs on the other players,
ये
keeping
आपका
them in
account
check
में.
on Influence, and it really stopped them from
आपका BGMI
taking as
classic
many
वाला
shots as they
FD3
really
है
would
क्या?
have
ये
liked
बता रहे हो
to
क्या?
on Silas as he was going wide for the off angle. And it really just gave them so much more control on that lobby. So, sure, the elims go the way of Kimiz, especially Kimiz, by the way, Jason. He was just doing so good
You
with
don't
that
have a
utility.
team,
His
then
nades were on point over on that
finding
red.
a team
But Silas definitely is the one calling the
should
shots
be your
here. And I got to
first
say, I've said it
priority.
yesterday too.
Team के
RCB's
साथ सही होता है
macro
bro.
is amongst
Individually
the
एक player
best
को
in this
समझ रहे हो?
group, and it's really being highlighted on this final.
क्या ही बोल सकता हूँ मैं?
Okay, bold statement coming through, but you can't really argue with the results as we are seeing.
Interest है तो
RCB
continue
slowly
करो,
find
interest नहीं है तो
themselves
मत
up
करो
on the
continue.
leaderboards
Simple.
here. In a brute force, they won it relatively early in this game. Influence Rage probably going to be able to close the gap up as well with their second place finish. I was, though, surprised that Wild
Are you on
in, like, that
LinkedIn?
final
Of
skirmish
course.
didn't get more from that angle. Considering, I mean, he had like the entire Influence Rage focused on him. I was actually thinking RCB might lose this match, to be honest.
अब सिर्फ दो ही मैचेस बचे हैं.
Definitely a close one for sure. But
दोनों
yeah, those nades
Miramar.
from Influence Rage. Oh my gosh, dropped a red zone
Boom bam
there.
होगा.
All the stalwart.
इस
That was
Miramar
crazy,
में.
man. But
But
yeah,
Miramar
I mean,
is
it definitely could have gone in either direction.
not gonna
I think
be
that
easy,
off
bro.
angle from Silas though proved just to be
Not
too
gonna be
strong.
easy
But
for
yeah,
these
Wild,
teams.
even though he had that hilltop, wasn't able to really perform, I think, the way he wanted to, but it was enough to just hold and just hold those teams down, you know, so Silas can to finish it off. It was perfectly executed, man. I mean, look at that, 20 points, Influence Rage get 20. It's going to be a battle even for
Overall
first
standings
place.
देखते हैं, bro.
This group here is close pretty much all
I think
the way down
competition
the
और
board.
बढ़ गया.
And we know with the teams competing currently for top 3,
Which is
the
the
fact
best
that
phone for gaming, iPhone 14 or
not only win this
iQOO
game with
Neo
10
9
eliminations,
Pro.
the fact they
Frame
eliminate
by
their
iPhone.
direct competition in Thunder Talk, that's competing for that maybe that final
BGMI के
slot
लिए
for
तो भाई
top 3
iPhone भी
is so
कोई कम नहीं है
damn
lag के लिए.
important. So maybe they knew like, oh yeah, that's Thunder Talk. We need
TT
to
का strong है Miramar.
completely eradicate that team off of the surface.
उतना भी
of the
strong नहीं
angle,
जितना
and
आप
it
बोल
worked
रहे हो.
out great with those Silas nades. I think
TT
he
का
got
ठीक
double
है
nade
Miramar.
elimination at the end. So yeah, again, I think Regnum Karabra have a really good grasp on what to do, how to execute the game plan in these matches to secure spot in top 3, and so far, it's going as planned.
Yeah.
All right, well,
Go ahead.
We
Bro,
can
Ajay
finally bring
is
this
Indian
up now.
in TT.
And at home,
Yes,
I hope
bro,
you
he's
are
from
prepared.
Bihar.
Maybe turn the volume down just a little bit
इतनी
because
बार
there's going
बोला
to be some
मैंने.
anger coming through.
इस जोक को इतनी बार बोल चुका हूं कि भाई
0
काफी लोग इसको सीरियस भी ले रहे होंगे अभी. कोई कुछ नहीं बोलेगा, ठीक है, कोई कुछ नहीं बोलेगा.
4MV, right? Let's go ahead and do a beautiful
RCB
wide
Wild
map, you know,
is the
up on
MVP
the
of this
north
match.
side, and let's go and make the big push onto the team that we gotta take out. Influence Rage. Let's send it, let's go, and then pff, dead, just gone instantly, Max. What the heck happened?
The thing is, I don't even hate the rotate, but it's again down to timing, which I think is an aspect of the game that 4MV are struggling to really grasp properly this PMGC. Literally, sure, if you want to send it one by one, I don't think it's great. If that's what you want to do,
qualified
whatever. But Dog
Game over, bro.
instantly gets in fighting mode. He does
It's
not
very
wait for his
close.
teammate, and that
TT
wins him
hashtag
so,
160,
so much at the end.
176,
5 seconds
160,
more, maybe he could have got back
155,
up from his team, but here, as we see, this game unfortunately pushes them
INF
out
and
of the
Brute
top 3
Force,
as
they
Thunder
need
Talk
at
reclaim
least
a spot to make in the grand finals.
Brute
Not sure if
Force
you
5
can hear
more
that. Even
points.
my dog Oliver is getting
INF 10
frustrated,
more
throwing
points
a couple barks
just to be
our
safe.
way. Yeah,
And bottom
Brute
3
Force,
teams,
Influence Rage.
they need
they're pretty much set in stone.
At least
to
one
be
chicken
able to
dinner
get
and
through
one
to the
hashtag.
grand final. It's all about Undertop,
Top 3
4MV,
performance.
D+, RCB,
To make it to top
potentially
3.
Team Liquid. I'm going to count them out in my eyes.
एक chicken तो निकालना ही पड़ेगा bro.
RCB unless they
4MV
have
and D+
another
किया
big
को.
game here.
तभी कुछ होगा
2
उनका.
big games back. Sorry,
एक सेकंड
3
मैंने
big games
ब्राक
back to back.
RCB का नहीं देखा. RCB कहाँ बैठी है?
4MV, D+.
RCB बैठी है #6 पे. 2 chicken RCB can also qualify, right? 40 no. RCB cannot qualify. No.
Tough. But also,
RCB
we're talking a lot about the top of the table. What about the
DRS
bottom of the table, man?
नीचे,
DRS,
ऊपर
they're
नीचे
back
हो
in
रहा है.
11th place. Who knows for how long? We
TT 1 chicken and game over. Yeah, TT अगर chicken निकालेगी तो it's over.
RRQ Ryu, who has been down towards the bottom of the leaderboards for such a long time. I don't think they've ever made it out of bottom 12.
I don't think they
Judo
have. They were like
Alliance
16th
क्या हो रहा है
position
भाई
at some
तुम लोग
point.
के
But
साथ?
looking at these last 3 matches, no joke, it's been a different team in 11th every time, it feels like. And sometimes they're there just for, it feels like 5 minutes, Jason. They're just it's so close between all these squads. But again, Highlights is so competitive to just make in survival stage. So even making it to the grand finals is even more competitive at the top. But we're getting down to now just Miramar. And yeah, again, I think we might have completely different teams in the bottom 5 and the top 3 by the end. Of course, normally just one
DRS
team in the
अगर
top
qualify
3
हो
should
भी
be
गया ना
different,
तो
but it is
survival में
exceptionally
बाहर हो
close.
जाएगा.
And
जिस तरीके से वो
predicting is going to be
अभी
really
खेल
tough
रहे हैं
because
ना.
again, it's down to one game. One
It's
good
not
game is
looking
all you
good.
need, and you might go to all the finals, all
Team
the
as a
survival
team
stage.
they're
So
not
it's
looking
a tough
strong.
one, man, to wrap up the day.
Dude, I don't think there's a DRS gaming fan on the planet that has any nails left. Right? I
तो
mean,
survival
come
में
on. I mean,
NRX
it's just been
ऐसे
a
ऐसे
roller
teams है.
coaster of emotions for these guys. It's getting
भगा भगा
brutal.
के मारेंगे bro.
Are you saying their toenails are gone as well?
Falcons भी
both
है
of them,
survival
dude. Bite
में.
them all off at this point.
MSJ
because
है.
This is nerve-wracking.
Already got
बाप
two
रे बाप
away.
survival में मजा आएगा bro.
Doctor, what?
Not
You
gonna
said
lie.
both of them. I'm like, oh, I think I got more than 2 toenails. I don't know if you guys
Very
know.
stubby feet, man.
इस बार का मेरा zone
All
prediction
right, well,
देखना
it is
स्पाइक
time to
भाई.
get serious here because we got about
ठीक है,
15
देखता हूँ.
seconds left before we head into our first Miramar of the 2.
I'm
Our
a huge
penultimate
4MV fan,
match
but not gonna
in
lie,
our last group here in the
they just
PMGC
choked day 2
2024
and day
league
3.
stage. It's all going to
Overconfidence,
kick it off. It's all
over-aggression,
coming down to
etc.
this. John Allen Blake,
Doc
once you
needs to
dive
know
straight
he's
into
playing
the last
PMGC,
2
not
matches of the
CSA.
day.
Not gonna lie, they
We've
literally got
got 3
humbled in day
tickets
2
to
and day 3.
stamp on over
4MV
for our
Miramar,
teams. I
not
suppose
good.
12 in total for the
Miramar-
players and then subs as well, so maybe the math's a little bit off. But either way, 3
Dicey
of
है
them
भाई,
are going to be
dicey है,
going
कुछ भी हो
over
सकता है
to
next 2
London, and we
matches
have
में.
2 matches left
I
to
will not be
decide
surprised
who will be joining
अगर TT
the
एक
rest
chicken निकाल दी
of
तो.
the best over there later
इस
on.
match में
over
chicken
in
निकाल दी तो I will
December,
not be
as
surprised.
we get our plane path for the first of 2 Miramars
तो
here.
चलो.
Match 23 about to kick off. Ladriera
Match
over
5
towards
has begun.
Impala on the
इसके
east
बाद
side.
सिर्फ एक
A little
match
bit close
बचा
to
है.
the south edge, but
To be honest,
should
इस
be
match
nice
के बाद
and
kind of
open
अपने
for
को
our
पता
team.
चल जाएगा क्या है क्या
Southside
नहीं.
playing path then start things off, and we do have
First zone
Team
prediction
Liquid,
करो.
who
मैं
have been touted as one of the
I think
best
ये
on
zone
Miramar
बनेगा.
here. Brute Force similarly have very good performances on this map.
Impala.
Most Brazilian teams do, including
Impala
Influence Rage.
zone
So
बनेगा ये.
we will see exactly how they play this one out. And I think that is because there are so many teams in Brazil who are so good at Miramar that you kind of have to become good at Miramar if you're playing
Where is God
alongside
like?
with
our
them
last
all the
match खेला
time
था
in your
वो ये match
respective
में नहीं है.
PMSLs.
Next match में आना
Keep
तो मैं
up with
दिखेगा
them.
God like.
So I'll be excited to see what Influence Rage can get done. Again, for RCB, what a rotate from Silas. Again, RCB is a great team, and they have some very strong players on the squad. But we haven't seen the strength of
Do
the
you
likes
watch
of
K-drama?
Wild, of Loxy.
देखो भाई कितना
so
side prediction
far,
किया
and
मैंने
it's
बोला था
really
इम्पाला
only
नहीं
been
रहेगा
that
zone के अंदर.
consistent
देखो कितना
member
exactly
of Silas,
इम्पाला zone के
who
अंदर
a
नहीं
lot
है.
of time has been making those plays that have kept
Ricardo का
RCB safe.
circle है.
I'm not saying that the rest of RCB aren't good, but it has very much felt
I
like
don't watch
Silas
K-drama.
has been the thing, the glue, basically keeping that team from falling apart.
Recently मैंने एक start किया था K-drama.
Hopefully they can keep themselves together. It's
I
very
stopped
likely they
after
secure that
one
survival stage
episode.
spot. And sure, there's a chance that they
क्या
could get towards the
Vincenzo
top
ऐसा
3.
कुछ नाम
I
है
don't think it's
उस
going to happen
K-drama का.
over the last 2 games.
Vincenzo ऐसा
They
कुछ
have
नाम है.
got such a tall order to make that one work.
He's an
DRS,
Italian
they have
mafia
been
guy.
making pushes
कुछ है
and
ऐसा,
pushes and
पता
pushes
नहीं.
off the bottom
Start
of the
किया बंद कर
table.
दिया मैंने
We
उसको.
caught up with them during the break.
Welcome back to a quick report with the 7WG. This one's going to be in regards to DRS. I got a chance to talk again to Killer. Remember what he told us?
No,
at the beginning
DRS
of the
will
day? They
improve
were
more in
looking to
survival
just start off
stage.
strong.
Right now,
They
they
did
are
with the win
playing
in
under
Sandhawk.
pressure
In
because
just
of the
this
tough
last
times
Erangel
they are
match of Group
experiencing.
Green, they were able to perform
I really
well.
hope, Srishti,
He's saying
I really
that for
hope
Miramar,
कि
they're
DRS
looking to
अपना
make
OG
sure
form
they
में आ
get
जाए.
some points. I asked him if
Survival
that
में.
means, are you willing to take fights early on? He said, whichever points they come, we want
But
them. So
any
if it is
chance
fights
is-
early on, they're willing
is
to
an
take them.
opportunity to perform. Yeah, survival में better
I
कर
mean, you
सकते
have to
DRS,
be, right?
no
in
doubt.
such a hotly contested lobby,
But they
no
have
matter
to
where
come with
those
a
points
new
come
game
from,
plan.
they are all going to mean the same
Clearly,
thing, right? And
जो
that's a
game
step
plan से
closer
इधर
to
खेल
the
रहे वो
survival
workout नहीं कर
stages,
रहा.
which for now is the only thing that our bottom 6 teams can hope to get.
Vincenzo is masterclass.
With it getting so
Ah,
far
Vincenzo,
away and
वही.
ahead now at the top
वही
of the
मैंने start
lobby.
किया.
181
Second
to
episode पे
176.
हूँ मैं. Time
These
नहीं
are
मिला. फिर
unattainable
continue करने का.
point scorelines in 2 games. So for Brute Force and Influence Rage,
Where is Ignite Gaming?
highly
अरे वो
likely
grand
that they
finals
will
में
remain
मिलेंगे
now in the
तुम्हें.
top
Directly
3.
invited है वो.
and we're looking at
उनको वो
Thunder
direct
Talk's
trophy दे देंगे
position
उनको उठाने
in
के लिए.
3rd place of 160 points. 4
बस
on B
बस
on
ऐसी formality के लिए
155 and D plus
finals
at
खिलाएंगे.
151.
Whoever wins
D
उठाएंगे
plus
वही.
have been hanging on by a thread, John, at the moment. I hope they can stay in this, but if I'm to be completely realistic, I think that's because I am very nostalgic of day 1 so far with how well they played.
चलो भाई.
Yeah, I think that's fair, right? They just have not been the same team since. You know what I'm expecting this
My
match,
body is
Blank? I'm
very
expecting D
dehydrated
plus
today.
Kia to rotate all
कितना
the
भी
way up
पानी
through
पी रहा हूँ
the
मेरे
north
को.
side, past La
कुछ नहीं आ रहा है
Cogoria,
मेरे को.
in the south side of El Pozzo on a wide wrap, and then immediately die to brute force and just get strangled out on the edge of the west side. That's what I'm expecting from them. Let's see if that happens, because
अल्लू अर्जुन का डब जिसने किया एकदम
I mean,
फालतू है.
4MV did basically the same thing.
मैं
on
free
that
में कर
last
लेता
map,
भाई.
right?
मेरे
A
को बुला ले.
lackluster approach to the Influence Rage fight and went all the way down.
बकरी भी फाइनल में
So,
मिलेगा.
a
बकरी
theme
तो
seemingly
भाई हर जगह
developing
मिलेगा
of
तुम्हें.
teams going for
हलाल
some
चाहिए.
interesting, cool rotates that give
या
them a
कैसे
nice
चाहिए वो बताओ.
opportunity, and then just completely squandering it.
Yeah, it is unfortunate. Again, for D+, they had such a strong position on the last map and unable to do anything off the back of it. It feels really rough. And now
देखो 4MV है ना बहुत फटी में खेलेगा ये
nowhere near
मैच. गारंटी दे
where
रहा हूँ
you're
क्योंकि
playing.
if
You have to
4MV
move
chokes
far
this
out
match, it's over for
towards that
them.
north side. It's no real
If 4MV
chance to
chokes
wrap
this
down
match,
towards
it's
South
over for them.
77 currently curled up over between Celcom Digi Alliance and Team Secret. Last game they went out almost instantaneously and has dropped them
क्या comeback किया
into
भाई.
14th place.
Danger.
एंट्री
Right,
अच्छी
2
है
points.
लेकिन बैठने का
Lasha,
तरीका
thank you
अभी
for the
बड़ा
100.
कैजुअल है.
Vincenzo is 10 by 10 in my
Seeing
opinion.
themselves a
I
little
even
bit safer
changed my BGMI
at 112 and
IGN
10.
to Vincenzo after watching it. Yeah, my
anyone
wife
can still
suggested
make
me
it.
that. So yeah, I'm going to continue watching it.
CG
I'll watch at least 10 episodes, then I'll
Hopefully they
decide
can get a little
should I
bit more
continue or not.
coordinated in their last
So far,
2 games of the day.
Start
and
हमेशा
of the
slow ही
league
होता है
stage for
सीरीज
them.
का. तो yeah, अभी के
2
लिए कुछ
chances
opinion
to
नहीं है.
prove that they aren't just crazy aggressive rotates. And
I'll
a
tell
little
my
bit
opinion
more
after 10
bang for the
episodes.
buck.
But I'm not going to
Getting into
finish the 10
survival
episodes
stage is
anytime
all
soon.
important there.
अभी बहुत
Thunder
tight है
Talk,
schedule.
They've taken that 3rd spot, but it is a tenuous
see.
hold at best. Everybody beneath them will be more than glad to push them aside for their shot at the finals.
It's just crazy that Team Secret still even have a chance into this tournament at 86
Match
points
number
and
chat.
16th
This is
place.
match number 5.
They need a bit of a bigger game
Last
than
but
anyone
one
else,
match
though,
here.
here, alongside with CAG Osaka.
Watch all of your
DRS
dead. Best
holding on to their
zombie
11th place
drama.
position
It is all
for
of
the
us
time
are
being,
dead. It
though.
is not all of you are dead.
99 points tied up with RRQ.
Yeah, देखा मैंने season 1.
There's RCB, though, taking shots at the aforementioned team of RRQ, who are underneath. A precarious position
Petition
going
to
forward.
bring Junior Spike on stream if 4MV qualify.
RRQ
If
not
4MV
losing a player,
qualifies,
but
yes, I
taking
will bring
damage
him.
and trying to move around. RRQ continually over the last games today have been sending central, getting middle
Spike
positions.
invitation
They've had some
underdog
pretty
series
decent
कब
games
होगा?
as well, Blank. I mean, I can remember 2 times seeing them close to 10 eliminations so far today. And in
कोई
general,
plan तो नहीं है.
that is what they're looking to
We'll
repeat
see.
here on
Scout
Miramar.
ने भी एक
If they
invitational
can
का
get one of those
he has
games
announced.
now, it would be monumental for
सारे
them
कर रहे हैं
in
अपना
terms of
अपना
their
invitation.
chances
मुझे भी
of
करना चाहिए
surviving.
ना.
If they can get ahead of a team
देखते हैं.
like the Vicious, like
Plan तो नहीं है,
Stalwart,
but
it
yeah.
becomes all the more secure that they will be in for all those survival stages.
भाई कुछ खतरनाक हॉरर मूवी बताओ. खतरनाक हॉरर मूवी हाँ?
77 on our screens.
हाँ.
Went down pretty poorly last
The
match.
last
let's
time I
say,
watched a
as
horror
Team Liquid
movie
completely crumbled in the face
and I
of
liked
the
it
Brazilian squad.
was Wailing
Now looking to make
It's
their way
a-
up towards Thunder
it's a
Talk,
Korean-
thinking better of it.
movie.
Try and rotate around the side, find some kind of opening, some kind of gap that they can get through, because
थोड़ा complex
It's
रहेगा
so
but I
close to
liked
the
it.
line
I enjoyed watching it.
I think a lot of people
The
would be
movies-
disappointed
the movie
to see
name is called
77 go
Wailing.
down.
The Wailing ऐसा कुछ है और भी है बट मेरे को याद नहीं आ रहा अभी.
On the southeast side, 77 again in that flux position at the bottom of the tables. It says 14 next to their name, but it might as well say 11 because all of those teams at the bottom have that chance. Team Liquid, they may have just done enough work to see themselves safe to those
Conjuring,
survival stages.
Conjuring तो kind of I enjoyed Conjuring 1, but उसके बाद थोड़ा
on the other side of it,
थोड़ा repetitive लगा मेरे को. It did not hit me as hard as part 1.
Towards those survival stages, Blank. It's going to be.
Tumbad is a very good movie, but it's not a horror movie, right?
One of the most dynamic.
It's more like an adventurous.
Here at PMGC, no matter who qualifies.
Yeah, I mean,
Tumbad is not a horror movie.
They just qualify off the back of survival stage, right?
It's a beautiful movie.
Last chance. It'd be really rough, to say the least. Heading up to Hacienda del Patron now, though, and CAG the closest to it, alongside
match number 5. Yes, bro. This is match number 5. अभी कुछ होगा नहीं अभी.
D plus.
Circle 3 तक कुछ होने वाला नहीं है.
Pretty much all
unless
the
bottom
Northeast
teams
play around
fight,
with them.
start a fight.
There's hardly any teams here. Most teams actually opting to rotate through on that western side, so
Annabelle
go for the El Pozzo rotate.
पता नहीं. Not my type. ये सारे Annabelle ये सारे movies.
Influence Rage. Sneaking
Shutter
on the
देखो.
north side, and this is
Shutter
a big
देखा
opportunity
मैंने.
for them to find that opening.
Shutter. ये एक सेकंड देखता हूँ, सर्च करके देखता हूँ मैं. देखा मैंने.
RMV.
I think I did.
They're on that southwest
अरे ये तो
side.
भाई.
They got pushed aside at the end of the last one. Doc needs to be careful. Isn't
Doc
split
knock
from the rest of his team,
from
and this is
Fearless.
plentiful, but finds a knock around, and the rest of 4MV need to be careful as Stalwart will be taking these shots back down.
देखो
towards the
ST
south.
has
No one
nothing to
close enough
lose.
for a third
वो
party
लोग fight
just yet.
लेंगे पक्का.
Celcom Digi Alliance could
4MV को
divert
निकालना ही
as much
पड़ेगा
as they
इस
do so quick
इस
enough
मैच में.
to have an
हर fight
impact
को.
here, and 4MV need to get this res on
No
the dot.
casualties.
It's now or never, and the nades are coming through. Stalwart looking to put the close on this fight.
अरे
Reefus
बाप
has
रे,
the up
almost
angle,
चौकता है Reefus का.
finds the knock he was looking for, gets
चलो.
back and has a first day to play around.
Sanchir knock. Fearless knock.
Up close.
Good start for 4MV.
On the sidelines. Taking
No
a couple
third
of
parties
hot shots
around.
himself. Is
For
out in
now.
the open. Octagori does see it.
I don't like Apex
Cuts down to the
position.
deck, but is already pulling the pin on the nade.
ले दे दिया.
Needs to hit this
Last
one
man
through.
standing है, Krita.
Perfect. Critter low as well. Should be an easy cleanup here for 4MV.
ले भाई. Beautiful start of
What a time
4MV.
to find it. That is
Beautiful start, चल.
4 eliminations added. They are now
बस
1
अभी
point
आगे नहीं
behind.
करें. अभी
Entry अच्छी है, लेकिन बैटरी का तरीका अभी बड़ा
For the south
कैजुअल.
side, they're going to need a little bit of
159.
help to get on through. There's a lot of
TT 160.
difficult terrain in their way on the south
159,
edge.
TT
Everybody
160.
crunching in towards the central area, Blank,
चल
as
dog.
we get over towards San Martin.
Everybody's making their way on over. D plus managed to grab themselves the road side, which is actually a very strong position to play up and towards the end game.
5.
You do need a bit of a split on it though to
क्या
control
नाम है
the
भाई ये?
field.
Thank you for the
And a
super chat, bro.
Groza delivered into the hands of Reefus is a real big deal.
SAR क्या होता है? क्या कौन सा करेंसी है?
Does swap
Thank
out
you,
the
bro.
pump action
The super
shotgun.
chat. Team up. पागल है क्या? Team up कहाँ से लगा तुम्हें?
Extended quick draw.
जब
Nice little
PMGC में
resupply
team
there
up कुछ
for
भी.
4MV. And they'll be happy to march onwards into this match. The last
अरे नीचे
two
के competition
games lie
देखो.
before them.
99, 99,
Started off
98, 97.
It's about continuation.
असली
It's about
competition तो
momentum,
नीचे है भाई.
keeping that pace going. In the center side, as we hop over to
असली
RRQ,
competition तो
who have
नीचे
been
है.
here for a long time, Blank. They have been in the center for a while. Team Liquid right next door to them, playing up on those ridge lines. Make it a little bit hard for them to go for those wide peek outs that RRQ might want to enact to get some control over the northwest side.
If RRQ these last two games are so important to them because they're right on the line.
पूरा San
They
Martin का
could make
circle
it
है.
in with just 1 point right now, technically.
I like Team Liquid's position.
Circle heads up
इस
towards the
circle में
northeast, which
godlike
does
होता.
benefit D+.
So they would be at
Has
Team
that
Liquid's
really
position.
changed much in the past? It'll be up to D+ to prove us wrong
Do you
here.
guys remember that
They
BMPS
deserve
match?
to be in the
जिससे
top 3 before
godlike
already
qualify
finding
हुआ?
4 points off the rip. Hard to deny that they're not trying to look for that top 3
उस
right
circle
now
में
and have a chance to
उस
do it.
BMPS match में ये बिल्डिंग में कौन थे?
Requires them to go
ये
down
बिल्डिंग में कौन थे?
so tremendously in a
VD
previous
की
game
बिल्डिंग
to be
में.
like, oh wait, let's go back to basics.
And इस बिल्डिंग पे 8-bit पुश करता है.
Let's remember our
तुम लोग
core
को याद है
principles, guys. Come on.
वो मैच मिरामार
Looks
का?
like- But the core principle is I go get kills, yes? Eliminations time. Let's find them. Seemingly needed that reminder from last
कौन था
match.
उस बिल्डिंग में?
Core principle,
जब 8-bit
stay
push किया?
together, players won, 4 players stronger together.
Let's see how many of you remember.
That's how they're going to play this one, or that's what they're going to need to play in order
जो
to
भी
get
IG
up
लिख रहा
towards
है,
the top
you
three.
are correct.
Thundertalk
निर्मल,
won't budge so easily, and they are
Nitish
slap bang in the
Reddy.
middle of this circle, Blank.
जो भी IG लिख रहा है,
Hard to chase them.
on point है
Yeah,
तुम्हारा memory.
very
It was
close to
Ignite
Von
Gaming.
Donkey.
इतना गंदा चोक किया
Like we said
उस
before,
fight
they've
में.
done a marvelous
Leo
job to
भाई,
stay in this one. Bit far for them now,
गलत हगा
though.
था वो.
RCB probably
सिर्फ,
the
कौन बचा
outside
था?
chance. The dark horse,
सिर्फ
I
Aizen
would
बचा था?
say, inside the lobby at the
End
moment.
में Godlike chicken
For
निकालते हैं.
138 points.
VXT
They need another
नीचे,
chicken dinner,
ऊपर
but
Godlike.
it's doable. It is doable.
रिफ्लेक्स में मारा था जूसी ने.
Quickly, I
सामने
mean,
वाला
from
ऐसा
that
हगेगा तो
position
कोई भी
that
मारेगा ब्रो रिफ्लेक्स में.
Southeast of RRQ right now.
हल्क, सॉरी लियो बोल रहा
There's
हूँ.
potential, but they're a little bit downhill.
We need
It's a bit
4MV
stuffy
come back
in
before
their
GTA
area.
6.
They can't breathe easy for sure, and they'll have to navigate some difficult
डीप्लेस किया का फाइट चल रहा है यूडू
areas
के
to that
अगेंस्ट.
north side of San Martin, around the
जिम्मी
Hacienda
नॉक फ्रॉम यूडू.
foothills on the
फिनिश, एक
west.
किल मिला.
It's going to be tricky. D plus
ज्ञान
spots
अच्छा होता
over
है.
towards Cellcom Digi Alliance on the southeast side, and Brute Force have taken a knock on the north. If you want to defend your first place spot, this is not the way to start it out. But this res may be coming on through. Siege Osaka find Voin Donkey over and towards the middle of the circle.
Yeah, one good shot went through. Should be reasonable
80%
though,
break.
for Von Donkey.
पुराना जोक है भाई. मूव ऑन कर लिया मैंने.
77 out in the blue at the moment, alongside with 4MV in San Martin.
जो आवाज से उसने किया है ना उस रिकॉर्डिंग
People
में.
still holding that mega split
ऑन कर दिया.
four-way on that north side. ERS coming through.
कौन था
Might be
उसका
the
नाम?
first team
वरना
that
गायब
they
ही हो
come
गया.
into contact with.
ब्लाइंड नोवा.
Similarly to our last game on our angle.
ऑन कर दिया. अरे
Brute Force
ब्राइटनेस
have
को है
moved
ना
forwards, Blank, and they did
80%
lose
कर
a
देना.
player to DRS on that back foot, but that shift goes out their way, and it's great news
एकदम
for
prime
them. They
meme
now
material
have
भाई ये
got
सारे scene.
a nice position around the junction
Meme
of those
material है पूरा.
paths on the north side of the central area. No teams really can push through the circle.
What's
to
your
them.
opinion on
Leaving from
words?
San Martin
Words,
is so
world's
tough.
best
The question is,
8
what do D
teams
plus Kia and
को
DRS do
इंडिया
on the
बुला
north
के
side of
इंडिया
it?
के
And D
7
plus
बेस्ट
looking
टीम्स
to
के
rotate
साथ
around and
इवेंट
find
कराए.
their way in from that north
I
edge
don't
too.
think it's fair for the world's best
They already get
8
up to the
teams
top side. I think they get the first
for
knock
them
off
to
over
bring
towards
here and
DRS.
compete against a regional
And now
top
the
8
rest of the
teams.
team comes barreling over towards that location. This is an
That's my
opening
opinion.
when they desperately need.
D plus Kia looking to put money back on the board on that northern side, trying to flow over DRS and maybe stop DRS dead in their tracks. It's an important fight for both of them, Blank, to try and progress into that higher bracket of performance at the end of today.
भाई ट्राई हार्ड चल रहा है भाई.
We'll have to wait and see how
ट्राई
that
हार्ड चल रहा है.
concludes.
टॉप
The
5
Vicious
टीम्स को देखो भाई.
scrapping with
एक
Cellcom
बंदा नहीं
Digi
मरा.
Alliance, who are similarly positioned around that bubble. These two fights, once they
Yeah.
conclude, could decide so much about this lobby in Cellcom Digi Alliance. They're holding on. They've got 3 players alive. Can they stop the Vicious?
Vicious 112 and goes
Bhai bro,
down.
focus
Bruno's
more on the
out.
stream than chats please.
David on
I
the
do bro, I
outside,
do
Cellcom
focus.
Digi
अभी
Alliance.
कुछ इंटरेस्टिंग नहीं हो रहा है
Audio
इसलिए मैं
moves
समझ
up,
रहे हो.
And that will
अपना
just be a
देख नहीं रहा
smoke
हूँ.
train
मुझे
being
पता
laid
है.
down.
ओए हो गया. Liquid versus 4MV. Doc knock.
Cellcom
डब्बा
at
डॉक
this
का.
location. Doc's on his own.
डब्बा. आ गया.
What a surprise.
अरे भाई मत मारो यार
So
बाकी
sad.
लोग
He
प्लीज.
scouted up that west side and
Not
decided
now.
to go
देख
for the
Reefus
crash.
भी दे दिया,
As a
donate
solo
कर दिया अपना
again
kill.
gets pulled out. Reefus is next.
ऐसा
4MV
नहीं
throw
भाई.
it away. Yet again.
देखो और एक
this is
join कर लिया.
disaster for
क्या
them.
बात है भाई.
And they don't even make it far enough to break
शाबाश.
into the top 3. Blank, it's happened again.
शाबाश भाई शाबाश. डॉग मर गया चलता है भाई. उसके बाद क्या हो गया बाकी को.
There's not much for me to say, honestly,
4MV बाहर.
about this, because if you've been watching, you know what's going on here.
Exactly same scene हुआ था एक मैच पहले.
It's more worth my
फिर वापस
your
same
time,
repeat
in
हुआ.
fact, that I talk about D plus versus DRS, because there's only so many times that I can say 4MV's pushed by himself, well, Doc's pushed by himself,
ले
and
4MV
it's
बाहर हो
gone
गया.
badly.
अब डी प्लस किया के हाथ
77
में
rock up to the
पावर आ
Vicious in
गया.
the meantime
देखते
on
क्या
the
होगा.
southeast side and immediately dispatched them. 77 also looking to try and compete.
वो
forward
मरने से
towards
पहले
Cellcom
मेरे को
Digi
फीलिंग आया था भाई
Alliance,
ये
tenuous
वापस
at
वही
best
करने
in
वाले
that
हैं.
11th
एंड वही
place.
हुआ.
DRS are around the corner as well. If they could survive this fight with D plus Kia,
कैमरामैन एक बार डॉग को दिखाओ.
dare bear down upon
डॉग
them
को
should they
गुस्से
go
में
down.
देख
So
कभी देखा नहीं मैंने.
desperate not to do so.
दिखाओ
on the
please एक
north
बार.
side.
DRS is backing off as much as possible. Nades are being expended here, though, unfortunately. That's a great tag.
I don't want to say it, but
roughly where he's playing at now. Fantastic work on that one. Another knock goes through off the back of that. Killer inside the vehicle, extremely low. Wonderful news for D+, getting 4 eliminations off the back of this.
Gyanti, the last to stand in their way. South Korea looking to push back towards the top spots. Can they return to form?
DRS बाहर, D+ किया 4 finishes 4 man
DRS out. Fabian is eliminated.
155. अभी थोड़ा और confidence boost हो जाएगा. D+ किया का उनका competition बाहर हो गया. They have nothing to fear now.
Going to come in. It's going to mean a lot for so many. Let's see where it goes. It's down south. We're going back to the town.
For D+, that's somewhat of a death sentence, actually, that circle. They can try and play off the back of the western side, maybe.
इधर तक आके क्यों
as well as
करना है
Team
4MV
Liquid,
को ऐसा.
but it's an improbable crossing for them to make happen. So
हाँ.
I'll be curious to see what their next move is. 77 up against Team Secret. Good nade from Magnum.
159.
To start things off, sends another over the top. A little bit short. I think if that one was slightly higher, it might have actually taken down. So as
4MV play like if Doc is dead, then whole
the
team is dead.
And with that
If Doc
nade,
is
they push
performing,
themselves
then
into
whole team
11.
is playing.
77 now looking to continue their rise up here.
मैं
Moving
disagree
into
तो नहीं
San
कर रहा
Martin,
आपका
they can
point
get a
से.
lot further into this game.
चल
11
तो ऐसे ही रहा है.
teams remain, so a lot of placement points still yet to be added into this lobby, but 77 do not have the position to do it just yet. Secret slowing them down, dragging them back, and they're trying to clamber over the top of them all in the meantime. So Secret, a lot to play for in this engagement, but not going to get too far. Zadira's on the case.
yeah, honestly, for Team Secret there, this is a case of they're worried, they're scared by this play, and they back it off, and it doesn't work out for them. Good tags, but not quite good enough. Fights start to break out over towards the south side. Now, D+, are they in range to hear those shots? Because if they are, this would be a perfect opportunity for them to move down over towards the south and maybe get a backstab of the Team Liquid whilst they're preoccupied with RRQ.
Here they go,
exactly
straight
what
up.
they do.
Onto the ridgeline as well. Team Liquid now caught. A nice little rotate, an insurgency from D+. They find that ditch. The nades can come through if Team Liquid turn their attention back out that way, but they've got RRQ to worry about. Further off in the distance, Brute Force could take shots, but they don't need to get too bold with it for Brute Force. They just want to hold on to this game and stay alive. Survive in the top 3. It's the name of the game for them. So a little stalemate. D+ Kia keeping themselves relevant.
They hold out both these teams now with that spot as well. It's a really good position to be able to take advantage of. And that's why Cardozo was playing out there as well, because they need an anchor on that point. So the RRQ can't rotate round. But he gets completely overwhelmed from an unknown angle because they assume that, well, there's no way RRQ is moving. We can see them right now in front of us. But D+ Kia, very, very well done. Like I said, if they heard the fighting happening over on the south side, that was their only avenue of approach, and it was very lucky on the timing, but they took advantage of it in a big way. Unfortunately, Nobu gets knocked, but there is a good shot from Osal and Chips, which takes down 2 players from RRQ, but Team Liquid might want to get involved.
I like the idea from RRQ. Disengage, re-engage on the sideline for the team that's double holding. And maybe you could put too much pressure on them for them to bear, but it's just not going to work out for RRQ on the roll-up. They're sure they get that opening knock, but that can get res, and there's too much to handle. Now, Snape moving back, Asar as well. D+ Kia could turn their attention
क्या
down
ideal
that hill.
situation बन रहा है
Liquid as
D+
well.
Kia के लिए
Looking to try and push past, but this has
TT नहीं मार रहा है, D+ Kia मार रहा है,
now Team Liquid are going to
और इनका competition 4 में बाहर.
north side, Influence Rage and Brute Force.
The odds are lining up for D+
in
D+ Kia's favor.
Low ground positions.
Yeah, pretty much now for D+, they make the right choice. They move away from RRQ because they know they need to buckle up going forward over towards this position. They need to hold out versus Team Liquid, who, like you say, have to move out into the open. There's plenty of more points available for D+ going forward. Up to 7 eliminations on the game at the moment. Really, really well done.
Pump है D+ Kia pump है भाई.
Spots another on Ayala.
7 finishes.
Up in the
4 man
distance.
strong.
D+ Kia now 2 points behind Thunder.
ये पोजी अच्छा है बता, kills उठाने के
Primed
लिए.
and ready to jump up over 4MV who are
Team Secret बाहर.
They have a lot of opportunity to rack these points up, so we'll see how many more they can get out of this.
INF
In the meantime, 77, they pushed into 11th place, Blank, and they want to go further. Placement points haven't started to kick in yet, so going down now would be pretty disastrous for them. They've decided to rotate up towards the north. They had an opportunity to go towards Thundertalk, but they didn't go for it. Rage, the crash on towards Brute Force, but both of the two teams going to be left in dribs and drabs, and only one player from Brute Force left to stand. It's Prepod all the way on the off angle.
But with 3 more points in the game, it's likely they'll stay ahead of Influence Rage. Depending on how well Lil Boy can do into the coming circles. D+, they could rotate down towards a compound on their south, which is exactly what RRQ have done. But they're more preoccupied with getting rid of the 2 players from Team Liquid, and fair enough, they can put up elimination points. That's what's important to them going forward. Voin Donkey, though, finds a long-range shot over towards D+ Kia.
Yeah, D+ Kia sent a player down into the valley to try and get forward position, and it did get cut through, which is really unfortunate there. In the meantime, Influence Rage with their last player alive, Lil Boy on the inside, managed to handle Ayala, and Team Liquid, who tried to defend from under the watchful eyes of D+ Kia, get cut out, and that will be them eliminated. Influence Rage add another point to their tally. But there goes the
matter of time.
It's all up to Lil Boy, and 77 will be pushing in on this angle.
Yeah, I don't think D+ actually did send a player down. I think they just got caught on a shot from the sidelines. That was res back up. I'm always assuming they're going to go for this southern rotate down towards where RRQ's playing, which I think is what they're going for right now. In the meantime, 77 still racking up more points. 8 total so far. A very good game for them. They can get even further into this match. It will just see them safer and safer. I think a lot of people would be happy to see 77 get into towards survival stage. They're a great team, and I still don't think that they've shown their true potential here at PMGC. There have been a lot of mistakes. That can't be stressed enough. I know this team has been playing
the real battle is between TT and D+ Kia, bro.
This is a full representation of what this team can do.
77 most likely going to spot the last player from Influence Rage at some point.
D+ Kia will snatch the 3rd spot. Only if TT lets them.
Influence Rage add up to their scoreline as the circle shifts out to the northeast, keeps Lil Boy in, but that's going to force 77 to move, and it's very likely that he goes down next.
Edge TT के पास.
This is a horrendous
D+ Kia को जाना है zone के
अंदर. D+ Kia.
INF बाहर 178.
There goes Influence
D+ Kia is
Rage. They take
hashtag right
down
now.
the teams ahead of them, and they are back.
9 finishes.
Blank.
This is a nightmare for 4MV, bro.
Thundertalk is still in.
This is a nightmare for 4MV.
You're Voin Donkey central at the moment, John.
अबे अजय क्या कर दी भाई? मिनी से उतार दी उसने.
But there is a lot of compounds still available on the sidelines. D+ Kia has to really pick their moment on this one, and they're gearing up to do it. 77 taking shots from the Thundertalks. All the while, Voin Donkey's taking shots towards them.
4MV like chile to chand tak, nahi to sham tak.
Trying to get closer, allow the rest of his team to regroup forwards. Voin Donkey suppressing RCB, trying to move through their buildings. Seiji Osaka as well, caught out on the outside. A sweep around towards the north for D+ Kia against 77. Let's see if they can move this one through, move it aside. Fabian goes low, gets
knocked. Fabian knocked.
Can't quite get the spray out.
Nice one, Osal.
And Zadira now stepping up with the pump action. Osal's there, man on the money. And looking
last man standing here, Osal.
Lag gayi bhai, D+ Kia solidify it too, but it's getting more and more unlikely as he's the last player to stand. He's got a sliver of HP, moves forwards towards Magnum, and 77 are looking at Soffin dead in his tracks. D+ out. Thundertalk need to put a point on the board, and that's it. To be able to jump.
So you're saying 4MV still has a chance?
Yeah, fought hard.
If TT chokes here, 4MV still has a chance.
A great game from them in a very difficult situation as well. A lot of horrible circles for them to play.
77 ने comeback कर दी भाई.
Side on the east, having to wrap all the way around, taking that opportunity versus
strong.
Team Liquid, and again another tough decision for them to try and take a fight with 77 on that north side. I respect all of it, and again it is Nolbu leading that charge. He has stepped up so much for the team at the very last throws of the tournament.
RRQ looking to step up too. It's just Snape left on the inside. He's going to try and get out of there too. RCB stand in the way, but Seiji Osaka may be able to help with that. If they can take down some of RCB, if Seiji Osaka lose 1 or 2 as well, it could be a little opening for RRQ to try and keep this ascension going. And Loxy is brutal with these nades. RCB were looking for a big game here to give them another chance to jump up. 160 around that sort of area is the mark for third place right now. But with Loxy trapped on the outside, they need to get rid of Garnet. The last to stand.
Loxy.
This is the Loxy that I've been waiting for. Unreasonable shots been sent back over towards CAG as he's crossing. He is so quick on the trigger, so accurate a lot of times. It's hard to even face him when he's out in the open. So very, very well done to Loxy. Needs to get further in. There's the first shot going through to Xing on the Thunder Talks. We'll take them down. This is stage 8, by the way, with six teams still in this.
Waiting for COG Osaka to leave. RCB on the inside looking for a top 3 finish here and as many as eliminations as they can get their hands on. 3 players alive. They've lost Silas Blank. That is the steadying hand that you were talking about being the major presence, the major threat from this roster. And now it's time for his teammates to stand tall too. Spraying around on the outside. Garnet does get across. Can they open up and find it? Loxy's there lying in wait.
Nice try, on the nade.
Finds Kimmers, but will not do much more. COG Osaka eliminated, and RCB stay alive into the top 4.
Yeah, good shot
TT
from
का पोजी अच्छा नहीं है.
Donkey. Again, another good game from Void Donkey. This has been a hell of a day from them.
दो साइड से मार खा रही है.
Wild grenades, honestly, from them. Taking down 2. Now looking for the final player in Loxy. There are shots going over towards him already. But it feels like it will be the Thunder Talks laddering up once more in this match. Just off placement points alone. They are somewhat cornered by 77 and Void Donkey. Void Donkey, they could have a chance at the top 3 if they're lucky into the last game of the day with a bunch of elimination points. But 77 are desperate for this chicken dinner. It means more to them than does to Void Donkey at this point in time in terms of seeing themselves safe into the survival stage.
Loxy all but done for there behind the wall. Will go out to the play zone, denies the point. 77-13.
It's a 4v3 situation.
This is what we've been waiting to see from them all tournament.
Best position किसके पास है बताओ guys.
They've been confused.
Best position किसके पास है.
Finally, they find their feet. They're making sweep outs to the north. They're making interesting decisions.
That's right. 7-7 के पास.
A big nade from Shifu.
TT अभी मार खाने वाला. किनको मारना? एक गोली मारना.
The pin is pulled. They have no idea where
लग गई TT बाहर. Bro, next match is going to be very crazy.
17 eliminations.
Next match बहुत crazy होने वाला है.
7 are on the warpath, but Void Donkey ID, they've got some power behind them as well.
4MV,
as they surge back on over the ridgeline.
इन तीनों में जो chicken निकालेगा,
rolling on the outside of the circle, and Razor gonna try and pen them in. Shifu's there. He did a lot of damage with the nades to Thunder Talk, but will he be able to do much more? One knock, one flush, step by step they go, but it will be a stumble.
कितने kill निकाले इन लोग ने?
As Void Donkey
20 kill निकाल दिया इन लोग ने.
Another chicken dinner. What a day for the team from Indonesia.
13 plus 4, 17, 17 plus 3. I think 20 kill निकाल दी इन लोग ने.
Honestly, really
Void Donkey ID
into that pack mule mentality.
Donkey power दिखा दी भाई.
At this point, a ton of
20 kill निकाल दी ना इन लोगों ने.
Very, very well done to them. Again,
बहुत kill मारे भाई.
Win a game from that
बहुत
location.
kill मारे इन लोग
77
ने.
played versus Void Donkey. It's a tough location to play overall, but they extract a huge amount of eliminations from it. And I think that's the most important thing. And they look
huge, right? Huge,
that game because they know that they've done enough to maybe just secure them a place in survival.
We might be out of PMGC to we are qualified to survival stage हो गया इनका एकदम से एक match में.
Nail on the head. The head on the nail. I don't know. I'm everywhere here with this one. As the last game had me just all confused. But yeah, Void Donkey getting themselves.
अरे placement points मैंने add नहीं
किया. Going to be secured
placement
for sure
points add करे तो TT will still be in top 3.
But we know that fight might be coming to a close here. Whereas 77 Max, they're fighting just to keep their tournament life alive, and that
4MV qualify होना है.
Might have been enough to secure
तो
them that top 11
किया
spot.
and TT को kind of choke करना है.
Jason could secure your spot into the survival stage at this point for the bottom teams, and that was
the competition is between D+ Kia and TT now. The main competition
had the most.
अगर ये दोनों हगेंगे तो आप सीधा 4MV निकाल. 4MV को chicken is the only way.
They were just asking to eliminate Thunder Talk at that point. They're just running into them with no cover whatsoever. They didn't have an option, but it's like, well, I have 2
so
nades.
There is still a chance.
That's resulting in 4 eliminations. Thank you very much, my good sir. And it's perfect for them because, yes, it should secure them a spot in top 11.
Bro, तुम्हारा BGM ID वापस मिला. कब का मिल गया bro? मैंने वीडियो पे डाल दिया था मैंने already.
Can't relax because you promised us a 77 chicken dinner today.
Oh yeah, don't relax, don't relax. Don't relax. So keep going. Get a win.
अरे VD निकाला क्या chicken?
3 for Vaxi, 2 for Potato, 1 represent.
7-7 मारा था
Reza just not getting anything, but hey, they got the win
6
anyway, so it's
finishes.
not
Dinner.
again. Void, I don't know how I feel about this team in terms of like overall strength when I look
I
at
thought
the group,
7-7 got the
because I
dinner,
think one
guys.
thing we all agree on this group is
इसलिए मैं पूछ रहा
definitely
था
easier
20 किल
than
मारेगा
some of the other groups. But where would you kind of rate Void if in survival? Do you think they're a team that's going to get through top 16?
Man, the answer is no.
Top 16,
I think
sure.
Yeah, I mean, like
on the bottom of top 16, but
yeah,
outside of that, I think grand finals is out of the question unless we see a big
7-7, 18 kills.
Yeah,
Okay.
top 16 maybe, but more than that seems unrealistic at best.
I believe their coach. I believe in their coach. So I mean, I hope that they're able to hit that homework extra hard, because they gotta realize that,
DRS
man,
need 30
the
points
job's gonna get
for
really
11th spot
intense
now.
here in the next few days. So yeah,
Because
they have
of
to
this
just
performance,
pretty much
because
just
of 7-7.
become a whole different squad. They have to ascend, right? For the survival stage coming up, because there's going to be
these
just
point
too
of
many
impossible
squads, and we haven't talked about it yet, right? But with that game right there's going to be some teams that are heavy hitters that I think now don't have a chance of making it into top 3.
Yeah, they are going to have some storylines that have ended with this game, Hodrix, definitely. Some teams are just going to be completely ruined, like, okay, well, nothing to lose anymore, we're just going to send it and ruin life for some of these squads. Maybe, we'll see how it goes. Although, I think we went on, like, the negative of
top 2 को placement points
they're
कितने
going to make
मिलते
it
हैं?
through survival stage. I
Hashtag
do
1
want
को
to
10
go,
point
like,
मिलता
just
है.
purely
Hashtag 2
gameplay-wise,
को
this match,
6 point
Hodrix,
मिलता है.
it is very important for teams when it ends in a city to play the outskirts of the city, and Boeing Donkey ID did that so earlier than any other team in this lobby, to just then funnel out most of the teams who are trying to leave the city, and then at the end get a good third party on Thunder Talk versus 7 like that. Macro strat was, in my opinion, with this kind of scenario.
Yep, I mean,
कोई
they got
team
that
strong
zone
लगता है
locked on
मुझे.
them right there towards the
कोई
end.
team
And
के
they
अंदर
took full
potential
advantage
दिखता है
of it right when
trophy
they
उठाने
needed
का.
to. So I mean, this team has kind of been that feast or famine squad, I think, for a minute. You see them put up some really good points here and there, and then just kind of fall off the end of the earth in the other games. But you know, this was a perfect time for them. I love to see teams that are able to clutch it up right towards the end, because the nerves are at all-time high, dude. You know, so regardless of how good you are as a squad, like, to be able to make sure that you get that chicken dinner and secure it right when you need to is a lot easier said than done.
Well, Max, what you talking
Heal
about?
battle क्यों नहीं होता इंटरनेशनल में? RCB ने क्यों नहीं किया? Because heal battle कर नहीं सकता
match, so 11 points overall.
The damage is very high.
To propel them
Heal battle is not
top 3,
possible.
though I think with Thunder Talk surviving, they're going to surpass them yet again. But we've been wanting to see
24 points
boys from
निकाला
South
7-7.
Korea have a good game, and they finally do have one.
Yeah, finally a good 11 point game with
सच
the 1
बता,
placement point 10 eliminations you mentioned.
तू गांजा
But I
पीता
was a
है
little
ना.
bit uncertain
mercy
what was
भाई, तुम
happening this
ये
match, because they
information
sent it
से
to
क्या
the
करोगे
east
मुझे
of the
बताओ.
compound where we saw Team Liquid and RQ
क्या
fight for a
करोगे?
pretty long period of time to the west, and they kind of stuck themselves on the cliff between that compound.
Will you
and
go to
Samarkand,
London for
meaning that
finals?
they didn't
अगर
really have too much movement
NV
space
होता तो
around them.
लंदन
They were
में
struggling to leave that spot.
अगर NV जाता
And
तो
I
finals
think
में
that if they
मैं
did maybe a similar
जा
play to
सकता था.
Void Donkey ID, which is scout
But,
from that cliff
without
they were
NV
onto,
there,
and then maybe send it to the
no.
northwest of Samarkand, that would have been literally
अगर मैं लंदन जाऊंगा तो watch party कौन करेगा बे?
They just get hinted in that position, send it on.
फिर अगर मैं जाऊंगा तो
get
मैं तो
obliterated
जाके
on
स्टेडियम में
rotate.
बैठ के
They were
देखूंगा
really having a
obviously.
tough time leaving that spot, but yeah, again, I can't
हाँ?
argue with the results. It's 11 points, and that is
TT 0
definitely helped them
eliminations. कितने
for that
कितने
race
points
to top
मिला?
3.
अभी दिख जाएगा ना overall standings.
Yeah, we did see a couple of
Let's
other
see the MVP
results
of
here
this
in this
match.
last match. Couple I want to do touch
यार
on.
TT
of course.
कहाँ
I'm gonna
eliminations
go towards the
निकाली?
second page.
Passive
Stalwart.
end में convert
Those
करने
are
का
two
कोशिश
teams
किया,
that
हार
are
दिए.
really on the brink of potentially being knocked out, whereas like DRS, Alliance, Secret, they were all fighting to get into top 11. And with this last match coming up here
भाई
shortly,
तुम्हारा चश्मा
you
कितने का
really
है?
don't know what's
पता
going to
नहीं.
happen, or I feel like you
काफी
shouldn't
time हो
really
गया
know what's
25
going to
करके.
happen, because you should have some teams who have no chance of breaching certain
देखो
positions,
भाई
whether it's top 3 or top
165,
11. That might
162,
just throw a spanner in the works
159.
here, and
Bro
we might
अभी भी
potentially see
पूरा
some of these
मौका है
top drops.
4MV के
But
पास.
as we did mention, D+ got
कितना?
into top 3 for a
सिर्फ
second.
6 पॉइंट का
as
डिफरेंस है
Thunder Talk does
TT
take it
और
back by
4MV के
3
बीच में.
points.
अगर 4MV अच्छा खेला होता इस मैच में क्या
Oh my
होता भाई?
goodness, it's coming down to the last
INF,
game once again here,
brute
folks.
force.
Right? Third through
सेफ ही लग रहा है.
six,
Unless
right? I mean, it's a possibility.
ये आखिरी मैच में
honestly,
TT
for
D+
me.
किया,
I know that
4MV एक बार
Max,
बूम बांग कर
you
दिया.
think that, you know, Regnum
कुछ भी हो
Karia
सकता है.
still have a shot here, right?
Brute
They
force
still
से
have an
qualified
opportunity.
है.
I feel like they've shown a lot of times
We'll
they have
see.
some good rotates.
We'll see, bhai.
It's just kind of capitalize on it. I think Blank mentioned earlier we haven't still seen the true fragging
D+
potential
क्या
of
कैसे
Wild and Loxy, and I do have
बहुत
to
अच्छा match
be
हो
in
सकता था
agreement with
उनका.
that statement. Silas has been a standout and
गलत
typically
decision
should
लिया वो
not
लोग
even be
last
the main
में.
fragger of the team. That should be the other players really occupying that role. But yeah, it's going to be Regnum Karabra, 4MV is going to be trying to also catch up
DRS,
a little bit here on the
they
rankings.
need
But Thundertalk,
They are
can they
12
hold down the
points
fort? Can
behind.
they hold on to that third
They
position?
would
We'll have to see
DRS
in
also
this
they need a dinner,
final
bro.
game for the group
Only
stage.
dinner can
You
save
guys forgot.
DRS.
It's the last match of the day,
Yeah.
which means Team Liquid's gonna win. So
Only a dinner will
you
save
gotta take that into
DRS.
consideration, right? Vicious though, they're the team on 11th place. I mean, I think we saw them at 4th place in between like day 1 and day 2, and they unfortunately have just been going down and down on this leaderboard. They are in lead by 10 points. They do have the tiebreaker with the chicken dinner, of course, but RQ and DRS. Just every
ये
opportunity
Vixes
every
लाला
opportunity
जैसे
to
दिख
get yourself
रहा
in
है.
top 11 just comes down to, can you have a really good match here when your entire esports career this year depends on it.
We're gonna see. We're gonna see. Personally, with knowing just like the history of how the last match of
Kind
a group
of,
stage could
but
be just so
पता नहीं, मेरे को लगा नहीं,
wonky
उतना नहीं
because you
लगा.
got teams just playing so differently because of
Parle
the last
Danto
match,
bro,
right?
already chip juice है.
It's not likely. That's why I always say you don't want to put yourself in a situation where you're 10 points down on the last game, because it's that much more difficult to do, because all the strategies, everything you know about PUBG Mobile esports, it kind of goes out the window. Like at that point, the last game of the tournament, it's usually won by who can adapt the best, right? And man, teams need to be able to do that here and now. Regnum
इसका
Karya
video
in
कल आएगा,
particular, like in order for them
यार
to have
रात
a
को ही कर
shot
दूं क्या
max, they'd have to take down Thunder Talk, D plus Kia, all these squads, or even try to at least, they have to do at least hunt down one of them, right?
Yeah.
And win the game and go crazy. So there's a lot of factors here that for me, it's just too much to consider, but you never know. I mean, we could see a miracle for sure.
There are 3 things always.
RC
constant in
players
life.
waiting
No
for
death,
CAG players at
taxes,
Japan
and
airport.
Hot Chicks asking for
One
a
Piece
hot drop
being
on
a
the
horrible
final
anime.
game.
With
What?
with
What was
bats
that?
or without bats?
One Piece being a horrible anime.
Oh,
What is the highest skills in this tourney?
Let's talk maybe
22.
No, I'm just saying.
22, that is by 4MV.
dude, I just saw Max Man. Like, I could hurt Max Man's fist just clenching, dude.
But no. Okay, I'll move on from that topic. But it
final
is gonna be a
match
close one for these teams. And
is about to
realistically,
begin.
I'm not going to lie. Looking at the teams in bottom 5, bottom 6, Hodrix, I don't know if you would
Let's
agree,
see.
but I think
By
one team
survive
of the bottom 5
सबसे-
might be able to make it out.
Survival
That's it.
कब से
I
है?
think we got
Survival,
one
I
slot.
think-
Let's not forget that for the last group, only no one left the bottom 5 in that last game. So it's really tough to
Survival
leave it in the bottom
है.
game because the teams above you play it so safe. It's so hard to take them down.
क्या
Okay, all right, boys, let's do this, right? The bottom 5 teams, let's all say at the same time which one squad do we think can make it, right? 3, 2, 1, DRS.
Alliance.
One Piece.
Wow.
What a game are you playing, Jason?
You really think Alliance
20
over
से.
DRS?
20, 21, 22, survival.
And also, I don't want to curse anyone.
23, 24, last
Okay,
chance.
I like that strategy.
So लगातार 5 दिन है भाई ये.
Oh boy.
Survival
I don't
and
know.
last chance.
I think it comes down to
20 से
are they
चालू
gonna
होगा,
adapt? I mean,
24th
I feel
को
like any
end
of those
होगा.
teams are just going to play safe, and I don't know if playing safe is going to be enough, even though a chicken dinner might be enough to get you through. But as we can
फिर
see
इसके-
on
फिर
the
इसके बाद
countdown,
grand
5
final
seconds
से
left to go
December
before we
6th,
head into
7th
the
and 8th.
final match of Group Green before we do make our way into survival stage, kicking off next week on Wednesday. So let's go back to our commentators one more time with John Allen and Blake.
The group stages end here with a final trip.
Chalo, the
over
final match has
Miramar.
begun.
Desert awaits, and it is
Buckle
heating
up.
up. So much is at stake for so many teams.
There is going to be
24
turbulence.
matches to play. This is the last round.
The last match, the last
I don't
bastion
think
for some
4MV can
teams to
qualify.
hold on
गलत
to
comment
their
डाल दिया
spot
मैंने.
in the tables. We're on a hard east playing path here, John. Struggle for some of the squads to get to where they want to go, but you got to deal with some of these awkward playing paths sometimes. Just unfortunate.
As a
that it
Gordel
happens
fan,
here right
you
at
all
the
Gordel
end of the day.
YouTuber, please
In terms of the
कोई भी
leaderboards,
गलत
there's
चीज़
suddenly a
का
lot of
promotion
teams
मत करना, please. It's a
vying
request
for
भाई,
positions.
बताना, Spike भाई.
77 might have just secured themselves their position
बस
over towards the
यही तो
survival
सुनना था
stage
मेरे
off
को.
the back of that last game, but
अब हो गया मेरे को
anything
एकदम
can still happen.
enlightenment हो गया
This
मैं.
is
अब
the
सबको बताऊंगा
most
मैं. Thank you,
close we've seen a group so far.
It's so competitive, especially at the bottom end of the tables, right? There are so many teams that have that opportunity. That door is
इसका
open.
comment
But it's
देखो.
just a matter of stepping through it.
Strix Jord Gaming.
Heavily
TT चाहिए
guarded.
भाई, भाड़ में
The
जाए,
approach
डीपलेस
remains
किया
in place for
4MV.
now,
सबका
They will
अपना अपना
try to lift
प्रेफरेंस
it.
है, देखते भाई.
but it's heavier than it looks.
Zone देखो.
As always, 4MV get themselves a Chumacera shift.
4MV का
Has
zone.
it worked for them in the past? No.
क्या setup
Will it work
करवाएगा
for them
Doc?
now? We don't know.
किल
It
उठा
could
सकता है
do.
4MV अच्छा खासा.
We will see what happens here for 4MV. Voin Donkey starting Partona of all places and be happy with that result down there. D plus chasing.
Do they have specific drop locations
They got so terribly close that last game.
Are they dropping randomly? Sai Chandu bro.
To 165.
Regional tournaments में भी random drops नहीं होता. कोई छोटा मोटा scrims में भी random drops नहीं होता. This is PMGC.
Plus will trip themselves up.
Biggest tournament in this game. Of course, it's not random, bro. Of course they have drops. Of course.
I mean, it's a long way off. It's 18 points is the difference between them and third place. Would also require 4MV, D
negative vibes जाएंगे.
and Thunder Talk
कोई भी team को negative vibe नहीं देना चाहता हूँ.
Pretty crap game, all things considered.
Do you guys remember?
So I mean,
मैंने last PMGC का मैंने poll से क्या-क्या किए थे हमने?
I'm telling you, there's a chance.
हमने इतना गंदा पनौती डाल दी थे. Strong teams पे.
Super unlikely. We did have a
अभी मैं poll डालूंगा मैं बताऊंगा result पहले ही बताऊंगा मैं result क्या होगा.
So I think with the Vicious.
4MV रहेगा top में.
What have you got to tell us?
क्योंकि मेरा audience ज़्यादा प्यार करता है 4MV से.
This one's going to be quick. It's going to be
उसके बाद second पे रहेगा.
A chance to talk to their coach. They're saying that for this last match, they're just going full aggressive. It's not just going to be Doc by himself. It's going to be everybody else. Now another team that needs to be able to
100%
perform on this last match.
जब पता है मैं तो क्यों डालूं मैं
They
poll.
have fallen massively and they're trying to maintain
It will not even be an interesting poll.
From what I was talking with Bruno, he's saying that they're not going to be aggressive. They're waiting to be patient. They do have a lead on some of the other teams that are trailing 12th, 13th place and so on. So they're waiting for the right time. Aggressive and patience. Let's see what ends up winning.
4MV.
Two opposing play styles. Let's see how it works out for those two squads. 4MV, I mean, sure, if you're going to go aggressive, you need to be together, right? It's not. They were aggressive in the last two matches, Blank. I think that's safe to say. They just did it really badly. Is the issue? It's a question of how you enact that aggressiveness.
Yeah, and right now what we're seeing is a blind Rhino on the side of 4MV, which is easily.
Who will qualify for Grands लिखना था मैं France लिख दिया मैंने.
So I think that for 4MV, it's time to take the blindfolds off, scout a little bit. Use your binoculars. More importantly, just use your eyes. Right now, there doesn't seem to be a lot of scouting going on for this team. It's just, let's go. We're going to take this position. There might be a team there. Handle it, says Doc loudly as the rest of his team attempts to follow up.
Also, I'm actually already fighting them and already down, so handle it.
Yeah. Pretty much is how it's going. 9th place for 77. What a turn up from them on the 5th match of the day. Again, I was saying this earlier, but it is really difficult in your last two matches when you're on the border, when you're already at risk of leaving the tournament, to have a big game like that. That's not easy to do, and it was a difficult position to do it in. So for 77, it's a massive well done from me.
मैंने क्या बोला था?
That is a very,
मैंने क्या prediction दिया था मैंने?
Finally,
exactly यही रहेगा.
Get themselves some
मुझे पता है
going their way. RRQ in 12th place. 10 points behind the Vicious, who have dropped down slowly but surely. A couple of good circles. Some fortuitous rotates did sit them towards the top of the tables, but now, once again, they are in the firing line.
Earphones के साथ headphones नहीं है. Noise cancellation वाला है वो. It's not headphones.
The other teams besides.
बाहर से जो भी noise रहेगा वो block करेगा.
The circle.
तुम्हें सिर्फ earphones का ही आवाज आएगा.
Which is right on top of 4MV.
LAN पे ज़रूरी है.
That is
वो पहनना.
a very central position that 4MV have been afforded. So aggressive. Maybe you want to play a little bit more towards the center and play a little bit more passive here. Opposite story for the Vicious, right? They're over near Torre Hamada, up on the northeast side. Brute Force are out there as well. They're probably going to need to play aggressive to get their way in. So despite their game plan going into this,
क्या बोला था पोल डालने से पहले?
game has chosen
पोल डालने से पहले ही जो बोला मैंने वही हो रहा है.
Yeah,
मुझे पता है भाई.
But 4MV, I don't think they do well on Chimacera central circles. I don't know why, but it almost feels like they get a little bit claustrophobic when it comes to circles like this, where they're not sure what to do with themselves. Because
भाई आप Astro Talk पे apply करो. Astro Talk की बात नहीं है. I know my audience.
They really do want to get things done. They want to fight. They want to move. They want to rotate. But here, they're forced to just sit still. I don't think that bodes well with them.
TT is from China. No, bro. TT is from Tamil Nadu.
Has no helmet currently. Feels like something that you could definitely get from basically anywhere. So I don't know why he's going around without that head protection. It's going to be potentially a factor in their fights on the south side hills, because you are going to be slowly peeking those heads over the ridge lines, taking those shots. Well, you certainly want to be able to do
अगर
that.
तीनों में कोई नहीं निकाल पाया
so much more easily sat
तो
back.
mostly TT ही होगा qualify, unless D+ किया 4MV अच्छा खासा frags निकालेंगे तो
the rest of his team is a little bit late behind. The Thunder Talks actually on their north side.
Best thing here is that there are no toxic spammers of any certain org, if you know.
Potentially, they could even take out their opposition early on into this match. But Seems Secret,
looks like
they have eyes on over towards Osal early. There is a shot that goes through to him, which will back him off. No team fire though, it's a bit unfortunate.
Dynasty Day 3 का वीडियो क्यों नहीं डाला? Already मैंने send कर दिया.
Not going to be able to find the knock, but do secure a little bit of this zone and push players a little bit further away, make it known that they're not just going to be passive on that.
TTs from India, I saw them at airport when leaving. Skyby
and Thunder Talk both to move on in, and
too good, bro. You're too good.
Thunder Talk is so close to each other. Blank. This is a
airport पे काम करते हो क्या आप?
A final match and such a pivotal point on the tables between those two teams.
CAG making their way down. They do take a knock on the backside though, unfortunately. Should be losing a play for that versus RCB. 8 minutes on the clock.
इस बार no Japan in grand finals.
And we'll get our first stage shift in just 20 seconds. Naoto will be flushed out by Silas.
DreamHack का vlog. मैंने camera open तक नहीं किया मैंने DreamHack में.
4MV still holds fairly.
You can check other people's vlogs.
Central.
I'll be in their vlogs.
Won't do too much. Just sticking around in Chimasera for now.
I'm not a vlogger, guys. I'm not.
Should have found some vehicles though, just in case they need to make a rotate out, and it does head over towards that western side, towards DRS, in a very strong spot in Ladriera, playing up on the ridge side.
Pride of India, let's go.
Some of the highest ground in this area of the map.
Pride of Bihar.
This is a really difficult area of the map as well, Blank. There's those two lines of ridges that run, one through Ladriera, one out to the west side of it. That Ladriera ridge sits on that middle line that you're talking about, with DRS having that position, but you've got RRQ who can move in on the west side. Brute Force can come in late on that angle, and RCB may be looking to move over the top and compete for it too. Every single team's going to have to move, and that southeast side is the hot spot for me. D+ Kia and Thunder Talk, Influence Rage as well, all moving in the same area behind 77.
Goodness me. 77 managed to get themselves into a good spot in Minister and Realize, but like you said, there's tons of teams all following them. D+ Kia on a wide rotate over towards Via the Mar.
ऊपर वाले teams
they could even actually slot themselves in underneath DRS.
मेरा competition वाला team मर जाए.
I mean, playing Via the Mar isn't ideal. It's very much on the low ground, but again, you're just looking for safety at this point because it's a very dangerous circle.
Will D+ Kia do boom bomb again in this match?
Hoping.
पता
they can find something. RRQ actually leave that western ridge line. It is quite far towards the west side of this next circle, meaning it's not as strong as it could be.
Starting problem है
सबको. Really the main
TT तो कैसे भी नहीं निकालने वाला है कुछ frags.
Right now. Nobody yet in Valdemar, but finally D+ Kia are going to move into the east side of it, 77 close by. The fact that none of these teams out in the east have actually gone into a fight just goes to show how nervous, well, maybe not nervous, but how cautious they're playing on this last match when so much is at stake.
For this particular lobby, there is a lot on the line. It is just so ridiculously close at the moment. Some teams have been able to break out. And again, we cannot congratulate Voin Donkey enough for the performance that they've shown today. It has been just unbelievable. Some great aggression in the early game into some very solid games towards the end with just safe
chicken equal to qualify, bro. 4MV chicken equal to qualify.
Chicken dinner on that last match. Just wonderful work overall for them. 137 points, sees himself very, very safe to survival stage. RCB have to turn tail though. Head over towards the west here in Ladriera, potentially pick up one of the positions on the northwest side.
Voin Donkey ID. Central, so are 77, so are DRS. This is all.
एंट्री अच्छी है लेकिन बैटरी का तरीका अभी बड़ा कैजुअल है.
And the land wars are on for the central areas of this one. Everybody with something at stake. They can pitch their claim and make it known. Next circle, it It goes to the east. Brute Force going to have to leave that ridgeline. That's that western ridgeline I was talking about. And again, it keeps that La Tierra ridgeline in play. From the north side, RCB could look to move down it.
Very much a possibility here. I mean, Stalwart are in the area. Brute Force may be looking to get across to the other side, but they are out in no man's land for the time being. Still fighting out for that first place spot, by the way, versus Influence Rage. Currently have 179 points. Both D+ as well as the Thunder Talks have not gone down yet. And Thunder Talks
D+ क्या finals qualify हुआ तो Spike G shirtless
over
flex
towards
करूँगा
southeast side, and Chumacera
करूँगा for viewers.
tucking themselves out of action, trying to get high placements.
करूँगा मतलब आप बता रहे हो क्या आप करोगे बोल के? ठीक है, fine.
Feel like the approach for Influence Rage is a little tougher.
मैं कुछ नहीं करने वाला ऐसा.
Actually, no. To be honest, they're all really dastardly approaches for Influence Rage, for Brute Force, the two teams competing for that first place spot. You're right, Thunder Talk looking to defend. They also have that tough approach through Chumacera to get past 4MV as well. With so much at stake. Secret on the southeast side, Nolbu, the flex out angle for D+ Kia right now. And they're playing right towards the edge. Fabian chimes in. From the back line, Nolbu kept safer. Oh South moves into position. They are marshalling their forces towards Team Secret, who are trying to get around behind them, but it's not going to be allowed. And this is great news for D+ Kia to open the bidding.
D+, even if they are able to get southeast side, pick up quite
must be a great feeling
margin off the back of it. The fact that Thunder Talks are right now playing really passive and have to pass through Cellcom Digi Alliance in a dangerous area as well as 4MV. I don't know how the prospects look for the Thunder Talks right now, but
163 D+
Kia, there's a potential of a whole lot more points just defending on the south side of the map.
Oh, Neo spotted, has to hop up, does stay safe for the time being. The rest of Brute Force flexing out, getting some scouting done. Prepod still on the back line, waiting for that third party. They've somehow managed to get into this compound blank. 77 allow them through. RRQ didn't quite have the angles to stop them.
This year, PMGC Grand Finals will be lit and have everyone's heart pounding till the last match
and create that space that you need to get
Agree
into these next circles.
मैंने already बोला, मैंने पहले ही बोला मैंने.
If they can do things like this
इस बार
consistently,
बहुत scary होने वाला है
I'm
finals.
hoping that over in those grand
To
finals,
be honest, हमने trailer देख चुके हैं
certain we're going to be seeing
Group
them
Red
now.
दिखा दिया.
They may be
एक
on
ट्रेलर
top
अपने
winner.
को कितना
So
इंटेंस जा
looking
सकता है
forward
बोल
to
के.
Heading into stage 4 soon, this is where things start to get a little bit more dangerous. 10 seconds on the clock before that does shift out. Team Secret just cannot buy themselves a home.
By top 3 predictions.
One
Rylos,
of our first teams to drop out from this tournament in Group Green.
Nice knock way.
Can't have much longer left on it. One player down. They've already lost one. So only the two remain. And the vehicle's going to go up in smoke soon enough. Cellcom Digi Alliance.
DRS का अच्छा match हो सकता है.
And a chance to make it
really
happen.
depends on how they
going
execute.
down in the meantime as well, Blank. Over on the northeast side with 4MB, with CG Osaka. Team Liquid surrounding them. So potentially not a 16th place for Team Secret if they can stay alive for just that little bit longer.
Can you do qualify?
Leons from Cellcom Digi Alliance sending some
They
nades
also
on top.
need
एंट्री अच्छी है लेकिन बैटरी का तरीका अभी बड़ा
अरे
कैसे
कर दो ना स्पाइक जी सेक्सी सिक्स पैक वाला भाई बहुत मोटा पेट है भाई सिक्स पैक नहीं है
that
Family
first
bag.
place off the back of that one, especially considering the fact that they have time to live down this south side. D+ get locked out, but as do the Thunder Talks, but they have found a narrow opening over
Nice
on that
one,
eastern
Loxy.
side and might be able to even get themselves over towards
What a
the
1v3
position
bro,
inside
crazy,
the
nice.
circle. Shots over towards the Vicious is from RCB, who are alive in this situation. 2 players down and looking to head further up the tables here.
Reyes with a nade up on high towards Loxy. Needs to be careful. Flush is not coming through.
बचा लिया
Wild is
team को.
Resible on the
और
inside of the
नहीं,
church.
ये भी
Another
मार
nade
खाया.
goes to Loxy and gets the knock. If
Wild
he can
और आ
find
रहा है.
another one, doesn't have any more in the back
ये कहाँ से
pocket.
पड़ रहा है इसको?
Reyes, he runs dry. And the Vicious, they're taking shots.
कहीं
from
और
the
से
third
पड़े
party
दूर
angle.
से.
I think that's COG Osaka. And it's DRS
UMP से
as
पड़ा
well.
इसलिए उसको
Who are
समझ नहीं
taking
आया
the
गोली
shots
कहाँ
and
से
will
पड़ रहा है
keep
बोल के.
RCB in it. The Vicious are
चलो,
down
RCB
and
full
they are
reset.
on the bubble. It all hangs in the
4
balance.
finishes,
What
4
can be
matches.
done by RRQ, by DRS, by Cellcom Digi Alliance?
This is now a time to send on forward, and it was not Team Secret to go out first. It was the Vicious, and you're right. That opens things up. With them not profiting at all, there is a clear
Gang versus
avenue
4MV.
of success 4MV started things off
Nice
by
one.
bullying CAG, which went terribly
दो
after
बंदे
a
knock
while,
किया
and now it's time
Last
for
man
4MV
standing,
to get a
Garnet.
little bit of
गया.
own back. Nade over the top side.
Till 4MV.
Fantastically played.
Good start
And
again.
CAG is out. They will
कितने मिला
not be
kill?
joining us in the
3.
survival stage or the
162
remainder of
के
the
पास है.
PMGC.
4MV is just 1 point behind. D-Bless किया. Just 1 point behind.
एंट्री अच्छी है
It's the
लेकिन
biggest
बैटरी का
tournament.
तरीका अभी बड़ा
PMWC
कैजुअल
और PMGC.
And 162
दोनों equally.
now is their scoreline.
दोनों
with the 3
equally. But इस
eliminations
बार
they find off
जो
the back of the
structure है ना
fight.
PMGC का
They are in
बहुत tough लग
competition,
रहा है.
and they will
I
not
would say
go
this is the
down
biggest.
that easily. Up and
WC is
into
also
the
very
position
strong.
above Team
But इस
Secret.
बार ये
There's
जो
2 more
structure है
still
ना
to play
PMGC
for.
का
Baron has
खतरनाक
flexed
है
out
structure ये.
in from the south side. Celcom to
48
Alliance
teams का
also looking to compete for the high
48 teams
ground. Need
invited
to be
थे.
careful. Baron could just get rolled down here and now.
So I would say PMGC.
Celcom, Digi Alliance heading over the top. There is Team Secret
Bro,
below.
end तक अटकाने वाले हैं बता रहा हूँ मैं.
Do Team Secret
ये
take
match
shots
end
over
तक
Celcom,
अटकाने
Digi
वाले हैं.
Alliance, or
ओए
will
Baron
4MV
knock.
able to hold their own versus
Black
them?
knock,
But
first knock.
down. Celcom,
अरे
Digi
Baron
Alliance
finish हो
finds
गया, my
one.
bad.
Jimmy opens things up, but now only 2 players left remaining. 4-4.
ओए Secret नीचे से.
Team Secret to chime in from the backside. They're taking more shots.
Kill चोरी हो गया बे 4MV का.
Oh dear. That's gone
But Secret
terribly
गया.
wrong for
मार
Celcom,
देंगे
Digi
दोनों को.
Alliance.
Easy है.
Currently
अरे
in
नहीं
fourth
रे
place as well,
Apex.
John.
Not now यार.
Straight down
Doc is the last
to
man
Apex,
standing
and
now.
Now it's just Doc left to stand. Can he run his
चढ़
apology
गए
talk
भाई.
back with one player up on the top?
How do you
rope?
say
It's
L लग
Olio
गई in
looking to
Mongolian
rain down
language?
bullets upon him. Team Secret put pressure on, and a flex
TT
out
भी आ गया, ले.
from Thunder Talk all the while. Out they
हो
go
गया,
to
it's
the top
over.
of the hill to play spoiler, defend their
Bye-bye
place
for him.
in the finals, and in they go to the fight. Over towards Olio, they dispatch one, but
There is
put 2 in
absolutely
his
zero
place.
chance.
Team Secret look to move up and
There
over,
is
and it might
absolutely
be all
zero
done
chance
for
4MV
4MV.
to survive
Are they
this.
going to be cut short here? It's all up to Reapers now. The nade over the top from Break. He's pushed back off the ridgeline. So is Jaiki. As Thunder Talk continue to put pressure on. Team Secret dispatched, and the reses, they're not there for 4MV yet, but they're happening slowly. Can they
पता
get
है
themselves
TT को
back
पता
to
है
their
bro
feet?
पता है.
The
मुझे लगा
nade
एक
from
सेकंड के लिए
King
TT को
is
नहीं
enough
पता
to
है.
take them out, and
course
4MV
they know,
cannot
bro.
make the distance.
TT ने बाहर कर दिया उनका competition को.
Damn, that feels
4MV
very
is out.
bad for 4MV.
They-
4MV fans
They did not qualify for the grand finals.
unable
Survival
to keep
खेलेंगे
things
4MV.
going. Step into a bad
D-Place
fight
किया
there, and
versus
no
TT.
scout over towards Team Secret.
इन दोनों में
means
एक
that
टीम
they
क्वालिफाई
go
करेगा.
down.
Let's see कौन होगा वो.
Point Donkey still putting
भाई
on pressure
RCB भी
over
मार रहा है भाई.
77
RCB के पास
here.
कितने
They've taken off
151
the
points है.
process, but have found 2 eliminations. Thunder
But
Talks
nah,
though
chicken पे भी
pulling
not possible
ahead,
है उनको.
and from the
एकदम 20
eastern
kill chicken
side they
निकालना
control
पड़ेगा.
so much space, John, and with 2 late loot
तभी
crates
कुछ होगा.
in
फिर भी
front
नहीं
of
होगा.
them,
चल
this is a
TT और
wild
D-Bless किया.
time for Thunder Talks.
TT और D-Bless किया.
Looking to defend their spot here, but D plus Kia will give it a good go. You can bet on that. Voin Donkey. See the wrong end of the scope there from them as well. And as D plus Kia look to add more points on Thunder Talk, they're on the far side of the ridgeline blank. The crossing that sits ahead of them, difficult.
Osal knock.
Zadira finding Osal.
क्या बैकअप
Not a
देते
good
वे ये
moment to
लोग.
start
क्या
off with,
बैकअप
but
देते
they will
बहुत
finish
सही.
him off. Well, that's
3
D plus Kia
finishes.
up to 3 eliminations, clearing out
3
the
points
opposition
behind
on their
D plus
north
Kia.
side, but it's Voin Donkey ahead of them. Brute force off towards their northwest. They are in it to win it here, John.
And remember that bubble at the bottom here. DRS with their high ground position in a spot to maybe do something here. Brute force could go down as well. But with Influence Rage getting curtailed in the meantime, that may not be as bad as it seems to them. They have only got a 6-point lead though, and Lorazin is isolated from all of this fighting.
Next target will be Voin Donkey for D+. They need to get some kind of... Sorry, that confused me for a second.
DRS को chicken ही निकालना पड़ेगा guys.
They need to get some
लोग
kind
qualify होना है
of
तो
aggression over towards that
chicken
north
निकालना
side,
पड़ेगा DRS
claim a
को.
bit of land for their own as we head into stage 6 very
बहुत
soon.
crucial
There's
knock
Stalwart
खाया
finding
भाई
shots over
Apex तो
towards
भाई
Team
बहुत
Liquid.
crucial.
I think Stalwart might have done enough
थोड़ा
to
संभाल
get
लेते.
themselves in this
Secret
one, unless
Team Secret was
RQ and
completely
DRS go
freaking
all the
cornered.
way to the end
पत्थर के
game.
अलावा कुछ है ही नहीं उनके पास.
It would be something quite special. And Stalwart can stay alive for a little bit longer as well.
बता रहा हूँ guys, even the
Team
best
Liquid
in the
just
world
trying to
make the
find an
dumbest
opening.
mistakes, bro.
Near Thunder Talk on
I've
the far
seen it all,
side.
trust
We're
me.
just trying to stay alive now. RCB pushing in. With Thunder Talk doing what they've done so far this match and looking set to survive a lot later, RCB's chase might be futile. But they will give it a go. They do not want to let that opportunity waste. If they can afford it, they will give themselves that platform.
Apex had 5 nades. मैंने notice नहीं किया. If he had 5 nades, he should have used them.
Into the top spots, the next circle. It pops central. It cuts Thundertalk's position
एकदम
out. It keeps D
एकदम
plus
cover
in.
छोड़ के खड़ा होके spray
So
दे रहा था.
important for them. Team Liquid up against Stalwart. One good shot around the side. We'll find one, but it's Stalwart coming back into this one. Fearless. Braving the building.
क्या कर सकते हैं भाई? क्या
We'll
कर
get
सकते
2
हैं?
knocks off the back of that one as Team Liquid tried
अब तो बताओ
to
top 3 predictions.
regroup on that north
ये
side,
तो
but
छोड़.
Stalwart had already laid
Brute
down the
force INF
fortress.
and
It was just the turrets on
and,
the sidelines to take down the majority of Team Liquid. So for Jason,
and TT or
no
D plus किया.
easy Team Liquid win to finish off their tournament
Nalbu
run
finish
here.
हो गया.
Point Donkey though finding a shot onto Norbu. That's very bad news. Leave them down as just 3 players. And
My
again,
head is leaning
there's
towards
no one really to
TT
challenge
bro.
the Thunder Talks on this eastern side.
TT is way too consistent.
They have to make a move though. I mean,
And
they have
TT
to
का
move
Miramar
probably
actually
past Lorazin. If Brute
अच्छा है.
Force can just outlast
King
the
बहुत
Brazilian
अच्छा rotations
opponents,
करवाता है.
they
So my head
will
is leaning
claim
towards
this top
TT,
spot
not D
flank
plus
unless Thundertalks get some miraculous results, and maybe they can do it here. RRQ crashing into Brute Force, but Snake goes down. 2 players for Brute Force, maybe too much to handle here as Freezer up and down the stairs. Fnatic tries to crash down for the assistance, but there's
Nice
top
one.
shots coming through from Void Donkey as well. Freezer with the one, looks for a second as well, with a pump action around the door frame. He's low, steps aside for the spray down, and it hits back
Entry
upstairs.
अच्छी है,
Looking to
लेकिन
try and
बैटरी
heal
का तरीका
Snake.
अभी बड़ा
But
casual.
around
nice
him to
one.
take the shot to Fnatic as well, and in he goes. Brute Force fall down. Can Influence Rage do enough from the east side here to
DS
push
time
past them?
Korea
But with 3
and China
elims on the board,
came
187
prepared.
is the mark.
DRX, MSJ, DK.
Even if they're able to get a
DRX
second place here,
qualified.
they need eliminations. 6
MSJ
points is not
choked.
enough to see them
D
into
plus किया का अभी
that
smash किया
first
पता
place.
चलेगा.
There's one, so that sets them at
वो TT मार रहा है bro.
186.
5
Would put
finishes.
them up there.
Down they
They
go.
still need 2 eliminations yet.
6
So it
finishes.
is Brute Force to secure that top spot, but we still have Thunder Talks in the game with 6 eliminations so far in this match. It's looking ever
DRS
more
बाहर.
dire.
That means DRS
for
is
DRS
out of
go
this
down.
PMGC.
DRS
Sadly.
go down. Blank, that's a team that was chasing the Vicious. Now it's only RRQ that can upset it. And the
RCB
Vicious may
मचा रहा है
have just
भाई,
hold on
7
to the bottom
finishes.
set of bubble. And that is crazy to think. We were looking at those teams beneath them and thinking they could resurge. DRS had such a strong position, but RCB are on fire today.
7 elims.
Survival stage में क्या बवाल होगा? Survival stage में
right at the front
मजा
of the
आएगा लग रहा है
chariot.
मुझे. ये सारे teams को
Doing
देख के.
some very, very good work. D plus down to 3 players. Thunder Talks on the other side. Top 5. D plus would need a ton more eliminations to make this work, and they have been completely cut out by
D
Void
plus
Donkey.
किया versus VD. ये fight
And
निकाल
it's
दी
an
तो D plus किया.
unfortunate timing for Void Donkey to suddenly
बहुत
step up in performance.
neck to neck हो जाएगा.
And the Vicious maintain
Situation.
their spot. Just about. They will make it to the survival stages. We've cut out the bottom 5, but it's still all to play
RCB
for
versus
around the third
TT.
place bubble. It's looking likely
D plus किया
that we're
versus
seeing
VD.
3 EMEA group champions as well moving
Void
into these
Donkey.
finals. Blank. That's a great result for the region. But let's see who's going to join them, because Thunder Talk,
TT is very good
they're
bro.
on the
in Miramar.
defense, and they may also be able to push them off of that top spot too.
Push back down the hill.
Fabian
Circle
drop
shifts
लूटा.
far down towards
क्या
that
मिला
south
उसको?
side.
कुछ खतरनाक
Doesn't really
MG3 मिला
cut
क्या?
D plus
P90.
in, but will force Void Donkey to move. It all comes down to placement points at this point in time. And a few eliminations. Realistically for D plus, if
4v,
they want this
3v,
game to go
4v4.
their way, Thunder Talks have to go out 4th. And then a couple of eliminations need to go through to D plus or get a second
Utility
place.
देखो TT पे.
And hope beyond hope that they get
Void पे भी अच्छा utility है.
1 or 2 elims on
D
their
plus किया
side.
पे बहुत सबसे कम utility है.
I feel like Thunder Talk are kind of primed to be going down here, though. They're going for that bold sweep out, and actually they're putting a player forward.
भाई
So
Endzone में बहुत काम आएगा
maybe
bro
that
utility
is
से.
just their insurance gambit here, moving Sheng into that position along the roadside, keeping RCB backed up against the wall. They're not actually going for that sweep, they're just putting pressure on. Void Donkey want to get rid of D plus here and ruin their chances of making a top 3 as well, potentially. We've got 2 teams battling for the top 3 spot. And we've got RCB and Void Donkey who have been standing up.
The most
strong
crucial
today.
fight है ये D plus किया
What a
के लिए.
way to close down the
They
group
have
stages.
to
Every single one of these teams
Get the
deserves
4
to be
frags
here.
of Void Donkey.
The biggest thing right now is Void Donkey. Do they opt to try and take this fight with D plus, or do you start thinking about what is your next move inside this lobby? Because you need to head down the hill. RCB needs to head down the hill. They know there's a team waiting from the roadside, the Thunder Talks, they might have secured themselves an insane position. Obviously, RCB currently have the high ground. They move down. But as the circle gets closer and closer
nice one, King.
Roadside, Thunder Talks get more and more capability inside this match, and King already finds one as the circle's closing, which might just mean RCB
INF out of top 3. No, they are at 179, bro. How can they be out of top 3?
Making their move now. RCB will light them up. So will Voindonkey if they have angles on it. You'd think
अगर D+ किया TT दोनों अच्छा करेंगे. #1-2 आएंगे तो भाई हो सकता है वो भी.
Crossing, they draw short and up to the ridgeline. Loxy's within nade range now, but the top side still cannot protect them. RCB getting torn down bit by bit. Silas is next. Loxy up into the tree. What have you got? There's nades there. And Sync does go down. That's their forward position for Thunder Talk. So still, danger is afoot here. 7 eliminations. Won't be enough to chase all the way. But finally, D+ Kia have found an angle with chips.
They need that angle as well. Taking shots
towards गोली नहीं है भाई इसके पास.
They need to get rid
Fabian भाई थोड़ा गोली दो.
Thunder Talks on this eastern side. They're going to be broadside soon. Voindonkey gets sent off with Zeta going down to a knock there. D+ might have just been able to sit on this south side and get themselves away from a lot of the action. Good nade over towards Silas. That's 3 players down. And a big pick up from D+. Being able to take down one of the players on the high ground might just be they're able to finish off these players in the front line. And that's going to be a massive amount of points going through to D+.
But it would also mean that Thunder Talk stay alive, Blank, and because of the placement points gonna get started to adding onto their tally, that could change the tune. They don't want to take down these teams on the high ground. Sure, get those elimination points on side, but you need Thunder Talk to be going down here and now.
D+ being very slow about this, opting instead to take this moment to move down the hillside. And Thunder Talk's currently a little bit more preoccupied with the players on high. Not spotted D+ coming in through the sidelines.
Voindonkey back up to 4 players, getting that res coming on through, but RCB look to roll straight on into it. That's not going to happen. 3rd place now guaranteed for Thunder Talk. The points start to come through now, and this is dangerous for
focusing on TT way.
They need to take them out, and it might just be able to grab their wish here.
Last man standing है अजय. TT बाहर. TT बाहर. D+ किया 3-man strong. कितने finishes?
How many of the points do they get?
6 finishes. If they get this 4 more frags,
make it work for them because
D+ Kia is qualified.
And the only thing that's going to stand in their way.
If they get this 4 more frags, D+ Kia is qualified.
Down with them.
It is so uncertain at this point.
Wow.
All 3 eliminations might sit them close. Chips at an awkward angle, leaning off to the left-hand side to prevent the shots from going through. But Zeta finds one. We're on the last circle here. Voindonkey have to come off the hillside. It's Fabian and still alive, bandaging up. The smokes are there to keep them under cover. They need a knock right now as it's 4 players from Voindonkey stampeding down the hill.
Voindonkey, Osal under
not
pressure
for
now.
D+ Kia, boys.
From the top rope.
एक को knock दिया Osal ने.
They're looking to try and drink the soil from underneath them and push D+ Kia back to the edge.
1v3 situation
right to the wire. It's all on Osal. Does he have enough? That point could be crucial. Blank every single point matters now for D+ Kia.
Zone नहीं है, first aid नहीं है, teammates नहीं है, और क्या
can stop him. But the blue zone comes. And it does not wait. It will stretch out behind him. And Osal may look for the res. No, just moving into position. The flush onto Fabian. And Voindonkey want to play spoiler to South Korea. Osal with a nade sent his way. He's got one in response, but it may not be enough. Voindonkey get another chicken dinner today. A magnificent result for them. But what has happened to the 3rd place bubble?
Back-to-back chicken.
What Voindonkey's been able to
do. Overall standings देखना पड़ेगा.
I personally don't think D+ has made it. Sadly,
I think D+ Kia is #4.
Wire, but I think Thunder Talks had quite a few
#3 पे TT रहेगा.
It'll be real close.
#2 पे INF रहेगा.
They turn it on
#1
way too late, and I think even the guys understand it over there.
You can see the disappointment in Osal's face.
But oh my days, what a sad way to end it.
It's okay, brother. You gave your best.
May have done enough to defend, but it is as well a triple group championship for EMEA, which I'm pleased about. What's happened to that 3rd place? What are the tables looking like? There's only one way to find out.
Wow.
It's with Jason and the boys.
With survival में क्या बसड़ होगा भाई तुम लोग बस.
Jason, the boys here to break down that last game. You can see, I think, on the face of D+, they knew.
I thought survival was boring. जाएगा, but survival is going to be very interesting.
From Thunder Talk. But obviously, as you did here, I mean, Boy and Donkey have had a fantastic day, but the day is unfortunately not going to be enough for them to get into a top 3.
डीप्लेस किया के पास एक अपॉर्चुनिटी था वीडी को मारने के लिए जब वीडी के 3 बंदे नॉक थे आरसीबी का एक ही बंदा बचा था उस टाइम मुझे लगा पीछे से आके देगा डीप्लेस किया बट दे वर सो फोकस्ड ऑन टीटी कि वो लोग भूल गए इनके बारे में बट इट्स ओके यार दे गिव देयर बेस्ट क्या फर्क पड़ता है
Man, it's the worst feeling
11
on
finishes
the planet, dude. Because you can see the look on the players' faces, the thoughts running through their mind, just thinking all the plays we could have done differently, the adjustments we could have made, and man, all it took was just probably just a
and with that group green
I mean, we still have to see the little
matches have come to an end
here, but
now it's time for the overall standings.
Clutching it up right there on the end. I mean, they did not
very strong teams in survival. Survival boom bam hoga.
Their future. They went out there.
And ये same survival वाली boom bam teams last chance पे भी आएंगे. उधर सिर्फ 6 teams ही qualify कर सकता है.
I also got to give some love to Boy Donkey here because we were
survival and last chance के through सिर्फ 6 teams qualify कर सकता है grand finals के लिए.
Right at the end,
the competition is going to be next level.
Going into that.
I do have to say, Hodrix, right now for me, the 2 most improved teams are going to be RCB and Boing Donkey ID. I think that there's definitely a lot of hopes after their current performance heading into the survival stage. So I'm definitely happy to see them improve so quickly, especially in the last 2 days of this group 3.
MSJ gala milane wala hai.
As we were seeing there during the B-roll after the game, there's so much heartbreak for some of these teams. And
Day 1 #1.
D plus Kia.
Day 4
so
#4.
Yet so far, it was a good game plan. But man, the fact that Boing were able to just fully revive themselves from a solo player back up to 4 and then
survival का format क्या है?
Is an insane comeback.
24 teams खेलेंगे survival.
I think they definitely gave
Group
it their best
yellow,
shot.
green, red के जो 8 team से तीनों team खेलेंगे.
Looking at DRS, they had a shot
and bottom
at escape in the
8 teams बाहर हो जाएंगे.
It's going to be single
top
digit
16
points and
last chance
nothing is going to cut it because they were about 10 points away.
I think ये round robin format में होगा.
Yeah, makes total sense. And this is why I keep talking about it. You know, like you
पहला
don't want
AB खेलेगा.
You don't want to have a 10-point gap going into the final game of the day because there's just too much chaos, too much unpredictability. Teams are going to be just so desperate for points. They're going to play extra risky, and we saw, you know, this circle
equal to Falcons. दोनों #4 ना.
By stage 5, we already had half the lobby gone.
Bro, #5 भी चलेगा, bro. #4 is a very bad
run over there. By the way, from Osal. But man, you know what?
Feeling.
It's gonna make that survival stage just that much more interesting, dude. Because
जब मैं टीटी को बाहर कर दी ना, मुझे लगा chance है for a second.
उसके
बाद मैंने देखा ये 4 बंदे हैं.
Survival stage, you have some monster squads there from the other groups. So I mean, that's what my eyes are gonna be really looking forward to here in the future.
13, दोनों 13 points निकाले. Yeah, it's clear. It's clear. TT #3 है.
Thundertalk taking 13, and we already know D plus
TT top 3 तो दिमाग में मेरा बैठ गया. #1 brute force. #2 INF.
Survival stage.
#3 TT. #4 D plus किया. #4. I mean #5.
Not many. It's going to be a fraction of points. It's going to be so close, but
I mean, it's all about looking back, right? Like, let's say it's less than 5 points. It's like, if we just
how many matches left? Matches खत्म हो गए भाई.
Rotate that way.
All the matches are over for this group green.
I think that's one of the hardest pills to swallow.
बस इसके बाद अभी overall standings आएंगे, बस वो देखने का.
Just gonna hurt yourself if you think that way.
To make it
official. I think the ones
official.
that should be thinking that way is 4MV, more specifically. To be completely brutally honest, right now, I think that they are the ones looking. If we didn't do that crash, we would have been maybe top 3. Who knows? But here we go at the bottom. Vicious
run off by himself.
You said we? Yeah, I was about to say it should have been.
Yeah, just, okay, God, yeah, fair enough. But Vicious, man, they were playing with fire, Hot Jukes. The fact they get 0 points this game, get eliminated so quickly in this game, when teams like DRS and RQ are just hot on their heels. And yet, I still don't believe that was enough.
PMGC 2023 had 3 Mongolian teams in top 5 with IHC lifting the trophy. Now, no Mongolia is directly qualified to the grand finals.
It's really solid from the Vicious to make it all the way to the survival stage because nobody believed
it. Time changes, bro.
In them,
Time changes.
They definitely were on a decent
MVP
spot
of this match
for a good
Zeta
side of this tournament. So I'm really proud of the squad, you know, coming in from the Latam region to be able to go ahead and make it on over to the next stage.
Replay दे दिया Jaysha level scripting.
It's going to be difficult, that's for sure. Right?
Script writer group ready के लिए भी बहुत खतरनाक script writer
they're going to learn from it. So
yellow
it's a good thing for sure.
Yellow का भी बहुत खतरनाक था.
He broke my heart, Max.
Group green का भी disappointed नहीं.
It hurts.
Script writer OP. And the overall standings are here. Congrats to Brute Force, Influence Rage, and Thunder Talk Gaming for qualifying directly for the grand finals. Hard luck D+ किया उनको बस 3 पॉइंट चाहिए था बता.
right? So yeah,
3 point मिलते
would
और
have been able to
they
win
would have
that
tied
last
with
fight.
TT.
They would have made
Chicken
it
dinner ज़्यादा ID place
into
किया
the
का,
grand
they would have
finals.
been at #3.
Yeah, they would have gotten 4 more
Hard luck,
places
bro.
points,
Hard
which
luck.
would have been enough.
4MV,
And not to mention the 4
#5,
wins on top of that,
163.
so they easily would have been able to
RCB
actually get through.
बहुत प्यारा खेला
I
आज,
think even
159.
surpass Influence Rage,
Wine
if I can do
Donkey,
my math
तगड़ा comeback
correctly.
किया भाई.
Wouldn't quite
#7,
pass
158.
brute force, unfortunately, but either way,
Team
that's
Liquid,
what's going to happen at the
132,
end of this group,
#8.
and that means D plus 4MV, Regnum Karya,
दो
Venus,
Chinese
Liquid
teams
as well,
qualify
all
हुए
get
grand
put in
finals के
survival
लिए.
stage. Well,
TJB
these
and
three
TT.
teams get to chill for that extra week of time
Wow.
and really get themselves prepared for the biggest event of the year.
It's actually very, very interesting. On this first half of the leaderboards, no one moved.
It's going to be interesting. This
up or
grand
down
finals is
arrows,
going to be
everyone
very
was just
interesting.
completely still in this final game because everyone was able to get a few points here and there, and it was just they remained completely.
DRS
idle on the
Bahar,
leaderboards. Here we go.
ST,
Even here, no one
VC,
moved.
7-7
Okay,
qualified
wait, no,
for the survival
none of the
stage.
16
Nobody.
teams moved. Okay,
Team
very
Secret,
interesting.
RRQ,
Yeah,
Judo Alliance,
was a
क्या
0-point
गोसा
game,
का,
but as we saw,
बड़े-बड़े
that was
teams
enough,
बाहर
and
हो गए भाई.
RRQ and DRS, unfortunately, that was not
Wow.
high enough at the end in this game to make it survival and
Very
also say goodbye
unexpected
to
ending.
Alliance, CAG
भाई
Osaka,
DRS,
and
RRQ,
Team
क्या
Secret
गोसा
here for
का,
Group Green.
expect नहीं किया था ये बाहर होंगे.
Wild. So
थोड़े नए teams qualify हुए 7-7 VC.
DRS especially, right? 'Cause
Nice.
We thought they had a chance, right?
New
They were
talent.
right there on that 11th, got dropped down,
Shining.
and then back up, and then back down once again. Hopefully,
On
these
day
guys,
one,
you know,
everyone
can
doubt TT.
put in the reps because
Yes,
I think
bro.
this is a team that we
मैंने
could
बोला ही था,
definitely
पहले ही
see,
बोला
you know,
मैंने
improve.
China
here
का
as
team
time
ऐसे ही
goes on,
होते
for
हैं.
sure.
They start slow, but they end.
I don't know, man. How
They
many
end on a
opportunities are they
positive
going to
note.
get before we stop
Damage,
playing that?
eliminations,
Eliminations,
दोनों में
they've
top पे
played
बैठा है
national
Doc.
events like this before. I mean,
Damage
it's just
and
a
eliminations,
team,
दोनों में.
but
44
we know there's
eliminations,
more to offer, and we're just not seeing DRS
10,800
unfortunately live
damage.
up to how strong players
Dog
and of course
is
how
built
passionate
different,
fans
bro.
are from the Nepal region. But at the end of the day, here for Group Green, we can see Doc going to be leading the charge when it comes to our limbs and damage dealt, even with a very rocky performance today overall from the team. I mean, he still had a
में
good
Doc.
performance over the course of Group Green.
It's just so crazy.
Falcons
dude.
में
I mean,
top.
I don't think
इस बार
I can't
East
remember
भी.
the last time I've seen this, right? A player that, you know, we're,
And the
we're
MVP of this
criticizing
group
for not grouping up
is
with his
Doc.
squad, but he's the MVP, and he didn't even make
Wait,
it
wait.
to the finals. What is going
खराब
on
लग रहा है
here?
इसके लिए.
He's an MVP with a 17.25 average
अभी भी
smoke
मौका है.
time. That is
Survival
insanely low
में
for
मचा
an
के
MVP
उधर
to
से
have.
क्वालिफाई कर सकता है. तो
Well,
फिर वापस अपन मिलेंगे लाइव स्ट्रीम पे
Again, if you're Group
on
Green, of course,
20th
we know he's
of this
MVP
month.
potential, but what?
उस
Even
दिन
his
से सर्वाइवल
average
चालू होगा.
damage has gone
And that is it
outside
for
the bounds
today,
of
guys.
our
Hope you guys enjoyed the stream. अगर तुम लोग को थोड़ा भी मजा आया ना भाई, लाइक करना मत भूलना, सब्सक्राइब करना मत भूलना. इसका हाइलाइट्स आपको मिलेंगे आज रात को या कल सुबह, तो वो भी देख के एंजॉय कर लेना. रोलर कोस्टर राइड, डिसअपॉइंटेड विद 4MV, बट इट इज व्हाट इट इज. कंपटीशन बहुत तगड़ा है इस बार. मे द बेस्ट टीम्स क्वालिफाई बोल के मैंने सोचा था, वही हुआ. इन्फ्लुएंस रेज, ब्रूट फोर्स एंड थंडर टॉक गेमिंग. कंग्रेट्स. बाकी विल सी व्हाट हैपेंस इन द सर्वाइवल स्टेज. मिलते हैं आप लोग से ऑन 20th, पक्का होगा लाइव स्ट्रीम. अंटिल देन बाय बाय, टेक केयर,